โอ้ยเวียสวัสดีครับผมสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับมาวันนี้มีเรียนไม่ใช่แต่เรียนเรียบร้อยครับเรียนเสร็จละมาสวัสดีครับผมฮัลโหลฮัลโหลวันนี้อากาศเย็นมากเลยเฮียไม่สบายอะMKสวัสดีครับเทพไทยใช้นัดเดียวเหรอ NW สวัสดีครับผมเพียงสวัสดีครับโอ้ยคิดท่าตอนทารอนชนะทีวันยังครับโอ้ยเรียบร้อยครับลุยครับวันนี้ลุ้นขี้จะแตกแล้วครับโอ้ยน่ากลัวน่ากลัวยังไม่อยากแบบคิดเยอะว่ะยังไม่อยากคิดเยอะว่ะเสียวว่ะทีวันด้วยเอาเฮ้ยทารอนเว้ยไอ้เหี้ยสู้ไม่สู้สู้โอ้ถ้าวันนี้เราชนะนะแลบลิ้นเลยตาลอนชอบทำคนดูแสวคือเราเป็นคนเซ็กซี่ไงเราชอบทำคนดูแสวแล้วเมื่อกี้พิมมี่เก็บไป3อย่างคมแปลกๆไอ้สัตว์มึงดูก่อนกูได้ไงวะแฟรกเจอร์ว่ะทารอนบายทีวันมีทำได้ทางแล้วก็ทำได้เชลเหรอมันไม่ได้ตบทีวันอ่ะดิไอ้เหี้ยออฟซีซั่นกับออฟซีซั่นมาคนละอย่างกันดิน่ากลัวน่ากลัวเอลเจเจบนลิงก์วันดีครับใจวายกี่รอบแล้วไม่รู้หมอชุบให้หัวใจวายต่อแปลกๆชุบมาไวใจต่อบนลิงก์วันดีครับผมมิสซิวโบรเอลสวัสดีครับง่วงจัดเหรอไม่ง่วงกูตื่นแล้วแต่กูไม่สบายเนี่ยใช้วันนี้อากาศเย็นปะเปิดเสียงคลิปอ๋อผมลืมอ๋อเอ้ยมันไม่เสียงปะมันมีกูก็ว่าทำไมมันไม่เสียงนกแดงตัวไหนจะชนะนกแดงที่ของแท้จากประเทศไทยไงพี่กินข้าวยังเลยครับเคลาโซกินยังวันนี้ทานรอนคุกนะเว้ยวันนี้คุกข้าวจิมุสวัสดีครับสบายดีไหมสาวทิ้งรักจันรับแต่อยู่ตรงนี้เสมอเว้ยคิดถึงเสมอนะหวังว่าโอเคนะวงในบอกทารอนมาเอาดีเดี๋ยวพี่สวัสดีครับโอ้โหไอ้เหี้ยมันบอกมีแต่ทีวันวะ
DRX the other week and really step up. Whereas I think it is going to be a bit of a player diff in the server. For me, Talon, a lot of their strength comes from, as Frost mentioned, the flexibility of their players, their ability to change up.
มินทารอนเกินนี่กูจับไม่ไปคุยหน่อยใช่ปะไอ้เหี้ยรับไม่ได้ได้หี่
Like a lot of the Korean teams, they're just going to do what is very stable. They're going to do what is very consistent. They're going to trust the players in the roles that they play. And I think that's going to be a winning formula for them if this team is going to be successful. They shouldn't slip up.
ไปเล่นแม่งหน่อยปะไอ้แชทเอาปะมันดูถูกเราเกินไปเว้ยถ้าโอนเข้าบัญชีโดนไหนขึ้นจอไหมทำผ่านทิปมีเลยครับผม ผ่านที่มีขึ้นจอครับเสื้อสวยเห็นไหมโซเนียสวัสดีครับสบายดีไหมเช้าวันนี้อากาศหนาวป่ะเฮ้ยกูหรือกูหนาวคนเดียววะกูไม่สบายอ่ะหรืออะไรเนี่ยทารอนแพ้อย่างจัดโอ้ยทารอนแพ้อย่างไอ้อะมึงรอดูมาแล้วหนาวตอนคืนกลางวันร้อนหรอโหตอนนี้หนาวอ่ะยีสบายออกวันเหรอจัดน่าเหมือนไม่สบายมั้งนี่อากาศหนาววะแต่เราไม่ตึงเอาเรื่องนะเชลอุ้ยคิดโซว่าโดนทางตอนที่โหดในแชทเพิ่งมาดูโคตรพ่อโคตรแม่โหดโคตรอันตรายครับอย่าโหมากเกินไปนะครับพักผ่อนเยอะได้แล้วครับผมแคปเปอร์ทั้งฝุ่นทั้งอากาศจริงไอ้เหี้ยจริงเลยอันนี้จริงเลยลิงก์อยู่ไหนวะนี่มาแล้วแชทเริ่มเปิดตัวแล้วนะโกนิจิวาครับLPG Jazz you got for today Talon bro เดี๋ยวพี่จ๊าดกติวันดีครับพิดิกหน่อยเหรอ2-1ทารอนวะเป็นไม่น่าว่าจะ2-0วะโทษทีไอ้เหี้ยเจไปมาสเตอร์แบ็คข้อไหมครับยังไม่รู้เลยครับช่วงนี้ฝุ่นเยอะอย่าหายใจมากนะครับพี่จัดเป็นห่วงเอาเลยเฮียกูตายดิเนาะอุ้ย
เอาแบบเป็นกลางนะทารอนชนะ13-0ทั้ง2แมป
ยิงพูดยิงถูกครับพูดถูกครับพี่โอ้คำสั่ง50 บาทนะครับผมไอพวกเคดีโดนพวกกูแค่นั้นแหละผมอิ่ม1แล้วขอบคุณสำหรับคำแนะนำมาโอ้ยโหดมากน้องชาย
couple of maps in the pool that they really were not super comfortable on. I think Talon even in the off season as well, you've seen them, you know, not play well in some series, make a grand final of an off season event as
เอ้ยมาเราไปถือแบนเนอร์ออกมา
They played a chance last year as well. You know, although it is a team that can be a little inconsistent at times, they can definitely
จะกลับอิมยังหรือไปไดมอนด์แล้วน่าใกล้ไดมอนด์แล้วกูดูทรงชาเลนกินคุณใหญ่เลยแหละครับใช่ครับผมชอบมากเมทาเกนเสียงไม่ดังหรอเสียงโอเคป่ะแชทแป๊บนึงนะกูจำไม่ได้ว่าอันไหนมันดังเว้ยอันไหนวะแป๊บนึงนะแล้วไม่รู้มันมีเฮียอะไรเยอะแยะไปหมดเลยเนี่ย
ทำไมตลาดวาโรมันพังแล้วอะครับพี่จัส
เกิดคือหมายความว่าไงครับตาวาโลพังครับน้องชายหมายความว่ายังไงบีทักเก็ตเนี่ยครูมันไม่เหมือนกันหรอพิมพ์บิดครับขอบคุณพี่คิวครับที่ไม่ใช่พี่จัดไอที่กูตีนแชทมีโพมีแทงนะผมอย่าลืมนะโพแทงนะครับวันนี้กูยังจ้าวันนี้ครับพี่สวัสดีครับเฮ้ยกูลืมวันนี้กูติ๊กต่อไลฟ์ด้วยแชทแป๊บนึงนะขอบแป๊บวันนี้ที่1มาไหมชิลแชทถ้าเราชนะวันนี้นะเว้ยแล้วเหลือคู่เดียวถ้าเราชนะวันนี้เราเหลือแค่คู่เดียวอุ้ยพิมี่เตโฮเอาอีกแล้วเอาอีกแล้ว
into it's going to hold a lot of that map control like a Killjoy or a Cypher. They're playing the deadlock.
ไอ้แบมมันไว้หนวดใช่เฮีย
ไงน้องกูสตักแรงหนักมากทำไงดีวะน้องตอนนี้กูจะอยู่ได้10
ได้10เฮ้ยพี่เล่นเกมอะไรเนี่ยพี่คำต้อง10 บาทครับไอ้เหี้ยแปลกๆเกมเฮียเนี่ยได้10เนี่ยข่าวทางใจเพราะกูส่วนไปไงสู้ๆนะเงินทั้งชีวิตโอ้โหไอ้เหี้ยไม่มีแต่สัตว์แต่กูว่าโอกาสเรามีชนะเพราะอะไรรู้ปะเราเลือกแมปแฟกเจอร์มาซึ่งเราไม่เคยเล่นนะครับ
จัสกูกดแรงทีไรกูเจอแต่ปีน10ทั้งห้องกูยังไม่ทันเห็นตัวมันเลยกูตายแล้วกูจะสู้ยังไง
เนี่ยแบบเนี้ยมึงต้องยิงอย่างเงี้ยมึงต้องยิงอย่างงี้
And I don't know how you feel, but I thought that the predictions that we had across the board on the talent
แชทเสียงมันเบาบ้าเสียงเบาหรืออะไรบอกได้นะ
have a chance. It's not minimal, but I still got a favorite T1 just a bit on paper.
Yeah, numerically it does feel that way, but you know, who's to say Talon doesn't completely come in and
Caster Korean damn คือ
Who's to say? We looked at the map veto process and it kind of does make you question things a little bit, but right now I mean just
ที่ว่าวาโลมันดรอปลงไหมครับแล้วคิดว่าจะได้รับแปลกว่านี่มีเรื่องกระแสคนเล่นคนเลิกเล่น
โอ้เอามาถึงตลาดวาโลมาถึงกระแสฮะพี่ว่าดรอปลงแต่ถามว่าถึงขั้นคนเลิกเล่นไหมน่าจะยังไม่ถึงขนาดนั้นครับเพราะว่าคนเติมไปเยอะครับนะผมแต่ว่าดรอปลงไปเยอะครับดรอปลงไปเยอะช่วยน้องเงินที่โดนไปค่านมลูกโอ้โหพี่ชายค่านมลูกเลยเหรอมาแชทเริ่มแล้วเดี๋ยวผมขออนุญาตปิดแชทก่อนนะครับอย่าลืมนะครับโพแทงนะผมเปิดมาแมปแรกอุ้ยกูเนื้อเปิดสวยสวย
Did get at least banned down to low HP though, but now the 3-on-4. I mean, how do you refill back in with all that space? Through events, is going to be able to find
Cruz has to back out, but Buzz chases him down before it's too late. Buzz, just a little bit of a chip, but like you mentioned, Ban already very low. Governor hiding out with him. It's going to be a two-man trade. Ban should be the Governor to try to get the kill. Ban just acting like there's nobody else behind him. And now it all comes down to Governor. Izu trying to check the angle for him. It's not really planted for Governor, so it's not a great spot. And it looks like the defuse should just go through. There's the paint shells, but half already done. Governor has to go on the hunt. He has to win these duels. He's not going to be able to. Izu making sure that T1 is up one.
เสียงเบาครับแป๊บนึงนะขอเนี่ยเพิ่มเสียงผมไม่รู้ว่าทำไมวันนี้มันเสียงเบาวะเพราะอะไรก็ไม่รู้เดี๋ยวผมขอใช้นี่นะ
ปิง10ว่าหนักแล้วกูเจอยิงตีนเป้าจากหัวทุกห้องเลยว่ะจัสจากแอส2ตอนนี้กูจะตกไดมอนด์แล้วจัสช่วยกูด้วย
เฮ้ยอย่าเพิ่งยอมไอ้เหี้ยโอเคปะอันนี้เสียงโอเคขึ้นปะไหวไหมเอ้ยกูเปิดไหวด้วยนะเปิดสวยอยู่นะ
for that tree line, for that heaven line, and eventually Governor and Ban, they just had to back out and try to get whatever picks they could. Talon looking poised for another push towards B main here by the tree line.
ปิดแทงก่อนไหวอยู่ไหวดิ
Sylvan, he's just going to be able to spam down alongside Meteor. Meteor good with the double, and they know it's a good chase through. It's a 2v1. They should be able to keep their weapons. The Guardian gets dropped, but they know exactly where Jip Boys is at this point.
Yeah, the drones kind of spotted out Ben as well on the other end. So Izu is just marking it now with the Bulldog.
เฮ้ยหมดเร็วจังวะแชท
T1 pretty much close to flawless.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider this a very successful round, still keeping both those Guardians as well. So
น่าจะใจต้าคือเฮียต้าโอริโออ่ะเดี๋ยวกูอยากถามพวกมึงว่ะกูไม่รู้เลยลองคลิกขวาตรงลำโพงแล้วก็มิกเซอร์เหรอไหนแป๊บนึงนะผม
Just trying to be able to play around some of the compositions that they have, but at the same time now, as we head into the next round, because of Talon's full save, they've got the full shield, so Buzz's Outlaw, he's going to have to watch out for that a little bit.
And Meteor's been really good about these cam timings. This time going for Arcade immediately gets deleted. He's going to back out. Still has
โอเคป่ะเสียงเบิ่มมาแชท
spotted and cleared. He's actually just going to jump over it. So Governor clears
อันนี้โอเคยัง
now having control fully in. Buzz meanwhile gets killed on the
Sorry.
other side. He's chasing down. That's a spike down.
Repeaks a little bit just to check. I think you might have spotted out at least 2. Maybe you're playing on the side inside of smoke as
What
well.
the fuck มันคือแก๊ง 5M ในชีวิตจริงเหรอมีอย่างงี้ด้วยเหรอวะ
Governor, he has to try to find a way out. He wants
สวยโอ้เร็วหลบได้
to safety. This is going to allow the reset, but now
เฮ้ยมันโบนัสนะเว้ยเอาหน่อย
they spotted one out at minimum outside of arcade. They know that Governor is still by B, so you can leave Meteor here and start to circle about. See if there's a plan coming towards A, and that's exactly where Buzz is on the minimap.
Yeah, still marking the exits out towards drop at least. Meanwhile, the rest of the team able to play the numbers game, so taking down Governor now makes it a lot much easier. Talon, though, still at least sticking together, will be able to get the spike down.
Yeah, they do have a decent amount of utility. No more smokes, though, so once these two dissipate, that's going to be it for any masking possible for Talon. I love that T1. They're just waiting and saying, okay, it's a 4v2. Buzz making sure that there's no wraparound through the spawn. Talon, they need to get extra picks, and look at what Izu's doing. He's just going to buy time, force him back in so that they can make sure that they group them up and take them out at the same time. He's stunned as well. Oh, Chip Boys, he's going to get traded instantly by Izu. Now a 3v1 Primi. He's pushed out. Can he isolate the 1v1s? He's got too many angles to be aware of, and it's going to only be 1-0 as Meteor cleans up for the bonus for T1.
ชิบหายแล้ว
T1 just being able to pick up the bonus that quick. I mean, they start off the round rather effectively, right? Just being able to stall and hold up around the B side, up around bench, but at the same time,
ดราม่า 5M ทะเลาะกันในเกมแต่ไปเปิดทะเบียนโหเปิดในชีวิตจริง
all the way out of game.
มันข่าวจะปิดไฟกูเห็นละกูก็เลยงงมันคือเฮียอะไรไว้ กอร์เนอร์มันยิงให้เรานะ
give them a lot more of that advantage.
Yeah, the spike being
เฮ้ยขอบคุณหัวใจครับแตงกวาขอบคุณครับ
to make sure is it a chase through? Is Buzz coming out with multiple people? Oh, and Stacks as well. We're really seeing the importance of kind of the attitude that IGLs have here in BCG Pacific. Obviously, GENG, a very prime example of that with Munchkin. Very similar default cam again on arcade, and it just gets read immediately. Meteor knows that there is going to be a force coming in. He doesn't know the number, but now you hear the stealth drone as well. You have a bit of an inkling.
Look at how he plays around
เขาส
the
กอ
side.
ร์ครั้งแรกเหรอไหว
Around the other side, Sylvan there with a bit of a crossfire, but
สวยกอร์เนอร์เปิดสวยสัส
it does capture on Sylvan.
เจวิชากินอะไรยังครับยังแล้วผม
Making sure that there is no
สวยกอร์เนอร์
massive numbers advantage with the
Ui.
and upgraded rifles as well.
โอ้
Meteor can only get one. Premier's just back with a stinger in close range, and Governor now holding right up against the wall. He tries to
กอร์เนอร์มึงหิวเกินอะ
3v2 now.
เทเดิน
Look
ไง
at
ห
Ban's
นู
health.
ไม่คุ้นหูเลย
Only
หรอ
5 HP. It might as well be a 2v2 if Talon doesn't play this carefully.
ไม่ได้ออกไงหนูไม่คุ้นเรื่องหูเลยเหรอโอ้โหแล้วต่อเติงได้ไงเฮียเนี่ย
Does send out the stun. Oh, the paint shells with the outlaw shot takes 2 down.
Hey!
Down to just Primi.
Showstopper online as well. Primi just hoping that it doesn't get checked. And it's just
Hey!
the stinger can't delete him fast enough. And Izu will go for the defuse. T1 now up 4-0. And quite frankly, in my head, I'm wondering, does this call for a timeout? But at the same time, I mean, Talon's starting position is just getting red. They already had 2 rounds where they just weren't able to buy up. And I don't know if you have anything much to add on other than let's wait to see what our players do once we have a couple buy rounds stacking up.
กินไปสองแล้วว่ะ
Tough to call the
กินไป
timeout
สอง
right
แล้ว
now. You're not really seeing or exploring too much or enough
Well,
just yet.
do-
I mean, right now, Meteor has been able to anchor the B site so effectively, or at least to get information. But down to the final play as well, this outlaw has found
มีทีม
so
ไทยไหมครับ
much
เนี่ยครับ
value
ทีมไทยตอนนี้โดนอยู่ครับผม
Showstopper on a kamikaze play against Primi as well.
And Primi now with the Armageddon and Showstopper for Governor. So Talon really needs to make this round work. They wait for the
นี่ครับ
cam.
โดนอยู่
This time it's
4-0 ครับ
on Dish. So look at T1, they're rotating, right? The Cypher goes from tree line to arcade to Dish.
มีแท็บ
Now making a little bit of noise,
แท็บ
trying to draw out the Molly, the early smoke, drawing out a lot of that delay, but the Armageddon already trying to isolate, but Governor all alone inside.
Okay, good
Sylvan
hit, good hit,
immediately
good
gets
hit.
traded.
Here's out Canteen at least, but right now,
Good one, Primi.
Goes in for the quick peeks, take down Jit Boys.
มึงเล่นเลนเป็นเจนเลยครับพี่ เอ้าน้อง
He's waiting to see if there's a repeat. Goes
Sorry.
outside of the smoke, and he accurately identifies what Buzz is trying to do. Izu pushing in
Oh,
from the
yeah,
flank. Though,
yeah.
now.
Oh,
2v2.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both teams separated. There's the Armageddon coming in from Izu, trying to make sure. But look at that small
Ban Nian,
gap.
Ban Nian.
Ban hiding on the
Ban
side. I
Nian.
don't think T1's going to expect that. No
สวย
matter
น้อง
what. But Primi's going to win anyway.
ไอ้แบนเนียนสวย
Primi still being able to take the duel on the other ends of the site, but like you mentioned, that
Okay,
little
okay.
gap,
All good,
Izu
all
just kind of
good.
going in for that little bit of a Hail Mary
เกือบไม่
spike
เที่ย
tap, but did not expect Ban to be there, so that
หน้าบุกครับ
definitely
ไฟเตอร์
it
ดำ
kind of doesn't work out in their favor, and the 1-4 comes through.
Yeah, looks
โอ้
like a
โห
timeout.
ไอ้เคียมันชนะราวเดียวมันไทม์เมาส์เลยเหรอ
Still from Talon's side here.
เดี๋ยวนะ
Just given how the beginning was going through. Yeah,
เราชนะราวเดียวมันไทม์เมาส์เลยเหรอ
Because you look at the timing, Governor kind of sent in, right? You heard
อ๋
the
อเรา
smoke
ไทม์เมาส์
come
อ๋อ
down,
เรา
then
ไท
you
ม์เมา
saw
ส์
the
เรา
Molly
ไทม์เมาส์
come
เดี๋ยวเรา
down.
ไทม์เมาส์ทำไมเราชนะ
Governor stranded on no man's land. It was good recovery. They decide we still have to flood into
Nani
the site.
this?
We have to have the numbers advantage, and they're able
Nani?
to secure the round. But perhaps not really liking the fact that hey, we're starting as a 5-stack.
แก้เกมเหรอ
and once we
แก้
get
เกม
red,
แก้
we
เกม
don't
นะครับ
really
โอเคครับ
have a way to adapt. So Jovi this time really sharing a
มา
piece of
เช่น
their
ใครมา
time.
ใหม่นะครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดติดตามกันหน่อยครับยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนนะครับผม
We definitely provide
วันนี้เป็นแมตช์สำคัญนะครับเราชนะวันนี้เราเหลือแค่คู่เดียวแล้วมาสเตอร์แบงคอกนะครับผม
turn things around, turn the tables around against T1.
ฝากกันนิดนึงครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดติดตามกันหน่อยนะครับ
Point. I don't know if you keep going for these 5-man
อ่า
stats.
แชมพี่น้องเหมือนโดนแก้แผนกูเห็นพวกแฟนทีมบอกว่าทางเราจะเล่นด่านนี้มันรู้มาก่อนเอาดี ไอ้เหี้ย
So you're really banking on the fact that you're just blocking up the post plan. So I don't mind that idea.
มันรู้เหรอ
At some point, a variation has to come through because T1 just had a chance to discuss things with their players as well.
That is true indeed.
เนี่ยไม่บี
So it's going to be a split this time just to see if there's a push out on the north side. T1 does read accurately that the stack
ขอ
should
บอก
be
พวกมึงเล่นได้ดี
on the
กูอยาก
north
ไปกิน
side
ส้ม
with
ตำ
a
ที่ไทย
Hero Guardian in Meteor's hand.
กูเลยเชื่อสตรีม3 ช่องทางครับ
Use of it though right now, everyone
คู่นี้
towards bench.
Well, that's a trade of Yuto. You only heard one gun. It's trapped.
Oh,
Grimmy. There's so
oh,
much Yuto coming after him. Meteor just traps him in. That's a rifle given over. Talon, they don't have time. Once again, they have to rush in. They have to just try to block up the site. Goes right by Governor. In the 1v1, can he find the kill? No! The Sheriff headshot from Izu in the smoke.
All of them spotted out by the Neuro Theft as well, and right now just trying to hold off to the other side. The barrier mesh kind of keeping them a little bit trapped in. Ban just trying to play inside of the smoke, hoping that as soon as it dissipates, he finds something.
Yeah, he's trying to fake him out with that barrier mesh. It's a double push in from Talon, but now they're both identified. There comes the stun, lands him up. No, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
พี่ทีมสวย
Still pushing
2-3 ได้อยู่มันโลนึง
Now they know exactly where the Talon players are.
สวยมีอันตีน้องมีอันตีใจเย็นพี่ขอร้อง
Rolling Thunder just to
เอื้
see
อ
time at this point. Crossfire is set up from Talon. T1, what's the play? The smoke comes out to try to isolate, and Sylvan
มีอันตีมีอันตีขอร้อง
to relocate.
ขอ
Just
ร้อ
was trapped
ง
inside. There's your orbital strike. Orbital strike traded. Defuse.
สวยเดี๋ยวมันได้ครึ่งหนึ่ง
I don't think. And is that enough
วันก่อน
time?
บอก
The
ลงส
Molly
ตรีม
comes
8
out
เดือน
as
ขึ้นใหม่
well.
สวย
But to run.
The
Come
round
on, Loki,
saved
but
by
you're
Chip
good, mate.
Boys in with the counter orbital, just being able to burn down at least one of the other
ไม่ไหวค
players
รับ
as well. I mean,
ล
so
ง
much
ปุ๊บ
chaos on the side with Governor being
ส
able
ล
to
บครับ
sneak all the way through, and T1
ครับ
almost completing the eco, but down to it all at the end. Just Chip Boys alongside
โทษทีโทษที
some of the other players being able to stick around the site.
โอ้โห
I mean, this
เหี้ย
was
เอ้ย
messy.
เสี่ยว
Let's
เกิน
say it
ว่ะ
like it is. But hey, if you're Talon right now, you'll take whatever rounds you can get.
เดี๋ยวมันขึ้นใหม่ขึ้นเหมือนกัน
As smoothly as
เขาบอก
they
อาทิตย์วันสปิดกับด่านนี้
hoping that the tail would be
เพื่อนกูบอกว่าเจอใน X เหรอ
Now
ไอ้
finally
เคียมันรู้เยอะว่ะพวกเคีย
and
นะ
the North push from Van as
แมปใครอ่ะแบบนี้แมปเราครับ
Quite gone for A-site this strongly 2 rounds in a row yet.
For now, just trying to hold off the round A main.
Stealth drone to see if there's a drop down over from Dish. Izu trying to make the jump over. Doesn't quite get the information he wants.
Okay, but right now it is
ครับ
a lot
พี่
of
จ๋าสวัสดีครับกูรับสนุนครับ
util being spent as well.
มันแฟกเจอร์บายเฮเว่นครับดันลืมเปลี่ยนแมป
for a
เดี๋ยว
fact that this is A site. They're already positioned to hold the spawn line. It's really a matter of timing, and there's the stun, the
โอ้โห
drop
อันที่วันน้อง
down. 2-man drop.
สวย
Cruz
พี่ทีม
tries to hold them through. Annihilation does lock one up.
สวยน้อง
He has win that, and he does. Locks up
ไม่มีของ
Izu
ไม่มี
as
ของ
well.
ใจเย็นใจเย็นรอได้รอได้รอได้
The door as well, but here comes the swing from
Buzz now looking for the next one. Cruz just buys a little bit of time, but the salvos, he is
โอ้
stuck
โห
in the box.
พี่ทีมกูบอก
Buzz is
พี่ทีม
aware.
กูเนียน
You gotta recognize that there's a gap there, Buzz, with a nice little jiggle. Now 3v2.
Ooh.
They isolate the fight. Now there's the double.
Swipe!
Get Ban cleans up one. A 1v1 with 8 HP from Governor. Boombot stacks nose. Does he hold for the half? Governor, where's the swing? He still waits. He baits him into thinking that it's the half, and then Stacks is still waiting, just with enough time to finish the defuse.
So
Oh,
patient, just has
come on.
it in his hands, and he knows that he's got the round. With 8 HP remaining, just not much that he could really do. Trying to play so conservative behind the boxes, it allows for Stacks to go with that swing. He's confident with it. Now onto the other parts of the round. Yeah, quite chaotic on the site itself as well, but the Annihilation does find someone. But down to it all just because that T1
ไม่
managed
โคตร
to
ค
get
มมา
that
แฟน
space
ทอม
up
แม่ง
behind A main, managing to kind of get that pinch play in towards the site. It really threw things
โอ้
off.
ยย่อยย่อย
And I love that Buzz checks that little corner as well. Whether it was purposeful or not, they recognize that there's a gap, that someone has to be trapped in that corner in A main. This time a 3-1-1 split from Talon, finally spreading out across the entire map. And Primi only with a Spectre in hand.
T1 แฟนทอมรีคอน
away from his
ดัสตะ
Armageddon.
โกดบรอ
Okay, but I think found for now.
ถ้าชนะไปรอเจอเป็นประเล็กกันเลยเหรอ สาธุ
And Stacks does hear the zip lines. Not entirely sure what the game plan is, but look at that. They're
ใจเสียตอนไหนบอกด้วยนะครับ ไม่เสียไม่เสีย
nobody main, trying to make sure that there's no push in from the north side. Already the attack starts over by B though.
Yeah, smokes out, so players starting to get ready, at least T1. A little bit stunned up. Governor straight in towards tower, and that position is very well noted by media.
And there is the pain chills. Buzz, does he try to
โอ้โห
peek out? The stun comes to
ไอ้
Governor.
เหี้ย
No way
คอ
out
ม
of
โบ
that
โค
one.
ตร
You're
สวย
stuck in dead water. And now just on site, waiting. Barrier mesh comes out. There's the rolling thunder to keep them at bay. And Ban just gets caught right in the trap of things. Talon, no way to enter the site. 3 members all stuck on dish. 40 seconds. You could rotate, but now you're getting read like a book.
Yeah, so much of the util already spent as well, Chobra. I don't know what Talon could do in this round. Maybe just a save at this point as well. They lost so many of their players early on. I mean, it looked like they were trying to go for that mental conditioning play towards B, and then kind of come in with a full rotate back towards A. But Buzz pushed out. Buzz got all the intel.
Yeah, the pain shell's really trapping up Governor. That means you know that he's out of
มันอ่าน
heaven
ออก
as
หมดเลย
well.
ว่ะ
So you know that it was going to be a fake. It's a great read from T1 and the early
seconds
save
left.
call. They
Oh.
did have Armageddon. You still have the salvos, but not going to rely on that as a way to secure the round 5 or 3v5. And Talon will just have to give up another point. T1 now up to 6.
Yeah, right.
It
feels
team
like
เก่า
we
ที่
just
บ้าน
kinda
เลยนะเว้ย
started things off, but so much already has been handed to T1. Talon needs
เพิ่ง
to
กลับ
find
มาดู
a
T1
way
ตอนนี้
to
รวม
really
ทีม
claw their way
Infinity
back in the
Stone
lead.
ใช่ครับ
They have the
มันคือ
Armageddon,
Infinity
but
Stone เลยครับ
so far,
T1 ตอน
they're
เนี้ย
not entirely sure how they're going to capitalize on that thing.
And I think the
Oh,
biggest
man,
trouble
what's
is
the combo?
T1 seems to have a decent read that it's always going to be a stack. They're pushing out without that much investment. Just 1 or 2 pieces of util. One person checking to see if there's a push. The cam checking to see if it's a stack. And once they get the read, they immediately start to rotate and put out their own delay in the form of things like the fault line. And so I'd love to see Talon either go maybe even faster or try to use the map a bit more, play with the time a bit more. You still had, 40 seconds left in that previous round as well.
I feel like that's what they were trying to do in the previous round, but it's just so much of it is getting shut down because players like Buzz are just so proactive. But here we go, looking for that possible full send straight into the A site. Salvos to clear out a little bit of space early on in towards A main.
You don't have the salvos to clear the site, though, and already so much time, so there is the ult orb. You could have sent the Armageddon, but it really does feel like Talon, they're now trying to put the pressure, forcing T1 to either invest members or utility to re-clear A main, and T1, they just hold. They recognize, all right, Talon, if you want to change the pattern, that's fine. We got a crossfire set up. We got someone watching Dish as well. We're pretty safe here.
มันไม่ดูหลอกเลยเหรอวะ
Watching Arcade, so the 2 members of T1 are feeling safe.
And you were absolutely right as well.
โอเค
Look at T1. So much util still kept in their pockets, just waiting for that clear
โอ้
green
มันเล่น
light
ดีอะ
from
มันเล่นคน
Talon.
ดีอะมันเล่นคนดีอะมันเล่น
Buzz
คน
kind
ดี
of
อะ
sussing things out a little bit. Starts to actually back off in towards A, but that should be the tell.
Yeah, the fake over to Sands does work, so Buzz is out of the site. That leaves the site empty, but Governor, he can't quite get the kill. The Cyber Cage getting so much value. Now repositioning, and Talon has the lead. He's just gonna spray down and shut down the gate.
ไอ้เหี้ยเอ้ย
Completely blocked. Locked as well. The door shut in front of Talon's faces. It's just Cruz here. Has the spike on the ground, but not really within his range to pick it up. Still continuing to try to poke around to spot out at least a player, maybe get a point towards his rolling thunder, but so many targets on the other end. Stacks will be able to get the final burst.
7-2 on the defensive side.
ขอ4 ราวได้ปะ
Not had to overextend or overheat.
ว่าถ้าเราได้
It
4 ราว
does
กัน
feel
ได้
like a
เว้ย
big part of this is the compositional change from T1, maybe throwing Talon off a bit. Because imagine if
คนจะแก้แผนยังไงหรอ
T1
เล่นจังหวะแรกครับ
have to push out
เพราะเรารู้ว่า
very hard
ไม่รู้นะเท่าที่ผมดูนะ ผมรู้สึกว่าเรารู้ว่า เขาเล่นสแต็กเขาเล่นของ
Right now, Talon's like, all right,
เนี่ย
let's go
จังหวะ
in.
แรก
T1 just
มันจะเป็น
delays
จังหวะ
and
ที่
then says,
ไอ้นี่
all
สุด
right,
ละ
what's your next plan? Because we're all just going to hide out in sight.
มันไม่คุมไซส์เยอะสุดเลย
T1's not pushing out until it's past the 1 minute mark.
Which is why this compositional change from T1 is just so majestic. Right now, Meteor spotting them out once again.
ไอ้เหี้ยไม่โคตรไซเฟอร์เมนไอ้เหี้ย
The tripwire will get spotted.
มันบุกครับ
Stealth drone just trying to make sure there's no one hiding behind the box, but it's not that much value. You
อัน
don't
นี้
get
ร
any
อบ
sight,
รอบ
obviously, into the
ก่อน
side
จะ
itself,
ไฟนอล
and
ครับ
to heaven from this side. So Talon, once again, blind as a bat.
ไอ้รอบก่อน
And
เซมิไฟนอล
wondering if there's going to be a flank, but look at the map. This time, T1, they recognize, okay, they're breaking the cam,
กู
they're
ไม่
breaking
อ
the
ยากเล่น
tripwire.
แล้วว่า
We've
จั
already
สกู
pushed
โด
out
น
of
แบ
A
บนี้
main.
ใคร
We're
อยา
ready
ก
to
จะไป
pick.
เล่นด้วยวะ
It's so good.
Huh?
Meteor gets
No,
the
the look
kill.
one.
The tail end gone. Jit Boys will try to hold on, but look at the position on the map. They're trapped around the
sorry.
smoke. Jit Boys will still fight
Oh,
through.
don't
Meteor's
fang.
still alive, wrapping around Talon. They have to clear out Meteor. They're not quite sure
โอ้โห
where
เน็
he's
ตโคตรดี
repositioned
มี
to,
แซชเชล
and
ด้วย
they just don't have
คอม
the
โบดี
numbers
จัด
anymore.
คอมโบ
Triple
ดีจัด
kill for the
คอมโบ
Sentinel
ดี
T1,
จัด
and Buzz will finish the job.
หมดหวังแล้วจัส
Complete
กูไปนอน
and
แล้วนะ
utter
อย่าเพิ่ง
destruction.
นิ่งไว้
T1. I mean, you talked about the comp, but also how they're able to hold down the site. I mean, just a little bit conservative with some of their smokes, but because they have that tail on the other end,
อ๋อไม่ไม่คุณนึกว่าโดน
alongside
ควัน
Buzz, T1 are able and effectively able to continue pushing out, gathering so
ใช่
much
ใช่เราเห็น
information,
ภาพ
coming
เรา
back
พูด
and
ได้ไง
rendezvous with the rest of
ใช่
their
ใช่
teammates.
แต่ว่า
Meanwhile, Meteor's just
เรา
so
เห็นทุกอย่างไง
slippery as
มันเลยพูด
well.
ได้
Yeah, I mean, Meteor gets the kill under a deadlock. You already have your teammates coming up from B tree line, so you know you're safe to wrap around. It's just there's so much passive info actually going over to T1 side. Now a trade of salvos. Talon picking up the speed. Governor, he's already into Sands, but T1, they're looking to just delay again. Look at the position. They've got Izu
โอ้
on
โห
site.
แล้ว
They
มี
just
ส
wanna
ติก
set up
เกอ
a
ร์อะเพื่อน
crossfire.
โอ้โห
Buzz,
ส
Izu's
ติกเกอร์
gonna
สู้อะไร
actually
เขา
finish
ได้
off that
อะ
A little bit way too far ahead. Jit Boy's looking for the trade, but not quite in position or ready to really go for it. Right now, then, T1 finds the timing against it. Buzz continuing to swing out, almost getting the spray transfer.
You're getting
Stacks gets
farmed.
the trade. All
You're
that's
getting
left
farmed.
is just Cruz, and he hears the footsteps from behind, goes in for the swing, but the Stinger will not complete its kill.
Yeah, and again, right here,
Holy
this round,
shit.
Buzz doesn't start to peek out until his teammates have already pushed attacker spawn.
มัน
So
มาฟาร์ม
even if he
กูเลย
goes
วะ
down, the pinch is there. You still have a crossfire on site between Izu and Stacks. You have that backup plan. So that rifle you drop, it's not going to be too much danger. They're still going to be trapped in Sands. And T1, I mean, this might be one of the smoothest fractures they'll ever have to play.
Just so clean with how they're able to make it work right now. And
ก็สาม
Talon
เคิร์ดเหรอ
is
ได้นะ
not
เว้ย มีอัน
quite
ตีสองอัน
having
นะ
the
ลุยดิ
solution
เฮ้ย
just the first half,
ทำ
but
ได้
keep in mind, a few rounds
เอาหน่อย
ago,
เอาหน่อยเอาหน่อย
several
เอาหน่อย
rounds
โอ้โห
ago now,
เฮียมัน
Buzz was just so fired up. Stacks is so fired up. You gotta remember, they are close towards qualifying for Masters Bangkok, and they really want it. Now, the last round of the first half, pushing through.
Yeah, Annihilation.
สวยแบน
Thunder, you gotta dump everything you got. It's gonna be a push towards
What the
spawn.
fuck?
Doesn't have the spike.
What
but
the
trying to
fuck?
stick to the game plan of clearing out spawn. But where are you going, son? You gotta come back to the team because you don't have control of the site. You have to plant, and that's going to be Primi now left all alone with Spike in hand, and he goes down as Talon loses a 2-10 first half.
Down and kaboom! I mean, you saw the movements on a mini-map, but at the same time, just Sylvan being able to hold down the ground on the site. A quad kill coming in. You gotta imagine this does not feel good for Talon.
Oh, this is rough. Again, the game plan was to
มันยิง
push
ง่าย
that
จัง
spawn,
วะ
try to get more space, make sure that you've cut off the backup so that you have an option if you need to rotate, given how fast T1 has been swarming the site. I like the round read. I'm actually not going to criticize that at all because I think that probably was the answer. It was just happened to be the
เขาไม่
last
ได้
round
เขา
of
ไม่
the
ได้
half.
เขาไม่ได้ดิวะ เราต้อง
But
เชื่อ
at
มั่น
the
ดิ
end
วะ
of the day, his teammates
เราต้องเชื่อมั่นดิวะ
blocked
เรา
off
ต้องเชื่อมั่นดิวะ
getting
เราต้องเชื่อมั่นดิ
delayed.
วะ
Now separated, Spike in
เราเชื่อ
hand.
มั่นดิวะ
You
แช
can't
ท
rotate back out of arcade, and then the
เรา
team
เชื่อมั่นดิ
just
วะ
all falls to pieces one by one.
โอ้โห
Yeah, you
ส
gotta-
แต็ก
you gotta flip all of
โอ้
them at
โห
once.
สแต็กมีสาวสามมาเชียร์ดูดิ
Stacks
ไอ้เหี้ย
united, and you mentioned how much it would mean
เป็นใครจะยิงไม่คมมา
international, not just the team itself.
เป็นกู
but
กูยิง
Stacks
หมดแล้ว
missing out on all
คนถือป้าย
international
กูขนาดนี้
tournaments last year. As one of the, most decorated veterans here in Korea, he would love to kick off the year by getting to an
ขอชี้คีย์บอร์ด
international
ที่ใช้ปัจจุบันครับ นี่ครับ
Without a doubt. You gotta remember all those lovely little elevator gags that we had with
Paper didn't kept him, yeah, Paper didn't
จั
kept
ส
him
เรา
locked
เป้ายิ
in.
งถูกกัน
Yeah,
3
yeah.
เป้าถ้าจัสแพ้ทารอนชนะ1 บาท 2 บาท 3 บาท คอน1 บาท 2 บาท 3 บาท กระดาษต่อ1 บาท 2 บาท 3 บาท คอนมึงชนะกูทารอนแพ้แน่
เสมอไอ้เด็กเหี้ยเส
And
ม
they
อ
are
ได้
hungry for
หี
the win as well, just that right now, with this
โบ
first
ไหนครับ
half
โบ
going
สาม
this
ครับ โบ
way,
สาม
it does not feel good.
มึงเคยกด 12-0 แล้วแพ้ไหมล่ะ กูเคยแต่ทารอนนิ่งไว้
Tons of delay on defense.
ทำไม่ได้ครับทำไม่ได้ ขอความคิดเห็นจานหน่อยครับจานคิดว่าทำไม่ได้ครับ ต้องเชื่อมั่นครับเราต้องเชื่อมั่นครับ
Pistol
ในวันไหนที่เราขาดความหวังเนี่ยเป็นวันที่เราหมดหวังนะครับ
Oh, okay, just not making any noise with the drone either. It does break
กูเห็นแค่นั้นกูก็เห็นความต่างแล้ว
should have heard that. So you look at Primi.
GGEZ
โอ้โหพ่อมึง GGEZ ไอ้เหี้ย
On towards Arcade. Is he ready for the full push? There comes the smokes. Jitboy
สวยแบน
trying to fill the site. Isu gets one. Ban trades back.
สวยพี่มี่
Still with two. Primi.
เอาได้น้อง
Back again. It's a 2
สวยน้อง
and Primi staying alive on the site. The timing for Meteor. Primi.
สวย
And Primi. The tie duo this time
น้องมัน
keeping
ยิง
things
ที่หัว
locked
บวมหม
down.
ด
พี่เราได้พี่
This is where
ผม
Talon
เชื่อพี่ทำได้พี่ทีม
more, especially with their deadlock coming through. Ban.
Isu
was
can
able
speak
to
Korean,
lock
yeah, he
himself.
can.
Now, double
ขอบคุณสำหรับ GG ครับ
You gotta snowball things as much as possible. Two Bulldogs as well.
พี่ทีมนำดีๆพี่ทีม
Doing good work. Primi launching that before he goes for the peak. And Jitboy's really kind of acting as that speed bump as he peeks out from the side at an unknown timing. So Talon this time trying to
energy ยังมี
still a long way to
ต้อง
go.
อย่างนี้ดิวะ
It's gotta be a 5-man buy.
There it is. Hopefully being able to snowball this into further rounds. Now peeking outside tree.
โอ้โหไอ้เหี้ยไม่มีกล้องด้วย
Not quite sure if it was broken there on the last shot, but Cam spotted towards tree. So Talon, they're going to choose to just try to get information elsewhere. T1 already has a lot of control of the map itself. It's just the weaponry not quite there. And I just want to call out that some habits die hard. Meteor not getting rid of the Gen G habit of buying that sheriff here. The lone sheriff on T1's side on that eco. We'll see what he can do with it.
It's at A main.
เหี้ยอะไรก็ได้อย่าโดนเหี้ยนี้ยิงพอขอร้อง
The old Gen G squad very well known for their headshots, and because he's already way up to the line of scrimmage, not spotted by anybody, it's going to be a fake. Try to draw attention with the stealth drone.
Okay.
Now you've already got the raise
ได้อินโฟ
close
สองอัน
starting side. T1, they're getting
แม่ง
ready
มา
to
บีหมด
strike
มา
off.
เอหมดเลย
Fully
สวย
checked, but
โอเคถือว่ารู้
they are blind right now.
Meteor did call out for those smokes.
เข้าแล้วพี่ใจเย็นพี่ทีม
Cruz kind of noted on towards the other side, inside of the smoke with his bursts. So at least
โอ้พี่ทีมสวย
something he does get down stacks.
Yeah, full faith that his fault line was going to delay some people, so they still spray down. Now finally the spike goes down, and he
ได้ไหมบัตรได้ไหมได้สวยน้องพิมมี่สวยพี่ทีม
Across the barrier there. Sylvan gonna launch the molly. T1 looks like they want to try to win this, but it's gonna be really tough. Only 2 members and just their classics in hand. It's really a question of how many weapons does Talon drop. So far, the answer is going to be 0 and easy. Not much to do. Will just hide out. Just trying to go for the salvo. I think he didn't realize that it was actually being stuck, because he does have to go out and try to.
โอเคเฮ้ยฟลอเรต
Unfortunate.
ฟอร์เรตแล้วมันเซฟพิตตันสวย
So the salvos as well, not quite finding too much. Just kind of
โทรไปบอกไอ้แบงเอาปุ่มนั่งออกดิ เฮ้ยได้อยู่
T1 in the
ไอ้เหี้ยไอ้บ้านเกือบเลยไอ้เหี้ยกูรีโหลดอยู่ที่บ้านกู
Yeah, I mean, I thought Ban was dead to rights right there when the peak came out, but stays alive, keeps the weapon. So 2 outlaws.
เพราะว่าวางบอมครับเลยได้เงินเต็ม
Talon can get over this
เรา
bonus
มันคืออ
round.
อบเจกตีฟอะถ้าเราได้อะมันได้ครับ
Potential of a comeback. T1, this time look at the utility on the north side. Full passive information. A straight trade here towards tree, and T1's gonna win out.
จริง
แพ้มาแล้วจ้า
เฮ้ยพ่อมึงมาแววแพ้สัตว์
Crucial piece of one of that delay.
เอาชิบหาย
For Meteor as well. The 1v1 against Ban, and now Talon. They're stretched across the diagonal of the map.
3 on 5 as well. You just don't quite have the numbers to really reinforce and hold down a lot across the map. Can't have fights like that when Ban, your lone sentinel is kind of getting picked apart. So now, just try to hold the space as much as they
ถ้าทา
can.
ลอนชนะเจ้าของค่าย JJaz 420 หรือ IGN Jazz เครื่องหมายสี่เหลี่ยม WP จะเปิดตูดโชว์แอค
พ่อมึงไม่มีเปิดตูโชว์แชทไม่มี
The salvos come in from both sides. Cruz
ถ้า
tries
ทีม
to
นี้
get a
ผม
fake.
คงแย่กว่า
Doesn't
นี้
quite get
ละ
an aftershock, but there's the timing from
โอ้โห
Meteor.
มันคมมาก
Right when Talon
น้อง
forgot
มิมี่
about
น้อง
Arcade, the teamwork is impeccable from T1.
พลาดนิดเดียวมันเอาหมดเลยอะ
The utility and then the timing for Meteor to swing out off the other end. Of course, they
ขอ
don't
สักตัว
expect
ดิ
it now. It's just shit boys, and he's trying to peek
Did-
on through.
พี่ขอสักตัว
Jet Boys, obviously, it being the bonus, you get
โอ้โห
whatever
มัน
you
เห็นแล้วนะไอ้เหี้ย
Just a bulldog
ผม
in
ไม่เห็นเนาะ
hand. He can rack up a multi-kill, get a little bit closer to that orbital strike. Well, it's not going to happen. Sylvan
เราให้
shuts him
คนละ
down
นัด
as
เหมือนกัน
well. T1 now 2
แต่
points
ปืนเรากับ
away
ปืนมัน
from
ต่างกัน
our
ว่ะ
East
แชท
on our first map.
ridiculously close and fast to it. I mean, JJaz didn't get the dink though. He did get the dink, but still, it's just so much of it going right for T1 right now, who are firing on all cylinders.
ไอ้โกมันเอาให้อยู่นะ
Noted
ไอ้เหี้ย
like so quick away that yes, it's gonna be the outlaw. Maybe they're gonna peek out early on, and because of that, Buzz is able to go in for a quick swing, quick
โอ้โห
push.
ไอ้บัสทำดีๆน้องไอ้บัสรอดฝัน
And then they completely flooded the site with that
เอา
teamwork.
เอาก็
Meteor
มันยิง
being
ไป
able to
5 ตัว
hold out the other side as well.
Yeah, Busan, the esports arena down there, having a viewing party with 3 Korean teams playing today. A good day for it. I believe they'll have a large kind of
คือตอนนี้เอาจริงนะน้อง
as well for kickoff. But right now, Talon still
โอ้ย
continues
เยอะเยอะเยอะเยอะเยอะเยอะเยอะเยอะเยอะ
trying to chase through with that fault line. They tag one, but Izu only
มันก็เอา มันก็เอาบีง่ายๆเลยดิเงี้ย
wide open from Buzz. The only place they haven't cleared is Heaven, and he'll carefully wait for his teammates.
Yeah, practically just going for that full retake. Izu though, ooh.
Now hiding out in sewers, he could get a great timing, even if it's not a cutoff. I mean, you just have to wait to get the call that they're coming on to site. He wraps around.
เอาดี
Keeping my eyes on Ban's position as well on spawn. He should hear the rope, so he should be able to notify his teammates that there might be a wraparound, but it looks like he might have missed it because nobody's watching their back. Buzz gets one. Meanwhile, Izu now backed out towards Arcade. Talon trapped with nowhere to go, but they have a mission. They have to defuse the spike, but they don't even have any sight line on any extra members. There's the over to strike. There's the salvos coming in. It's just going to be extra delay upon delay. And that's where the Tejo shines. No chance for the defuse. A save for 3 members. And Talon will be down at 4 rounds while T1 is on the doorstep of their
ไอ้เหี้ยมันเป็นภาพเดิมเลยวะ
Just that composition again, right? I mean, you get to see this duo with Stacks working alongside Izu. That's what this composition is built for. Mid-range, they get the spike down. They didn't spend way too much getting into the site. And with the salvos kind of refreshing, they're just able to keep it for post-plant. That's why they pushed
ไอ้น้อง
so
พี่มิน
much so
น้อง
in towards
พี่ว่าจบ
defenders.
แบบนี้น้องลุยเลยห้องน้ำอะ
Utility. And despite Talon getting into range of the site, they weren't able to do anything off of it. Now the last round, possible last round coming through now, you gotta imagine how Talon can really scramble something together at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to focus on the north side. That's their choice. Let's just push out, clear out one side once we get contact. But the setup that Meteor has, unless you push with Util, he can just stand there the entire round with full information. Can watch both Arcade and towards the push out from Dish as well. Now, the only thing is he doesn't have an exit. So when these 2 members buy Dish, when Governor peeks out, oh, but they're not going to. They get faked out by some of that pressure coming out from A main, and they don't ever quite push out. That gives Meteor timing to make his own move.
Meteor
Bye.
off towards the other side, but right now Buzz
โอ้ยเหี้ย
catches Governor. Oh no! Swaps over onto the shorty, and Buzz continuing to go in, looking for something, anything inside of the smokes. While Talon just keeps himself trapped inside of the defender's spawn. Meteor comes in for the pinch from behind.
Yeah, I mean, they are absolutely trapped in the trying to go for the wraparound. Premi finds him, but
กลับ
now
บ้านมา
it's
ไว
still
ๆพ่อมึงเอาดี
4. T1 still 40 seconds. You still have Buzz over by Sands. You don't have
สวยแบน
and will find 1 kill. The call should be coming in, but there's the
Winnable,
swing.
winnable, winnable.
Does he have an idea of where Stacks is? Ban. He gets taken down. It's just 2 different 1v1s. 30 seconds on the clock. Premi, if he
สวย
gets
น้อง
this kill, now a 2v1. You're feeling a lot better. Premi just has to hold on to the site. Stacks. Some great
มีซาโว
moments
มีซาโว
last
ปัง
night.
ปังเข้าไป
Got that clutch against Paper Rex. Premi, does he wait for his teammate to come up close? They're going to try to push him out. Find sight of him. He's still on the site. There's the swing from Jip
สวย จิต
Boys. And Jip Boys will keep
ยัง
Talon
อยู่สายบน
alive.
อยู่แล้วก็
Just
อยู่
one
สายบน
more
ต่อ
time.
เถอะกูขอร้อง
So
อะ
well working together. The Thai
ไม่เอาอะ
duo,
ใส่ล่าง
the Thai duo, you know, this time not Cruz. It's going to be Jit Boys alongside Premi, and it all works out so beautifully. Starting things off, right, it felt like everything was
เจ็ดลาวไม่ยาก มันทำได้เราก็ทำได้
Stacks
แชท
just had to get that kill, but Premi this time
พวกเขาทำได้เราก็ทำได้เว้ย
waits for Jip Boys and then
เนี่ยมันทำมาเลยเจ็ดลาวอะ
that kill. So, you know, when they're given the opportunities, they are able to set up some of these fights, but in that first half, because of the positional advantages, T1, all members winning a lot of their duels that they needed. And now Talon just
ไม่มีคำว่ายากถ้ามึงเชื่อมั่นด้วย
It's not over yet.
แชร์ใครมาใหม่ครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดติดตามกันเลยนะยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนนะผมแมปแรกใกล้ชิบหายแล้ว
Be ascend onto B site, where Ban is alone with just 2 sonic sensors.
And that ult would be the big one. Drone to start things off and clear out towards bench.
And a See that orb go over as well. That's the showstopper. So the most you can hope for is that the ults are going to be used. Meteor, he is caught. Meanwhile, showstopper onto the side. Meteor, he has to run away. Can't stay alive. He's gonna choose to fight. Nowhere else to go. He tries to get up and immediately gets deleted. So now you've got the tree line covered and already trying to wrap around the north side as well. Talon's really trying to maximize the wraparound, but I don't know if that's going to stir them because how long it's going to take.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go in quick.
Yeah, Izu does see the boombot, so Governor knows that someone's watching stewards as well. There's a Rolling Thunder.
เอาไหนแบนขอตัวนึงอะ
Using the annihilation, but Buzz already peeks around. There's so much pressure coming out of sewers. They just can't quite get the wrap around. It's going to be ults for ult as the Armageddon comes out of the annihilation. Annihilation does not land. Ban trying to keep Silver on route. He's trying to keep him locked in. He knows he has him.
ไม่ได้ขึ้นเหรอโอ้ย
Ban gets one, but there's still so much delay in the salvos, keeping them away from the spike. Ban sticks it, he needs to stay on it, but he gets pulled apart. And Izu will close things out. And T1 close out the first map, 13-5.
13-5, the quick scoreline just to kick things off. I mean, Talon picked this against them, thinking it might have been that double duelist composition that we've been seeing for a while. But now all of a sudden, you got that Teo coming and the Cypher on Meteor as well, who's just so darn slippery.
Yeah, this is a huge change up from T1, showcasing that either they already had multiple comps prepped or that they were willing to recognize that they needed to adjust, and with a week's time, that they are able to upgrade what they bring to the table. And I want to give a shout out to Izu. I mean, even Frost was giving him his flowers, but the fact that he's picking up this Teo and the usage they had, I mean, very systematic, very solid, always with purpose.
แมปแรกเราแพ้แมปต่อไปเราเอา 2-1 คือสโลแกน
Talon had nowhere to go.
Yeah, not so much at all. You end the first half in such a crazy score.
2-1 คือสโลแกนครับ
So much of it trying to break their way into sites, but T1 were
ขาย
just
เสื้อ
so
ยังไม่น่า
darn
ปะ
holding them off. I mean, some parts of it was Izu, especially with his utility. Other parts were just Buzz being able to push on alongside Izu with that stealth drone, or just Meteor being able to anchor down the B site.
TikTok ผมลงก่อนนะครับ TikTok เดี๋ยวมันโดนแบนนะครับเดี๋ยวเจอกันแบบ2นะ TikTok
Think about maybe a too far ahead, but things like stage 1, stage 2, when you're having these weekly matches, suddenly now opponents, they can't rely on the anti-T1 anymore. You never know when they're going to change things up, try to reinvent the meta, try to get ahead once again. And this time, it works out.
ไม่ท้ออย่าไปท้อพูดถูกในวันที่เราท้อคือวันที่เราหมดความหวังแต่ผมยังไม่หมดเพราะอะไรเราคัมแบ็กได้ต้องเชื่อมั่นดิวะ
Thank you, Trevor and Quack. Yep, it's a 13-5 score line on Talon's map pick. A fracture. This is one of the faster fractures we've had so far during kickoff. And T1 is looking closer to that super team T1 that we've been hearing about.
Yeah, that was a fantastic performance. Felt like they had a pretty good read on what was going on. They comp swapped right before the game. Looked very comfortable playing it. All the players were on point. So look, the macro, the micro, and the individual performances all on point. And Talon just couldn't get anything done in that first half. The second half looked a little bit more promising. But they just started way too slow in this series. And as I kind of suspected, and the reason why I did pick T1 into this series, it was definitely a firepower diff in the server.
That's what it felt like to me. It felt like Talon couldn't get the ball rolling at all in this map. But T1 looked so strong, absolutely excellent. And like you say, I feel like they really understood this composition. They understood this matchup very well as everybody fragging really hard. This is what we've been waiting to see from this T1 lineup, right? We've been waiting till everyone's firing on all cylinders, till things are really clicking. And this is the T1 everyone was excited about heading into Pacific.
Now,
ดีใจเดี๋ยวเอากิมจิอัดปากจริง
Pilski's team
จริง
here, and his performance to support the rest
ขอ
of his team
2-1 เถอะ
has
ไอ้
been
เหี้ยมัน
really
เป็นไปได้ปะวะ
impressive. I mean,
ก็
how
มัน
do
เป็น
you
ไปได้
compare
เว้ย
the two Tejos on both of these?
แมปนี้แมปเราลองไงเราไม่เคยไงแมปบายเจอกันไอ้เหี้ย
Played a game on Fracture. I was thinking, yeah, maybe Izu on Teo and kind of theory crafting that, and they actually leaned in towards the double duelist. But he was outstanding on the Raze and the Fracture and the Teo on this map. I mean, looking at this, something that really impressed me from the side of T1.
2-1 จริงครับบัสจริงครับผม
See, Meteor is actually the player that should be focused on here, who pushes all the way down
สวัสดีครับ bro
stairs with
2-1 จินบอกไม่ชอบ2-0 ชอบ 2-1 ครับนะครับ 2-0 มันง่ายเกินแชทแมปแรกต่อไปแมปบายครับแมปบายแมปต่อไป T1 เลย
And then you're seeing T1 slowly set up
2-1 T1
all of this
ชนะ
reactive utility to be able to catch them in sand with the breach stuns and slowly flank them with the Cypher.
Yeah, when you're playing against this bridge Teo, it's really hard to just sit inside the site, so they were very
เกี่ยแบบ
reactive,
นี้
which
เหรอ
is what we'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, look at
คิดว่า
this round as well. You
เรา
see,
กะเล่นนานครับ
all
กะ
of
เอา
Talon
เอา
going towards top side. They're gonna
แบบ
go for an
เอาคอน
arcade
เทนต์
wall.
หน่อยขายสกุลขายส
Previously,
กิน
you
ขาย
saw
เจอร์ซี่
Talon
ไง
storming through A
ทำไม
main. This round, look at T1. You get
ขาย
the
ของหน่อย
stealth drone straight through that A main smoke. Previously, they fake smoked that, they leave it, and then they forced Talon to use utility over there. This time, they're just walking straight through the smoke with the stealth drone and the rays
โอ้
are
โห
taking
มัน
all
แพ้
control
บ่าย
of
มา
bottom
มันเลือก
side.
บ่าย
So
เลยว่ะ
that's 2 rounds from 2 different angles where either you've just camped and Meteor's just walked it down with changing onto the cypher pick, or you're just stealth droning through
ไม่
the
เป็น
smoke
ไร
and
เว้
taking
ยจัส
control of
ติน
bottom
หนึ่ง
side in
ไม่
a
ได้
different
เก่ง
way.
ส้นตีนไรหรอก
Talon not
จริง
really able to establish map
จริง
control. It
เก่ง
felt
เย็ด
like
แม่แต่
you
กู
can see
ข้องใจ
a
ว่า
very
ทารอน
stern
จาก
team
เอ้ย
talk
เอา
coming
ฟาด
in here, which is
วิลเลเน่
exactly
ทำดีวิลเลเน่
to wake up.
เราแก๊งเดียวกันครับพี่อย่าลืม
You
นะ
know,
ครับ
we were talking
นี่
about T1, and then that we've gotten tape on them. We have
Late,
2 times that we've
Bim,
seen them play fracture.
KO,
So Talon possibly had that
Gecko,
advantage there to watch that tape,
Wise.
but you know what? T1 also had time to revamp, so
คอม
obviously
เดิม
they did their homework and
ว่าคอม
brought
เดิม
out
อีกไหม
something fresh, and Talon was absolutely not prepared for it. Like you were saying, Pilsky, sometimes Talon has a lot of great ideas. They do a lot of anti-stratting, but if it's the wrong idea, what happens after that? It just falls to pieces like we saw in Fracture.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure
Oh.
if it was necessarily an adaptability problem as much it was they were just losing.
ไอ้
a
เหี้ย
lot of
ปูมันโหด
duels
บาย
and
เหร
the
อเรา
setups
ก็โหด
of,
เราก็
T1
โหดเหมือนกัน
adopted,
กูไม่สน
setups that they've seen before. Even if they had a decent read, they're getting up onto the site. They're still running into like a meteor cage setup that
ดู
they
เซน
haven't
ไหม
really
ตี
seen
ห้า
before. And then
จะไหว
the
หรือเปล่า
extra
กันวันเนี้ย
conflict's not
กู
quite
เหมือนจะ
right.
ไม่สบายแล้ว
Some
เฮี
of
ย
the individual players on T1 multi-fragging, and it's pretty much all over from there.
Yeah, when we talk about this compositional switch from T1, I feel like they really understood how to play it. Just look at how they pair up this util. This is not
วันนี้อ๋อ
like
Fnatic
heavily
Foot
practiced, well-drilled
ลาว
stuff.
เซนโอ้
I wouldn't be shocked at all to find out that they had this comp ready to go from the start. But decided
อะไร
not
เล่น
to
ไหน
follow
อะไร
it.
อ่ะ
You took almost. This is the same round, guys. Breach done into Raise Nade, free
Oi, oi, oi.
kill, Governor up Arcade, and then you get the player
เมื่อ
coming
เลยอ่ะ
out
เป็นซุป
drop.
เปอร์ส
It's
ตาร์
a
ใน
breach
ตำแหน่งอื่น
ult
คุณต้องยิง
into
30 คิว
Teo
เลย
salvos, another kill from Util.
ก็จะเป็นแนวเกมนี้คือแรงต่ำกับแพลตินัมเลยไม่แปลกที่พวกเขาจะไม่เข้าใจ เพราะเขาจะเห็นแค่จำนวนคิว ถ้าผมยิงฟิกช็อตยากๆสเปซสวยๆได้ ทุกคนจะพูดถึงคุณ แต่ถ้าผมจ่ายแฟลชแบบโคตรเทพจนเพื่อนได้ 4K จากแฟลชอันเดียวของผมจะไม่มีใครพูดถึงแฟลชนั้นเลย เขาจะพูดถึงคนที่ยิง 4K ได้
ไม่ต้องห่วงครับทารอนชอบอ่อนที่หนักแรก
จริงครับ
เดี๋ยวก็ทำแบ็ค1-1แล้วก็ชนะ2-1ครับ
Yeah,
ถ้า
สอทีวันนะครับช
อ้า
นะ
ว
right, Morgan, that
น้อง
they
ทำดีๆน้อง
probably had this
โม
prepared,
ไดโมไดโมไดโมไดโมไดโมได
didn't show it for the first week or two. Like, because why? They didn't need to.
We don't know if they had it prepared or not, but it looked.
เฮ้ย
I do think this was the perfect game to
ปัง
make
สวัสดีครับ
We spoke a lot in the pre-show about how heavily Talon like to
อันนี้คืออะไรอ่ะ อันนี้มี
ideas. We saw Frost talking about the different
คลิปอะไรคลิปใหม่
Them to the stage Talon versus Global Esports.
It's the Thailand team who wants to represent at Masters Bangkok. We saw a new beginning for Talon's roster.
Yo, I got that too, bro. I got that too, homie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got that too, man.
I'm confident. I am confident. I know.
ไอ้เหี้ยสตรีมเมอร์โกลบอล I am confident I am confident
We don't lose pistol.
Hello, man. Immediately, and then there's a follow-up.
That's a bad position, Darion.
อะไรอ่ะ อะไรอ่ะ ฮัลโหล
And just 2 people. Never mind. Pistol. I mean, down and. Well,
No way.
Trip's just going to be destroyed. All the pockets being destroyed as well with the salvos. And then it's.
โอ้วายเอดิเตอร์
มีครับโบร
เฮ้ยยูมิสวัสดีครับ
How are you ครับ
อัมกูดครับฮายูครับผมตัดเขาเจียดเดี๋ยวขอดูอันนี้ไว้นะเผื่อมันมาแล้วอ่ะเจ๊ได้โอนเกมอ่ะเจ๊ไม่โอน
salvos. And then it's.
สวยพี่ดีม
Give away so many points. Talon,
We
once
take
again,
those.
surviving with 4
We take
people.
those.
Hi guys, it's the Talon editing team here. We wanted to put a joke here, but honestly, what the even happened this round?
Straight a crossfire, but he's just gonna get taken
ไอ้แม่งแม่งขยี้จัด
He kind of lands on that. I mean, let's be honest, we can talk all about the theory, but the viewers aren't really quite seeing what this composition was cooked up for. Those trap plays. Now that's knocked out for the pistol. Oh,
Holy, dude. Found the timing. And that is a nice shot though. Bam, Pistos. 2-0. Even though you probably wouldn't think that.
สวยแบน
That's a third kill. Swaps
แบนLet's go
Y'all were talking shit about ban, dude. Y'all were
สวัสดี
talking
ครับพี่วอลสวัสดีครับ
Ban is nice.
Ban, the unstoppable menace.
Oh my god.
Oh my god oh no no hell no ไอ้เอ้ย
I have
That's
also things
fucked.
to tweet, but after we win.
Round 2. Fight.
What are you gonna do?
What the hell, boy?
What the fuck
จัสมันหักหลังทารอนไปเชียร์ทีม
ก็เฮียแล้วไม่ใช่
What the what?
Well able to
สวยวันแท็บสวยสวยกู
Yet another shot. But thankfully Talon
ดีครับไหวไหมไหวดีครับ2-2เองแชทจีนี่ไม่ใครที่มันเป๋ไว้
ผมคิดว่า 2-1 นะ เครื่องหมายดอลลาร์เครื่
ครั
อบ งหมายดอล
จริงค
ลา
รับ
ร์ทีหนึ่งชนะไหนบอกว่าทารอนไหวไงจัสนี่
ทารอนไหว2-1ทารอนเฮีย
copy into the stars on the site.
สวยพี่ชิงเป้าสวยน้อง
Talon this time. He wants to punish the op. Finds one. Oh, okay. The kill. Knows he doesn't find
นามิสวัสดีครับจัดไม่โตมีวะไอ้เหี้ยอะไรเนี่ยเดี๋ยวเฮ้ยอายุคนต่ออัสซันอะไรเหี้ยสตีน
กำลังจุยหนอนเจสตอนนี้บวชอยู่ในวัดป่าใกล้วันศึกแล้ว แต่อากาศมันเริ่มร้อนจนตอนนี้แทบจะอาศัยอยู่ในรังมดแดงแล้ว มดแดงมันกัดตัวเป็นลายจนกลายเป็นคนที่เธอไม่รักเหมือนที่คนที่เขาไม่เอาจัส
มึงก็แปลงร่างใส่แม่งเลยไอ้เหี้ยมดแดงอ่ะสัตว์เฮ้ยเลือกตัวแล้วแอตตาเดล็อกเฟดนะครับเกโคเรด
It's going to end here and T1 continues on. We're going to go to our casters Chobra and Quack to take it away.
Thank you very much. Getting ready for Bind, as the casters mentioned. T1 looking very dominant with this composition of theirs. Boom comes up with the ante, but then they course correct right away. Already here within kickoff. See if they bring out something new again or if they revert back to their old ways and their defaults. T1 will be starting on that attack. We already see that Mosh in hand.
Alright let's see let us cook แมป2แมปเราแชทแมป2แมปเราครับไม่ต้องเป็นห่วง เพราะเราเอาเอง
with some of the combos that they have with the raise and fade as well as the deadlock.
There's going to be the 0 point, the Mosh, of course, to clear out Octagon on that garden section of B main. It's going to be a pinch, but it's going to be a slow one.
ทาง YouTube เหรอ
It's trying to be a flood all the way through. There's the Dizzy.
สวย
Raise on
สวย
with a great crossfire. 3 kills
โอ้
to
พี่
Talon's name. They
Holy
got
shit,
more.
nice shot.
Meteor left all alone, and
Nice,
they just flood
nice,
him and make sure that Talon gets
nice.
that pistol round.
คนดี
There it is, as soon as it happened so quick. I
เปิด
mean,
นี่
the
เกิดเฮีย
lineups
ขึ้นไม่
being
รู้ว่า
sent
แต่กูรู้
through,
ตาย
but
หมด
kind
อ่ะ
of everything being noted by Talon immediately, and at the same time, just you have the utility.
ใช้อย่าลืมโพยอย่าลืมแทงนะครับแชทอย่าลืมนะครับผมจะปิดแล้วนะ
and that's where a lot of those kills and contact went through.
Yeah, and I love Chip Boys just with the positioning there, right outside of that smoke. A lot of people have started doing this, right, where you're just crouching right outside, whether it's on a box, on the ground, it doesn't matter. Trying to get those sneaky kills, and it works out once again on that pistol round.
แถมให้กับไทยเป็นผีน้อยอยู่นี่แหละกูว่าดูทรงกัน
This
เนาะ
time, not outlaws, just one outlaw going over to the hands of Primi. Ban with a Marshall as well.
แมป2นะครับแมป2นะครับ
Out of showers, so showers and
แมป2ไวจัง
both being covered by these long range weapons. Oh, Primi!
น้องพิมมี่
A little
อย่า
bit of an
อย่า
uncharacteristic
อ
whip
ย่า
there as he takes some damage himself and Stack's able to push up.
อีกตัว
One for Ban, pushes out. He is aware of another as
โอ้
well,
โห
and he
ไอ้แบด
cleans
บ้าง
out
ไอ้แบด
Meteor.
บ้าง
That's
ไอ้
a
มา
lot
เชล
of
เมน
info going over
เข้ามาแล้ว
to
เข้ามาแล้ว
Talon.
เข้ามาแล้วเข้ามาแล้วน้องเข้ามาแล้ว
Still getting chased
น้องรัก
through
พี่
his Stacks. Knows he had the tag with a fast swing out. Able to take them down, but the spike already stranded.
โอ้แบน
Ban
ส
will
วย
just go ahead and
เฮ้ย
collect another kill for himself. Stacks for the outlaw now, though, being able to come in as the new kind of rebel in the town, looking towards the back lines.
Yeah, so round-wise, it's not looking great for T1, obviously, with the spike already being stranded. And
เรามีบอม
Talon
นะเนี่ย
hasn't
ดีแล้วเรา
spotted
มี
it.
บอมอะ
However, outlaw in hand, half armor on 2 members.
ห้ามแพ้ไปไหนไปสายล่างครับ
I mean, T1 could look to do some damage, and that's exactly what Stax is waiting to do. See if there's a wraparound, see if there's a pinch. Now, double team looking to push back out of hookah. There's a judge in close range. See if Governor's got the angle right, as Stax will be, or it's Jip Boys rather, waiting right outside. And finds the last one, and it's a clean 2-kill from the Astra of Talon as they lead 2-0.
Yeah, despite being able to pick up
ถือว่า
the
เปิดได้ดีครับ
there
เปิด
was
ได้ดีครับจริงครับ
there was some kind of a chance there, Trevor. You know, it looks really good, and we were kind of rooting for it. But at the same
รัก
time,
ตี
just
วันนี้นะ
because
ผม
Talon, Jit Boys
โอ้ย
kind
ไอ้
of
แบน
noted
เอา
that
ไป
the
3
spike
ตั
on
ว
the ground already was
ไอ้แบน
able
เอาไป
to
3 ตัว
keep himself
ตึงๆกับมาเชล
in position. The Outlaw kind of peeking
เอ
at the same time.
อ
Barrel wasn't quite
ไอ้แบนล็อกอินละ
showing itself just yet, but Jit Boys knew where he had to be.
Yeah, I mean, great angle.
ไอ้เหี้ยมันไว้หนวดแล้วมันเหมือนคนละคนเลยอะ
Doesn't get peeked out. And they choose to keep the 2 judges instead of trading it out for one of the Outlaws, recognizing that it's all classics on the other side, that it's going to be full armor, the Outlaw not having as
แมป
much
ใครครับแมป
value,
T1 ครับ
just keep the Marshal in
แมป
hand.
เราเขาเก่ง
And this
แมป
time
เขา
Sonic
เรา
just
เก่ง
once
นะครับ
again
ผ
set
ม
up towards the A side. It's the Stars keeping the delay over by the B
นี่แมป
side.
เขาครับแมปเขาแมป 2
Planted
ครับ
in the cubby on A short, but surely this gets checked after hearing all those judges, and it's just sprayed out from Buzz
Bro, he
right through
just
the wall as he sees the kneecaps of
unlucky.
Governor.
Yeah, caps him down, but also being able to execute into sight because he's within range now. Then that 0 point earlier from before on Stacks in towards Hookah.
พี่เล่นวา
was
โล
kind
ไหม
of
ครับ
a
เล่
bit
น
of
ค
a
รับน้อง
fake as well. Buzz continuing to go in with an
เดี๋ยว
onslaught.
พี่มิกกูตายได้ไง
Second
อะ
player down. That's Primi. Cruz trying to snipe down whatever he can with this Marshal of his, but not being able to find too much.
Yeah, some chip damage onto the members, but T1 so far still looking good to keep all 5 members alive. It's going to be bad.
แพ้ก็ลงไปสายล่างครับ
With that Vandal, he needs to find
Oh.
value, but he gets shut down. That's
โบ
the
นัสเรา
Vandal
โดนอีกแล้ว
drop.
โบนัสเราไม่ค่อยได้
And
วะ
Chip Boys, just the judge in hand. Not much he can do. The most you can hope is maybe someone is hunting you down, trying to push out, and you get
เอา
an
มาออก
extra
จากวอล
frag,
ลุ่ม
but
หน่อยครับขอโทษ
otherwise,
ทีครับ
this looks like a round where you got to go to the spike.
Pretty much our whole threat.
โอ้โหแฟดนี่โคตรโกงอะ
If T1 pushes into Jit Boys.
แฟดแบ็กไซด์แฟดเฮเว่น
much.
โอ้โห
At the same time, I mean, just down to a lot of these tiny little minute movements. T1, you know, a couple bursts in, it kind of
เป็นทีมเหมือนน้อง
cruise
ชาย
out into the peak.
เอากุดเอากุด
I mean, I respect it. You know, see if you can try to find a timing right there at the end for a ninja
Sure.
defuse. Yeah. I mean, you still get a point for yourself as well. No one on T1
ไม่เป็นไร
side.
เมื่อกี้มันโบนัสเนี่ย
Getting
มันเห็น
close
ขา
to
ว่ะ
their ultimate. But
Really,
yeah,
man.
that Cubby, if you are watching out for it, you will always spot them before they spot you. So Buzz just be wary of the fact that they saw so many judge shots in the previous
โอ้โห
round.
ไม่เห็นมันก็ยิงแล้วว่า
Very cognizant of what's going on the
โบนัส
map
ปลอม
right
พิม
now.
มี่จน
T1
ก็มาซื้อบูลด็อกไง
putting themselves in the game.
พี่ทีบอกเอาปืนไปเลยน้อง
The operator
พี่เอง
brought out by Governor though.
เฮ้ยเอาออฟแล้วเหรอ
Early operator, big investment, but if you can make it work, it's a huge snowball, especially on bind. There's that fake smoke. And he
สวย
finds
กู
Meteor.
เนอร์
That's a huge
I
burn
like
off
that.
of
I
Talon's
like that,
shoulders.
bro.
It's going to be the Vice gone. No passive info to watch the flanks. One of the flashes gone as well.
Still though, a little bit of information off of that. T1 trying to work their way in towards the A site. Smoke's in their way though, but they're still able to
เฮ้ย
blast
โอ้โห
back
โดนไป
all
ห้อง
the way
น้ำแต่
in.
ไม่มีใครอยู่ห้อง
Buzz
น้ำไงเพราะพวกกู
clearing
ไปแล้ว
out
จ้า
baths, and now
การันตีเข้ามาเตอร์ยังครับตอนนี้ยังครับ
spike down on site.
ต้องช
So
นะ
now
เกม
you
นี้
know
เก
that
มห
the
น้าครับ
operator full rotated. That's what T1 was banking on. A lot of times the operator, of course, trying to switch locations. It's going to be that push out. This time the Prowler comes through on that TP. Buzz trying to fight it. Doesn't get caught by the seas. That's huge. But he's still got a lot of angles to watch out for. There's the Cosmic Divide. Buzz, where does he choose to fight? He's just going to hold close. Trust his teammates
What
to
the
hold on to the
fuck?
spike. Sylvan just getting
ส
out
วย
of
พี่
range,
มี่
but eventually gets run down. And Buzz just keeps up. Cruz tied up in the TP. He cannot help his team. Now he's back. Buzz being
สวย
very
แบ
busy,
น
eventually gets taken down. Time
Diffusing.
still ticking. Talon on
เอ
the
อ
defuse.
สวย
There's the push it. They've
สวย
got the bodyguards. And that's going to be Primi defusing to make sure. Oh, no, he's still gone. Bond diffusing. I was watching it. I was like, Gecko. Of course,
โอเคโอเคโอ
the
เค
first diffuser still
20
showing up on that
20
UI, but Ban will be 2 points away here from his Thrash.
Yeah, thankfully getting that defuse. So, still, you know, overall, really successful retake from Talon. Right? Coming in with all
กอร์เนอร์
those
สวยครับ
smokes,
กอ
but
ร์เนอ
at
ร์
the
สวย
same time,
สวยครับ
the
แบนนะครับ
cosmic divide, they kept Buzz away from the
จิต
fight,
น้อง
but
จิต
also
เอาให้
being
สอง
able
ครับ
to
ต้อง
storm
ปิด
in like that, and taking some of those T1 players down.
พวกกูจะมากินกะเพราหมูสับที่ไทยโอเคปะ
Big reads
มา
coming
กิน
out
กะเพรา
from
หมูสับ
Talon,
พร้อมส้ม
making sure
ตำ
that they just shut
ไม่สน
down
ไอ้
at
เหี้ย
least one of those lanes, whether
ต้อ
it's
งมาให้ได้
going to be B main or back.
ต้องมาให้ได้เว้ย
As long as that's shut down, they're ready for the retake
ไอ้
as
เหี้ย
well. You can still have that TP, you can still have the wraparound, especially if you take out Meteor. I mean, that's, again, the sheer wall gone, whether it's for the post plant, whether it's for that info. So T1
อ้าวกลัวแล้วครับT1นับตอนนี้ครับ
because their default setups you know it's not a copy paste it's not
แชร์ใครมาใหม่นะครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดติดตามนะครับ YouTube นะครับ1,300 คนนะครับฝากกดนะครับจะ100 ไลค์แล้ว YouTube ฝากกดหน่อยดิขอสัก100 ไลค์ครับพี่ๆนะครับพี่ๆน้องๆคนนะผมช่วยเด็กตาดำๆหน่อยนะครับเราอะไรครับ
Oh, even a
เป็
little
นแพลตฟอร์มมือ
motivated
นะครับ
after
ใครมาใหม่นะ
years,
ฝากกดไลค์ฝากกด
okay?
ติดตามเหมือนกันนะผม
Not that I'm a master at reading his
ตัวละ
body
แมตช์นี่
language,
ใคร
but that's how I'm
เฮีย
gonna interpret it.
แมปเขาเราเก่งเหรอ
like
วะ
you know you see someone like pumping their fist up like that. Yeah, that's got to be a positive sign.
Yeah, he heard something and he's pumping his fist. Okay, yeah, that sounds good for Talon. See if it's good enough to bring us to a third map. Izu also just
เด็ก
one
ใต้
away
ตาดำๆใช่
from his own
เกม 2 มันพันแล้วไม่ใช่ครับพี่แบบ T1 ครับพี่
And this looks
แบบ
like
T1
it might be a trap play out of Hookah. Trying to push through. It's going to be the operator
what the
following the prowler as well. Risky business here from
Holy
Governor.
shit.
But they'll make it work.
Yeah, nothing noted. A lot of T1 players just making sure to keep away from some of these possible plays. Not quite sure what it is. Meanwhile, at the same time, though, Talon with their setup, I mean, this is a really good one. Annihilation would be able to capture into anyone who's inside of
เฮ้ย
pass.
ทำไมมันขึ้นคำว่าวันลุ่มอยู่
The
วะ
Thrash as well, just trying to keep it at bay with the grab net. Love the slowdown so it doesn't get as much information. You've already given the site, but you're holding on to backside, and you mentioned the Annihilation. We'll see if it comes through the Fury Mesh. Now closing off short. Pushes out of it as well. Eventually gets traded, but some delay on the route. There's the Annihilation trying to draw in. Meanwhile, waiting
สวยมีเล่นคนดีน้อง
kill against Meteor. Some of that post plant once again.
สวยไอ้บอยเบิร์นอุ้ยพี่
Primi with that
Holy
nice shot on the
shit.
buzz. And now just Izu.
Yeah.
Too many members to fight. And Talon winning the round after the opponent's timeout.
Really successful with their setup.
In midnight.
I guess this is why Frost was
เฮ้ยพี่ล็อกอินในที่ละ
comfortable and also hyping his team up. They were kind of prepared for this. They had the setup. They kind of knew that that teleporter play would funnel T1 in towards the A site where they had everything set up.
Everybody's locked in Everybody's locked in
Risky to do it with the operator, but you're sending
โอ้ย
the
เหี้ยกูเห็น
prowler
พี่ยิง
out
ตัวบนว่ะ
to make sure you clear space. And like you said, it really funnels them in because if they were to come in through B main, you still have hookah control. You still have delay with one of those Astro Stars. And now you just hold on to backside. The grab makes delay the Thrash as well. Just every part of T1's game plan read by Talon.
Let's go.
And Ban looking happy as well. They're on the stage now. The stack over by B side, making sure that they are able to keep control of B main and that teleporter so that they can go for the rotate.
พี่ดูนี่นะครับมาดูในแอปดำแอปม่วงกับพี่ได้ครับ
Not really quite
ลิงก์หน้า
spotting
โปรไฟล์
anything
น้องชาย
out just yet. T1 will be able to push in towards hookah.
Yeah, and they're controlling both ult orbs as well.
แต่เวอร์ชันมีหนวดยิ่งมันแปลกเลย
on the side of T1, big ultimates as well. So Talon already pushed out. So if it's B, they got to wrap around. And if it's A,
ดูที่ห้องเลยได้
they
ไหม
can rotate over. Can they hold on and
สวย
Octagon? That's one
Governor
kill, but Buzz, if he peeks out too
Oh,
far, it's
shit.
a nice snap on from Governor.
Whoa, Governor!
Just like
Yo!
that, round 6 is over.
You
Third kill
clean,
from
bro.
Governor as well. What a
Holy.
way to wrap around, controlling alt orbs, pushing out, but also being able to hold down the angle from
God
guarding.
damn!
Just blocks off so much of T1 that they couldn't quite plant their feet into the site. Sure, they managed to drop out hookah, but no one was
Shit,
able to
one
find
more.
these trades
God
and
damn,
refrags.
bro.
But at the same time, you got to consider the fact that
Bro's cooking.
yeah, it is a bit of a half
Chill
buy
guy.
from T1. So
Bro, chill guy.
it's just
Bro,
overall
hit
Talon
3
being
like
able to read the map and play it round to round quite well.
And Ban still has his Thrash, hasn't really
Chill guy,
needed
bro.
it. Now they've
Chill
got
guy.
Emeralds cycling up. It's a good jumping.
Okay,
I
chill,
love
chill.
the
All right, we
attempt
too chill.
and
We
that
too
bait
chill
and
now.
switch,
We
but
too
the
chill. All
operator
right, we
does
got one.
get dropped.
All right, that's
T1
good. That's
trying
good.
to make sure that it's not recoverable. There comes some Muto coming out from Cruz, and now the push out. There's the Steel Guarded. They're trying to pinch on to
Okay.
Talon. Showstopper use. Buzz, can he get the
พี่
kill?
เอาเบอร์ยังได้
Not
เอ้ย
quite in time.
แล้วพี่ดีม
The
ปืน
trade
ปืนพี่ดีม
comes
กูไปไหน
through,
อะ
but Ban is holding on to B main. There's the peek out. He gets hit by Dizzy.
มีติ
Has
มี
been
ของ
counter Dizzy himself. Finds one. Where's the cover for me?
Chill, we
Still
have out.
hiding The Thrash comes in.
Chill.
Primi now looking for that.
ง
Oh, the
ำส
Thrash
วย
hits him. Primi, does he cover for Meteor? He
Okay.
expects it. He spots Meteor. He
Oh
wins
my
the
God.
fight. And now Izu left all alone. Just cannot dance long enough. Talon continues to lead.
A lot
Holy
of that
shit.
hinged on towards
We
Meteor
are
finding that
cooking.
one-on-one against
We
Primi,
are
but a little bit
cooking.
unfortunate. Primi was just that sharp and clean with the strafing.
Oh,
And
Governor,
at the
nice shot,
same
dude.
time, as soon as those trades went through, despite T1 with the right play to break down hookah, they weren't quite able to break
โอ้
down
และไอ้
into
พี่
the
เมี่ยง
site.
คมมาก
You know, was it Jit Boys was still,
อันนี้มองไม่เห็นแล้ว
was still sitting on that thrash, which
อันนี้
really
ไม่อันนี้มองไม่เห็นแล้ว
delayed things as much as possible.
Yeah, I love the usage
อ๋อ
of
พี่
that
ดีมโดน
Thrash
ตี
as well,
อ๋อ
not
พี่ดีมโดน
trying
ตี
to score the trades. while waiting for Primi.
โทษทีอินมาลืมครับลืมโดนติ
Now it's got to be a side
เมื่อกี้ไลฟ์พี่เราพี่เราไม่ดีครับไม่ครับผมจะแบบลงแมปหนึ่งแล้วขึ้นใหม่ลงแมปหนึ่งแล้วขึ้นใหม่ครับไม่งั้นมันจะบินถ้าผมไม่ลง
everywhere they go.
วันนี้พี่ดอ
as well. Governor on the other end with the outlaw in towards A short. A bit of a teleporter through from Cruz, and that's just continued.
Okay.
Governor.
Going through, and they're still coming. He's still holding on.
One more.
He's waiting. He
One
still
more?
gets more. On for the ace. Do they give it to Governor? He does already have the showstopper. So in all theory, it should go to somebody else. The entire team of Talon now on the hunt.
เฮียมุสโมกมันเลยดิสัตว์
He slipped the entire net. Finds one. Gets the headshot. Waiting for another, but Ban will pick it up. Now inching towards another thrash.
Yeah, he just used it. Now has another point to it as well. I mean, so much
We
of
are
it
online.
going
We
right
are
for Talon
online right now.
T1, you gotta imagine maybe the timeout call being soon again, but otherwise, just every part of the map that they're getting pushed into or pushed away from. Governor's on the other end. If not, it's going to be the squad on the other end with Primi and that utility on the other side.
I mean, T1 they just can't figure out the map right now, right? You look at the movement, you look at the round-to-round setup. There's that timeout. You gotta call it because right now the team is just at a loss. Every first contact, the round is already over. You're losing too many members. Talon is making you frantically try to rush onto the site, and you just don't have answers. Every other round, you don't have the econ rather. So T1. Now saying let's pump the brakes, let's reset. What else do we have? Remember what we trained for. How can we adjust? Because right now Talon has the read on us. So how do we make sure we try to counter that and re-clear space? Now the big question is the obvious choice here from T1 would be to wait, right? Wait for a push out, try to get a pick, and slowly inch forward. Read your bluff.
Let's cook, bro.
There's two ways to go about this. We'll see. Also, this is where we can kind of tell the characteristics. Because T1 could also be like, we'll make them think we're going for the obvious change, and then we'll just full-on rush again. This time, not changing lanes. And so far, it kind of looks like what it's going to be. It's going to be a big push here from T1 once more.
กูจะรอดูถ้าเราได้กี่รอบทีมหนึ่งกดได้2 รอบครับ
It's going to be a mid pinch from Talon. You've got Showstopper online. Everybody keeping their eyes towards mid. Coming out of hookah, coming out of A short. There's the showstopper. They already know Buzz is out. Talon just trying to keep them locked up. Someone gets two, but doesn't even matter. Because now Spike dropped, pushed away from your own territory. Meteor has to fight with 28 HP.
God!
Just one member left. Stacks, you might be good at clutches, but
chill.
Isolating the 1v1s.
Oh my, we are so good.
Primi cleans it up.
Yeah, down to the final
Holy
protocols
shit!
with Ben and Primi being able to hold that far apart from each
What
other.
the
Makes
fuck,
it that
man?
much more difficult
Insane!
for Stacks to fight the 1v2.
Actually
like
insane!
Just that complete showstopper pinch down A short.
Oh, bro, it's him, bro, it's him!
Bro, it's him! Teared apart limb from limb because of this play.
What the
I mean,
fuck?
pushed out on all ends that T1 was just not able to execute whatever game plan they cooked up.
สมมุติถ้าอีกทีมแฮมเอาโค้ดของอีกทีมไม่ได้กดก็พูดได้เหรอครับได้ครับถ้าทีม A กดทีม B ก็พูดได้ครับผม
There's 3 half armors on the other side.
ทีม B กดทีม A ก็พูดได้ครับ
to run away with this map and T1 don't have any timeouts left, so it's all up to Stacks to rally the troops.
Trying to make it happen. Starts off into a 2-cup.
Okay, we got info.
Nightfall.
แต่เราใช้เร็ว
Massive
จังวะ
tag as well. Multiple members. So look at
แล้ว
the
มึง
other
พูด
side
ทำไม
of the
จัด
map. Talon. They've already pushed out.
เพราะผมคือทีม C ครับผม
All right.
ทีมสาย
We can
บั
all
ฟ
start to rotate and get ready for the retake. You
ถ้า
even
กดจัด
got
อยู่จัด
Chip
พูด
Boys
ได้
to make sure that he can stay on site while Governor goes along
อัน
with
เนี้ยไอ้เหี้ยเล่นอย่างเงี้ย
onto guard.
แล้วบอกกูบ้ากาม
But now you got to make sure you get up to the site in time. Try to make sure no one spams out of the smokes. Spams coming in through the wall as well, trying to keep T1 at bay. They're just trying to make sure everyone from T1 is busy looking at the site while Governor makes his way all the way around. Shearwall was just tripped. Governor, he needs to get the kill. Meteor will keep their back safe. Orbital stress coming out, and
รี
that's
เทคขอ
going
แบบ
to keep
สวยๆดิ
Talon
โอ้
at
ชิบ
bay.
หายละชิบหายมีควยแล้วไม่ได้มาใกล้
A bit of a breather. Talon, not much space to
อ๋อ
work
โอ
with.
เค
You gotta wait
มีอ
for
ยู่
Chip Boys.
สวยแบน
Can't take it out. Ban gets
สวย
one. There's the annihilation. And someone you can't
โคตร
let
สวย
in
อะ
anymore.
โคตรสวยอะ
He's
แชท
been tied up, and it's all down to Meteor again. But the barrier miss on top of the cosmic divide. I mean, what do you even do here? You just gotta try to spam it. There's just no
my
answer.
God!
And
สวยสัส
Meteor gets stuck right in the one opening.
โอ้สวย
And
รีเทค
it's
โคตร
9-1.
เพอร์เฟกต์อะเมื่อกี้เพอร์เฟกต์รีเทค
Over, not like this. You got the cosmic divide, the barrier mesh. At that point, it's just no hope whatsoever. So much of the things tried by
What?
T1, but
PT?
Talon just being
Hello?
able to send
Bro,
so
hacking?
much their way at the same time. You had that nightfall, the perfect delay, the ultimates on the other end, the annihilation break off the off angle that Sylvan was holding.
Let's go!
As everything
Let's go,
locks down.
Cruz!
Yeah, the pre-fire is the only thing you can do, trying to peek through the wall, but just not
แต่ละ
enough
คนอย่าง
room,
นิ่ง
and
ยก
Talon
เว้น
correctly
JJ
identifying how they set that up. Oh man, they heard the current meta was all about the walls, so they started to just double things up. And Talon now 9-1, serving a bit of
Okay.
T1's own medicine after map 1.
Definitely feels a lot better for them right now, though.
Oh,
Buzz trying to get ahead of
Alaki
it
man,
with
don't
the
look,
judge. Blast packs in towards Bats, takes down Primi. Cruz trying to get ahead as well in with the teleporter play.
ทุกทีมเล่นกันให้เต็ม
Cruz
ที่นะ
just
ครับ
might be
ส่วน
stuck
กู
a
รออยู่
little
รอบ
bit,
ทีม
so
ใคร
this
ที่
round
ผ่าน
9
เจอกู
ส่วนกูรออยู่รอบทีม
The retake already very slow from Talon, Molly keeping them at bay.
Hey,
Chip Boys will try to see if they can
eh?
get any kills from above, but look at the crossfire setup. Sylvan's gonna spot first. Meanwhile, sheer wall trip.
แล้วมันตีเลยป่าวะไม่มี โอเคต้องวางโอ้สวยกับเนื้อ what the fuck
With the nades, he's been so good with those. But do they know about Izu? Close by, they spot him,
Oh.
and Izu will get both. And
Oh,
that
NT.
should be the round here for T1.
เฮ้ยวินเดอร์
He's good
มี
for
วิงแมน
kills, but time already running short. He needs to stick onto it.
ไอ้เหี้ยเฮ้ย
No chance
วิงแมนก่อนดิ
to
เฮ้ย
put the weapons away. He knows they're low on creds, and Buzz just says, whatever, I just want the
ไอ้แบน
round.
ลั่นมาก
And they'll
ไอ้
each
แบน
get what
โค
they
ตรลั่น
want.
That brings us to the last round of the first half. I mean, T1 just trying to go a little bit quicker this round, just being able to blast back in with the judge in towards Bats. But at the same time, as soon as the spike was
And bad
planted,
Holland.
Talon
So
got
this is
themselves
it now.
into position. But
Well, if we win
while
today, we need
Bad
one
was
more.
coming in
One
with
more
the
win.
longest flank at the same time, Stacks
And
kept
after
himself
that,
in towards a very
if we win the
deep
next
position
one,
where he was then able to find it and finally
then here we
sprint
are.
out.
Masters
Although Ban
Bangkok.
caught him, that was information enough for the rest of the team.
But we are losing right now. They're up by one map.
Yeah,
This is our second map.
eventually they kept it long enough in control. But look at
เวลาไม่ทัน
the
ปะวะเมื่อกี้
kills that Ban makes. It's going to be even 2 Guardians and a bunch of half armors for T1 on the last round of the half. Sheer wall already spotted by
I don't know. I
Talon.
think เวลาไม่ทัน
So
ปะ
now
วะถ้า
they
ใช้วิงแมน
immediately
ไม่ชัวร์
pull
ว่ะ
hookah, and they say as
ถ้า
long
เรา
as
ทีม
we
ไทยไหมครับ
have
ทีม
one
ไทย
of
ครับ
these
ทีมไทย
angles
ครับ
to drop back into the site, the retake should be in our favor. Showstopper online for Buzz. Do they use it? They're going to use it for the entry. Talon correct.
Rosa!
TP immediately
โอ้โห
trying to come through. Steel guard,
พอ
and
มึ
that's
ง
going to buy
โด
a
นกี่ตัวในเรา
lot
เนี่ย
of time
เราโดน
for
4 ตัวเนี่ย
T1 here in the
อ๋อ
post
2 ตัว
Get the spike down, get yourselves into a comfortable position, just trying to be able to hold up around
มันหัน
the
ไป
drop
แบบ
of
นั่นหรือกด
Hookah.
ไม่ทันมัน
But
ไม่
at
รู้
the
ว่ะ
same time, Meteor kind of circling around back towards Fountain.
โอเค
Of course, they want to get Ben, back in with the
โอ้
rest
พ่อ
of
มึ
the
งเจอ
team
4
on
ตัว
top
ไหนย
side.
สัตว์
Yeah, Meteor's
โอ้
position
3
is
ตัว
going to be very important because you don't imagine he's all the way far back. Yeah, Governor's concerned about B main, but he's by Fountain, as you mentioned. He gets 2, not quite onto 3, but lots of time bought. Look at the positions of T1.
Are we ulting
You're
that?
holding close on guard, and the Thrash comes through, but you're not sticking together, so you can still cover each other's angles. Sylvan still over by elbow as well, trades back and forth, but eventually numbers advantage for T1. And they will be able to climb
good?
up
I don't
one
know.
more round, making it 3-9 at the half.
Should be good.
3-9, better than nothing, but at the same time, you just still have to consider the fact that Talon was able to break apart so many of these rounds.
I mean, Talon came in with a plan, and they hammered it home. I mean, the devs talked about it, even before the previous map and after the first map as well. That individual firepower,
Alright,
a lot of
let's not
coming
fuck it
through
up,
for
that's
T1
it.
on map 1 on Fracture. But you look at what happens when Talon comes in with a game plan, when they are confident in their own positions and reads, and their shots start just landing every single round. And now things look like they're a little
we
bit
don't
flipped.
choke we win
Right, I mean,
That's
2
it.
of these
Chat.
players,
We
Ban
don't-
and Governor, up to
we don't
double
choke.
digits in terms of
We win.
kills.
We actually win.
Very few deaths as well. I mean, just so much with their performance and how they're able to shut so much of T1's game plans down on this defensive side of theirs. Just coming in with the op plays or
กูไปฉีดยามาละถ้าเราชนะทำไม 50% วะ
filling space, has the thrash up so many times of these rounds as well. Gotta imagine what more they can do once the
ไอ้คนจับกล้องไม่เป็นไม่เป็นจริงเงี้ย
Yeah, I'm very curious because what we saw from Talon in their match against GE was that they understood how to take apart a Vice setup.
ผมไม่ห้าเราใครแบะครับตอนนี้ยิงกันหมดครับผม
Take away that sheer wall.
ถ้าตามโค้ชคุยได้ไหมคุยได้ครับคุยได้
How to make sure that they identify where the razor vines are. And we'll see if that works even on Bind, a map where Vice has
รู้
really
จักแต่เคิร์ส
started
รัก
to
ใคร
get
ไม่เป็น
different
โอ้
positions
ย
across
รักใคร
the
ไม่
entire
เป็น
world.
ไอ้เหี้ย
quite a bit of combinations in that first half.
แชร์เคยมาใหม่นะครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดติดตามกันหน่อยนะครับยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนนะครับยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนนะครับผม ฝากกันนิดนึงนะครับฝากกันนิดนึงนะครับ
Yeah, the great part about that is you can, you know,
นะครับจัด
obviously
ลูกเกม
combo
เพิ่งกลับมา
with the nade, and then you've still got the
เพิ่งกลับ
Mosh
มา
for
จาก
the
มหาลัย
other side of the combo as well.
ถือว่ารูป
Use a
เกมดู
grab
ดีอยู่
net
ครับ
for
ผม
one, use a
นะครับ
seize for the other. I mean, you got grab well as well. So lots of combinations where just because you used one to take over something like showers that we see on the screen doesn't mean that you don't have any other options.
Absolutely right. Look at how they're trying to break in towards Bats right now. Governor just breaking in a lot of these side
เอาได้
lanes.
ป่ะเอาได้ป่ะ
Most of
รอ
those
ใครได้ป่ะ
crossers go haywire.
สวย
Meanwhile,
สวย
peaks come out, but unfortunately T1 completely traded off. It's just Talon taking down so much space around the site.
Governor got so much information on that crazy little double.
All right, now let's play chill, all right? We are low. We have some utils. Easy.
Taken out right outside of showers, and look at how far apart they are playing this. Obviously low on health as well, but they've got the util.
น่ามีดูดปะวะ
And we'll see if they're able to combat through. Here comes the double swing. It's a
สวย
nice one from Cruz. Meteor still.
สู้โอ้โห
holding
ไอ้แบร์ลั่น
by.
ไอ้แบร์โคตรลั่น
Just going
ไอ้
to
แบร์
be
ลั่นจริง
down to Stacks all alone. Half already done. He draws him out. Knows where Cruz is. There's the haunt. Tries to buy more time, and there's the immediate re-swing from Cruz.
get
It's a double
every
swing from the other
pistol.
side. Now
We are
Talon
the
with
pistol
both
gods.
pistols, leading 10-3.
All right, with the retake going through, despite
มันคน
it
จบแล้ว
being
วะ
somewhat of a 2-on-3 for the perspective of T1, if you will, but just because Talon were able to hold down both
Real or fake?
forces Stacks to be in such an uncomfortable position, despite
Real.
trying to get the top against the lower
Yeah.
player. Cruz was then able to swing out. So once again, Talon's just finding so much value in these rounds. Now off to the next, we're looking at a possible.
เราจะไม่เจอไหมเราจะไม่เจอโอเคปะ
Yeah, Marshall briefly in Meteor's hands, but instead it's going to be 3 sheriffs. So either way you cut it, recognizing that we need a chance to try to get a thrifty here. We need to rely on our individual firepower to get us through. The Dizzy going to spot multiple here in B main. That's going to be some good information for Izu to pass on, and that's why we see that rotation coming over from Stacks as well.
Trying as much as possible to retrieve information and find some frags as much as possible, but Talon recognizes as well, and they're just going to pick up whatever advantage they can. If that's an alt orb or just a bit more space, sight lines in towards elbow now, possibly.
โอเค
There's that 0 point. Only spots ban. Gonna be a couple question marks here.
บีเยอะนะบีเยอะอยู่
Goes back to see if he can support on the A side. That's where the spike is going. You already have a pinch from Showers as well. Prowler will chase Sylvan. That's going to open up some of the sight lines. With the Spectre, guns down too. Sight opened up for Showers.
Beautiful movement.
That's my race main, bro.
Prowler as well, just not quite able to land any sky smokes even further. So now, despite the TP play from Izu, can he really break through into Bats? Needs to find an open shot. He's getting wall back as well. Gets at least one with a nice little shot, but then Cruz comes in with a Spectre just running and gunning it down. Meteor now trying to go back in from Dice to refill the site. Gets down Governor, so that's not too bad, but you still got 3.
Yeah, he's ready. You gotta make sure you respect Meteor. Yeah, Cruz recognizes that as well. You gotta play time here, but you also want to keep the weapons that you can. Defuse not quite going through. Primmy, he'll take that challenge, and now all down to Buzz. Finds a Spectre, sees if he can get anybody down. He'll take off the armor from Primmy, but round still in favor of Talon as they keep 3 rifles, Bulldog, Vandal, and Guardian.
แบนเป็นคนช่วยไอเจลครับมิดลาวคอลเลอร์พี่ทีมไอเจลแบนเป็นมิดลาวคอลเลอร์มันมี2โล
So much of this in the current round was just found because of the Spectres and the speed at which they were
Cruz
able
was
to fill the
stepping
sites.
room
T1,
room
they were trying to find those kills right with the Sheriffs, but not quite able to work off the information.
เอ้ยทำไมวันรุ่งมันขึ้นอีกแล้วเอ้ยกูขอโทษอันนี้กูไม่ได้ตั้งใจไว้
See what the plan is here.
มันชอบขึ้นเองเฮีย
I was wondering if we maybe see a Bucky buy up
โด
or
นแน่
something
จริง
like that just to try to get to map point, but Talon, they're going to choose to play it safer. They say, all right, we already have the lead, just one more until map point. Let's see if there's a push out. If not, we work off of our playbook once again.
For now,
Governor ล็อกอินไงอยู่ในโฟล์ Governor flow
Oh, the arc row's already taken out as well. That's so much
Governor
pressure on
in
Beta.
flow
They just
bro
can't
in
rotate
zone
just
Governor in
yet.
zone
Lots of space taken on Hookah. So you see what Talon's trying to do. They're really, this is what they were so good at
Do,
against
do,
GE
do,
as
do.
well.
Ton of
So
make.
much early utility trying to be drawn out immediately before the 1 minute mark. and then they mask all information again. So T1, yeah, you have sightlines out of showers, but that's
Do, do,
really
do, do.
about it. You're
Cruise
not
was
quite sure 'cause
stopping.
you
Vroom,
saw
vroom.
hits coming on both sides of the map. Now finally the 0 point will notice that there's nobody on the B side, but it's already a hit coming on to the A side. Primi trying to get close. Meteor will stay alive through the smoke.
Then continue to try to watch off in towards a
Oh,
short.
wait.
They spot them out by the sheer
Ooh.
wall. Ben right off on top
Nice shot,
of the
bro.
coast. Will be able to gun down Meteor. At least though, Buzz still being able to hold down Bats, and that gives him a good
Wanna TP?
little position to try to break
Let's
in
TP.
Anyone who might be trying to continue.
And you show me
pushing through from
4v1,
a short
bro.
ban. Just trying to back off as much as possible now, but unbeknownst to him, Ezo's right behind. Will be able to
shit.
check and clear against him though. That could be a chance.
Yeah, he was ready for that, just trying to get whatever kills he can. Now going back towards A, hoping that T1 trusts that it's a full wraparound, but I love what T1 did here. Buzz pushes out just in case it's a wraparound back into A. And Ban, no wingman in hand, he's going to have to plan it himself if he wants to. No, he's just going for the kills and save over the Phantom. I love this choice from both sides, but T1, of course, securing the round for themselves.
เฮ้ยทำไมวะ
Working with whatever advantage that they have. So for
เฮ้ย
T1, numbers to
อี
secure
ก
the
คนใน
round.
ตัวนายมันอยู่ไหนแบน
You know, you've got the gun, you've got so
นาย
many
ต้อง
rounds
เอา
under
สิ
your belt. Might as well play the long game at this point. You know,
กะ
get
กะเอา
whatever
ชัว
you
ร์ไง
can
กะ
get,
แบบ
but at
เอา
the
อี
same
โคโนมี่
time,
ดอก
just
ตัง
you can
ดอก
see
เพื่อนได้
how,
อะไรยังไง
you know,
ได้มี
despite
ปืน
how
ของ
we're
มันครบ
able
อะ
to work against
เกาะก็มี
that Vice utility,
แล้วก็ไม่น่ามีวิงแมนด้วย
T1 still kind of working around the
ไม่เอา
positions
ตัว
and
ไป
the
เสี่ยงอะ
fundamentals of how they want to work around the site.
So something that Talon did well was, you know, cleaning out the arc rows and trying to get through from a short.
โอ้
knowing that you
แต่
can
ถ้ามัน
jump
กู
over
นะ
those boxes over that sheer wall. However, they
Egoist.
didn't completely get razor vines, which is what really kept Governor on an island on the
Nihon.
for so long.
Wait.
This time already though, sheer wall
อะไรนะ
changed up from
ไอ้เหี้ย
Meteor.
ไอ้เหี้ย
Meanwhile, it's a
ไอ้
hit
นั่งอยู่มึง
onto
พูดชื่อ
that
เหี้ยอะไรวะ
side. There goes the Thrash all the way into backside. The chase through.
โคนิจิวะ
They got the hit.
โคเรีย
And that's the site.
My
Opened
name
up.
is Ban
Ezo has to
กูอย่างเงี้ย
back
กู
out
กู
and
พร้อมอย่างนี้
heal.
ละ
So fantastic. And
กู
because
พร้อม
of
อี
that,
โกอินละ
4 on 5 immediately. Barra Mash out as well, but Steel Garden trying to
เดี๋ยว
break
ได้เขา
on
เปิดสวย
through.
จัด
If they can get through that Barra Mash fast enough, but also Talon has gotten out of that range.
And look
Oh,
at Cruz
shit!
meanwhile. The main force just has to buy time. He's coming around all the way on the flank. The retakes very fast. They're already on site. Cruz, you got to get here just a little bit faster. Sonic sensors should buy just one more turn. Primi, but he's been suppressed. The Sonic sensors not going to go off just yet. There's the fragment. He has to peek out. He gets taken down. Cruz, he spots one. Can he make sure he gets both?
Oh!
For map
That's
point
my
for Talon.
IGL, baby!
So sneaky right up
Shit!
from behind. Primi's sharp as well as ever. I mean, he
Oh,
was trying to
shit!
step away, but that just brought enough attention away from Cruz that he was then able to sneak up from behind.
Cruz, the
Now being able to
Megamind!
spray down as well. Perfect clutch, perfect round for Talon
โอ้
to
โหไอ้
reach
โกเนอร์มัน
map
เหมือนแบบ
point.
เหี้ย
There's something about Talon that you might think, you know, the comps are so different each map or
Holy-
each game they
holy-
play, things like that. But what we're
Mamma
noticing
mia, Cruz.
is really, especially on this
Mamma
bind as
mia.
well, is that okay? We pick a point, we
Hey,
pick
what's
the
up,
target,
Review?
we
What
take
up,
them
boy?
down, and then we break things apart. Especially because T1 is always going to start with this default spread, and so once we're
Wait,
able
match
to
point?
get in, then we have post plant a lot of delay once again with things
ถ้า
like
เมื่อ
the
กี้
barrier
แกเขาหัน
mesh
กลับมาให้หัว
et
เว้ย
cetera.
เราไม่พูดอย่างนั้นดิ
As
แพล
long
ว
as we can get the plant,
แพลว
that's our mission. Governor goes
เรา
in
ไม่ทำให้
again,
กลัว
this
กัน
time
ดิ
close range. Ban there with a trade. Judge holding lamps. You've already got so much control. Sylvan wants to peek
เอา
out,
หร
but
อ
doesn't find the time. Now he's just gonna hide out. He's been surrounded on the side of Meteor. Gets caught by the annihilation. That's going to be
Damn.
all members down. Sylvan now all alone. Meteor is simply on the UI. That's
Oh,
all
shit,
you can hope
wait.
for. And that is the map showstopper indeed. Talon will take us to map 3.
Truly ending the show so fast, striking right back
ไหนพวกที่ดูถูกพวกกูอะ
T1. Talon with their own comp as well. So much of it complementing Governor, but also a lot of the individual performances from just Ban being able to work off of his teammates, swinging out round after round, being able to break apart T1 or not allow T1 to execute. It's just suffocating in how they're playing against them right now.
I mean, it's the same story for both teams, right? That first half, it's just so brutal. You have such a long way to go. You've been completely red in that first half. And sure, T1, yeah, we could argue they adjusted a bit more since they got 3 rounds instead of 2. But at the end of the day, the pistol going again in favor of
เกมยังไม่จบ
Talon
ไอ้ตัดเกมยัง
means
ไม่
that
จบ
they
เกมยังไม่จบ
have
ตัด
the
อย่าลืม
breathing room
อย่าลื
to
มอย่า
make
ลืมอ
sure
ย่าลื
to
ม
secure map 2.
อาการมันออกก่อนวะเฮียแชท
perfect
โทษวะ
way to really work around the entire map, the entire game.
ติ๊กต็อกเดี๋ยวผมลงก่อนนะครับติ๊กต็อกนะครับเดี๋ยวผมมันโดนแบนนะครับผมต้องลงก่อนเดี๋ยวเจอกันแบบ3นะครับติ๊กต็อกหรือว่าย้ายมาดูนะครับติ๊กต็อกย้ายมาดูบน YouTube หรือ Twitch ได้นะครับเพราะแบบ3พวกผมก็กินนะครับ
In fact, as well. I mean, so much of it, so many of these rounds on attack were just him blast backing into side. They're working alongside.
และไอ้กาวเนอร์กับไอ้แบมมันยิงเป็นขี้อ่ะมันยิงเป็นขี้อ่ะโอเคเราไม่ได้ดูสกอร์แบบแรกดูก่อนนะครับพิมมี่โอ้โหพิมมี่น้องเกมแรกน้องยิงอยู่นะครับน้องยิงเท่าที่น้องทำได้ครับแล้วที่เหลือ4ตัวก็ตามสภาพนะครับอันลากีแมนแมปแรกถือว่าแมปวอร์มครับแมปวอร์มแต่พอมาแมป2ครับผมยิงกันทุกคนแล้วคุณหมอพี่ดีผมไม่ยิงไม่ได้นะครับคัด1 ล้านไม่พอสั่งแผนนะครับสั่งแผนแบบหล่อเท่ขนาดนี้นะผมนะครับ นะครับผมยิงทุกคนนะครับแต่ช็อตเวอร์มันติดอยู่แค่2 คนเฮียนะครับมันเอาเรา13-5เราเอามันยับกว่าอีก13-4ปกติไอ้เหี้ยกูน่าโดนดราม่าแน่เลยวะแต่มันต่อไปนี่แหละน่ากลัวอยู่วะเนี่ย
They clearly showed it, and I can see why they're super comfortable playing a comp like this. It really reminds me of that Viper comp with the double in it and the raise, where you're playing the Brim and you're kind of sending it in.
อาจจะมีน่ากลัวอยู่นิดนึง
The Viper makes it even more difficult to attack.
I don't fucking know, bro. But all I know is they are insane.
So much oppressive utility, and T1 couldn't figure it out for such
Stop,
a long
accept.
time.
ขอนะเฮ้ย
Talon was even one step ahead of that.
I mean, Talon have so much utility to work with in this comp, so they were able to kind of take space. They were able to give up the side
เอาไงวะแชท
when they wanted
เรา
to.
ชนะไหม
Take the fights to T1.
เราต้องแจกแต้มก่อนครับแจกแต้มก่อนครับ
Such
โอ้โหได้กดทารอนว่ะไอ้เหี้ยได้กดแจกแต้มทารอนนี่มันรู้สึกดีจริงๆเลย
We saw in that second half, it was an
Yeah.
incredible selfless entry. He goes in with the util, and they're trying to establish that post plant with this composition when we see things like a dead.
หน้าผาจะกว้างพอที่จะเป็นรถที่จอดรถให้รถทัวร์เกาหลีไหมครับจอดรถไปแต่ฝั่งไม่รู้เรื่องนะหนีเห่ามากูรู้แค่นั้นนะไม่ใช่ผมไม่ใช่นี่หว่าไอ้เหี้ย
Absolutely. You know, with Governor flying in, it was. I think at that point, T1 was so shaken.
เนี่ยเว้ยเนี่ยอะไรอะฮาชิมิมาสเตะนิโพไม่ไอ้เหี้ยมันญี่ปุ่นเลยอะไรนะอ๋อกุนิจิวะโคเรียเอาฝั่งเบียวแล้วกูเบียวเมจัดไอ้เหี้ยฮาชิมิมาสเตะนิโพวาตาชิวะนางิเซจูโร่
Really fantastic performances, the best yet here in kickoff from either.
โอ้โหมันใส่สูตรมันเลยหล่อมันเวอร์เลยวะ
It's been inconsistent up and down, which is what we've gotten from almost every team in kickoff.
เดี๋ยวกูเอากูพูดญี่ปุ่นหน่อยเฮียเอาใหม่เฮ้ยโคนิจิวะ
consistent. Feels like the ceilings come down a little bit, the floors
ชิบ
come
หาย
up a
มัน
little
พูดยังไง
bit.
ต่อวะ
And I think that a lot of
โอ้ย
teams
มีคนจะมาตายละ
taking it against other teams like. Even if I
มันยาก
if
เกิ
you
น
saw
วะ
Boom and
ไม่เอาทุกภาษาเลยพี่
that could be a close series.
โทษที
and
เฮีย
teams that have already been
พอเหอะ
eliminated
จริง
from
ไอ้
the
เฮียมึงก็พูดถูก
tournament, could be close to some of these teams in the upper
เว้ย
bracket.
คนเดี๋ยว
That's right.
เว้ย
Now,
โคนิจิวะ
I want
is
you to break down, Pilsky, a
is
little
ญี่ปุ่น
bit
เหรอ
about Talon's
Wait.
macro.
Oh,
Anyong?
the macro
Anyong?
was fantastic.
Anyong?
Multiple situations. I think this is a perfect example where
Oh
they're
my
giving
God.
T1 all of this
โอ้
aim control with this
กูนึกว่า
comp,
คน
and
คน
they're able to play
เชื่อ
such a
เอาละ
usual
กู
heavy
เมาละ
This is a nightmare to attack into. You see, you allow T1 to actually get into the site. Once they do, you got Chip Boys going.
ตอนเราดูอะไรอย่างเงี้ยเราจำไม่ค่อยได้ไงภาพจำเรามันอยู่อย่างอื่นอะไม่ค่อยจำคำพูดเลย
You allow T1 to get onto the site, but the site is all they have, and when they're just stuck in the site, you get a mosh into U-Haul, Dizzy up over the top, Prowler through the smokes, things like that. There's just so
I'm
much
cooked,
util
bro.
to stop them.
ไอ้เหี้ยเดี๋ยวกูนัมมาสเตแม่งเลยเฮีย Namaste. Hello, India say. Hello, Namaste. โอ้ย global แพ้พวกกูเหมือนกัน
was really nice from Talon, just one player on one side of the map relying on the center util holding onto bathrooms.
ด่านต่อไปไอโซแบมครับอุ้ยด่านต่อไปหรอ
The rest of the team active take B long and just let T1 go through hookah.
มาดูกัน
Yeah, very well thought out. This is another moment I wanted to highlight here. Is we see
Konnichiwa.
T1 take a timeout, so Talon respond on the defense by getting incredibly aggressive. When you're attacking,
พี่
you take
อัน
a
ไหนพี่
timeout.
โอ้โห
You
อ๋อ
need to call
12 ซีมันเกิดที่อะไรขึ้นวะน้องกูงีบไปพี่พาไปแล้วพี่ พี่ต้องไปดูย้อนหลังพี่ พี่พลาดไปโคตรโหดโคตรตึงโคตรอันตรายอ่ะ
The market crunch is so clean here. Rocket straight up short A with the players coming out hookah on the timing. They even had the little tiny adjustments as well, like one player was circle jumping for Governor to get onto the line with an op and things like that. Everything was just picture perfect from Talon.
มาดูกันว่าคอมกูไม่รู้ว่าจะเลือกคอมอะไรวะ
You know, you can question them sometimes when things don't click for them, but when you see maps like this, you really feel like
ถ้ากูนอนชนะขอไปนอนต่อนะ
Yeah.
ว่าเลยพี่จันลูกครึ่งมาครับ
I'm
ใช่
very
ครับ
happy to see
ลูกครึ่ง
this performance.
พี่จันชอบพูดอังกฤษมากกว่าไทย
Marks
บางที
since the offseason. Heck, since last year, to be honest.
โทษทีเรียกเราแบบเราเป็นคนติด
We've
อังกฤษ
been
ไง
together. We've seen inconsistent
โห
performances
พ่อ
from
มึง
various of the
4.8
players, but
นี่มันบ้า
Ben
ปะวะ
it was one of those players, and I'm really glad to
มัน
see
บ้า
him
ปะ
back in his true form here. And we've seen some
4.8
fantastic performances from Ben over the, especially last year, and to see him to come back into this, I'm glad to see his performance today. Governor as well.
มันบ้าปะวะแชท
Yeah, Ban's ceiling is so high, and we saw it in this map. Look at that, 4.8 KDA. That's not shabby.
ทำไมพี่เป็นลูกครึ่งอินเดียครับแล้วร้องไห้มึงร้องไห้ทำไมน้อง มันผิดยังไง มันน่าเศร้ายังไงน้อง
But this is what we spoke about before the map, where we felt like we needed to see Talon clicking on the heads. We needed to see them fight back, not just in the strategy.
Yeah, I'm actually full. Actually, not even half. I'm
fight
full.
in the server. And I
Yeah,
felt
see,
like
look,
we really
yellow.
brought that in the second map, so Haven's going to be even more excited.
When they have a good read, it's very impressive.
แหมในคลิปทานลองใส่ชุด GE ใส่แว่นอย่าคิดว่าจำไม่ได้ไม่ใช่กู ไม่ใช่กูไอ้เหี้ยแสดงเราจะเดี๋ยวพี่ชายสวัสดีครับ ขอเข้านะแป๊บแชทก่อนที่เกมมันจะเริ่มอย่าลืมยืดเส้นยืดสายนะครับ
And we were talking about momentum.
ไอ้เหี้ยไอ้สัตว์กูจำคอมเมนต์ได้เลยอุ้ยพี่ทำไมเกมแรกจบเร็วจัง40 นาทีเกม2ก็จบเร็วไอ้สัตว์
And right now, Talon definitely has momentum. Even during that timeout, you could see the two coach cams.
Yeah.
And Autumn, you know, Autumn is just getting in there and saying whatever is happening there. But then you see Frost awaken. He's really animated, almost looks a little angry when he's talking to his team. They're very different than map 1, where he just almost looks like, I give up. So they have full momentum right now.
I mean, if you were to tell me I'm playing in a series or I'm coaching a series and it's definitely going to go map 3, I would much rather win map 2 than map 1. Because you have that momentum, you have that, it's very easy to put map 1 out of your mind and you go, there we go, that's how we play, we're back. Everyone sits down ready for map 3, feeling very happy, very awake, feeling like, yeah, okay, we do have this. But if you win map 1 and then you lose map 2, it's easy to sort of go, oh no.
Yeah.
We might have thrown this a little bit.
Especially because we're going to be going into Haven, and T1 hasn't really shown much Haven, so I'm not sure, you know, how this is going to be testing on the stage.
I think both teams in a similar position where they played a little bit in the off-season, but haven't played anything crazy. It's been pretty much metacomp from both of these teams. Maybe a change in duelists, whether you're playing Jet or Neon, maybe a change in Senti if you're playing Cypher or KJ. So we'll see if either one of these teams wants to comp swap in from the off-season, because a lot of teams have been bringing some new kind of flavors to kick off, and it's either been paying off or in some cases
ทำไมกูไม่เปิดในเฟซวะ
Definitely. How are you guys feeling about this now?
I feel good about my prediction now. I feel like Talon is starting to show up a little bit.
มันถึงเวลากูไปสมัครแล้วปะ
The agent select will be an interesting little point. I think if anyone's going to push the boat out, it's going to be Talon. But it's hard to know. I mean, I think like Trenji, Viper Comp, you know, they're
โนบิตะเขามา39ซุปเปอร์แชทครับโดเนทไงครับเข้ามาตกใจโดเนทเลยครับ มันจะมีลิงก์ที่นี่ครับผมตากูอยู่เงินจัดรออะไรไอ้เหี้ยเงินรางวัลเยอะนะเว้ย First Indian to win SPD game bro crazy เฟซเขาชื่ออะไรสไปอ่ะ
put in the tail if you want. So there's a lot of ways to add that little bit of twist, and I think it makes for a very exciting map 3.
I hope.
Hey, chat.
A little twist. I want to see the comps that make us, especially you guys as analysts, just go wait a second.
I want to be forced to lean forward.
เปิดรับผู้สมัครผู้กล้าเข้าร่วมการแข่งขัน SPD Thailand SPD Game Thailand 2025
I think we are going to see a little bit of that. To be honest, judging by how Talon's been playing things out, I would be very surprised to see the old meta coming out from them.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest. Like, we'll see what we're going to get. I don't know how crazy you can really get on Haven, right? Like, it feels like it's the one map in the pool that you might need to be
สวัสดีครับ
a bit
วันนี้
more
ผมก็อยู่
standard.
เพลเยอร์
that we talked
3
about the
4
lineup
5
being crazy,
สวั
but
สดีครับ
that's only
เจ
one
แจ๊ครับผม
agent change
มา
from
บิน
Breach
มา
on
จาก
the
อิน
Bible,
เดี
which
ย
is a bit stylistic
เพื่อมาชนะเกม
change.
SPD Thailand
T1, there you go.
เฮีย
Yoru coming out for them,
Ui.
and ISO, so they're kind of playing that Fnatic-esque comp
อุ้ย
with
ถ้ามัน
the
ค้าง
double
50 บาทแล้วมัน
duelist,
ก็
that
ค้าง
you know you saw Durka and Alpha rolling with. Over on the side of Talon though,
Ui,
big stand
Tat.
from them.
Yeah, Talon
Hit me,
have
Jet.
took it in a very chill direction. They made me look stupid for saying they might be the ones that get spiked.
Meteor, ISO, Izu, Cypher.
Oh,
I would have
shit.
thought 100% the other way around. Meteor's
Oh,
gone,
shit.
I'm going to carry this game. I'm going to take aim duels. I am him. I was one
Oh,
of the best
shit.
players last year. I'm winning us this series.
Well, you just saw their war cry. I heard it through our
Texter
headphones
สวัสดี
just
ครับ
now, and I was wondering what that sound was, and I think it was T1. I've never seen any of the Korean teams start off a map with a war cry. So this is
Talon
T1.
cooking, bro.
This is the team
Okay.
full of Korean
T1,
veterans.
nice try,
and they're going to
baby.
be facing against Thailand.
Give me
who
duel,
has
bro. It's
hope
over,
of
bro, right? It's
talent.
over, right,
This
chat?
is the last map of this series. We're going to find out who's going to be joining the top 4 next weekend. Let's send this back to our casters, Trobra and Quack.
Meteor's ISO debut.
ใช่ปะ
We gotta think back. Last year on GENG, when push comes to shove, Meteor hops onto that jet. They run the double duelist, and
โอ้
Meteor
ย
starts
เดี๋ยว
to
ดูผมเลย
remind
ตามนี้จัดไปครับ
everyone he
ลูกพี่
was a
แชท
prime
มาแบบ 3
duelist.
แบบสุดท้ายนะครับ
This
ผม
time, it's
อย่า
all
ลืมกดไลค์
about
กดติดตาม แล้วก็อย่าลืม
the
แทง
end
พอยต์นะครับ
by Buzz
มา
Yoru.
I mean, he is him.
What?
It really could happen that way as T1 start things out on the attack, already fanning out a little bit across grass.
Oh, just full mid control. Buzz opening things off with a nice clean kill against Governor. Draws out the fault line as well, so that's tons of delay used up, a lot of util taken out from Talon, and a lot of space gained by pushing through a short on that timing. Stacks with a
มือ
nice
ที่รอ
trade.
ไอโซเหรอ
Playing
วะ
that Sova himself. And meanwhile, Izu just going to be supporting on that Cypher as the Des mentioned.
For me, it is on the duelist now, though, so maybe looking for a way to flip things around as he continues to swing and peek out against him.
Oh, shit!
To track him midair as well. Still, though, T1 are able to flood the sights now inside of the smoke, but not quite able to deal with a double peek out, which is Brimmy continuing to peek out. Another player down, and that's going to be just Izu left alive. Not quite able to deal with the final 3, and Talon picks up the pistol.
A great
What the
choice.
fuck?
Brimmy going out to make sure he takes down the Sova, recognizing that there's nobody peeking
Brimmy,
him off of the
the
drone.
GOAT.
So it's a solo drone out. You hear footsteps coming from main, and then using their own smoke, back up already there. 2 members filling the site, so even though they were down in actual numbers, they were able to get ready, and a big part
Bro,
of
it's
why
him.
they were able to do so is because Ban's on the other side. He's already pushed
แม่ง
out
คน
some
อีโกอี
players.
ได้เหี้ยคนอีโกอีด่ะ
Keep your
มึ
eyes
ง
on
เป็น
aim.
ค
It's
น
not
อะไร
me. It's
ค่ะ
gonna
ไอ
be
จะ
A.
ชอบส
And
กู
they're
จั
ready
ง
for it.
ไอบังหน้าอยู่
And there you
ไม่
go.
แพ้พี่ผมไม่สมัครพี่นะ พี่ไปครับ ผมเป็นสมัครพี่นะเอ้ยแชทพี่แทงนะ
Really successful pistol round again, right? Still though, T1 continuing to kind of walk their way through. There's a judge on the other end, but still, the shield saves Meteor. He takes down Jit Boy. Span coming back in to try to reaggress, but T1 breaks it apart.
And we like to joke
Okay,
about the judge
team.
making everything fair.
Ferrari,
The shield
bro.
comes out and negates.
Ah.
Backside. It's
Ah.
at the backup.
Yoy, yoy, yoy.
So many rounds. I mean, it's just 2 right now, but Cruz really fired up to keep Talon in.
Ay, ay, ay.
T1, I mean, they've managed to break things apart a little bit now, but still, you got to think about how the rounds can continue to play out now that you've seen some
โอ้
of
มัน
the
ทำได้ไง
setups,
วะ
some
เฮีย
of the individual potentials that Talon has.
Now that's something we'll have
เปิด
to
แล้ว
keep
ปิด
an
แล้ว
eye on, though, right?
เปิดแทง
With
ปิด
the
แทงไปแล้ว
ISO, you can just forcefully try to push through garage.
Let's go.
You can't just rely on, tricky setups with a judge or a Bucky in that part of the map if you're Talon. So we'll see how they continue to keep that in mind. But
มันบาง
now
บางทีมันไม่ชอบขึ้นตังค์แต่ก็ไม่รู้ทำไมเหมือนกัน
With that buy round, making a decision to go in with pressuring in towards the A site, A long, namely. So it forces Governor all the way towards the back.
Such a good read, though. This is where this ISO Yoru is very strong, is going to be a main control, and then you can start to rotate elsewhere.
But Cruz...
Exactly. He gets that read. He pushes out from mid.
โอ้โหพี่ที
Now
ม
you've already cut up the map.
เฮ้ย
Backup
แชทดูดิ
already arrived.
ดูดิ
Somebody already in that smoke
ดูพี่
on
ทีมดิ
site. And now you're just trapped in.
เมกะ
You've
ไม
still
ล์
got
โอ้โห
Cypher
มา
util
มา
to watch
มา
that
ไอ
C
เกียว
side
ไอ
as
โซเมกะ
well.
ไมล์อ่ะ
It's damn quick. Well, they still do have the option to possibly rotate back around if they can take down Cruz, but they don't know that. So straight into the A site they go. Gate crash towards the the back. Smoke's already out, but Governor is prepared. So counter recon goes out, the side smoke inside of it as well. In with the outlaw, but no shots found. Meteor able to slay them apart. Here comes the judge though. Sylvan managing to take down Governor.
JetBoys is a little too low. He's gonna get spammed out no matter which way he peeks out. Getting that kill on the flank as well. Very big for T1 as they are able to secure a quite safe buy round for themselves.
All right, just managing to break apart the entire side. Of course, with Meteor leading with charge, he has that shield and it's finding a lot of that value, but at the same time, just executing together. There's a lot of coordination in that, where they were able to get Buzz towards the back lines.
All right, production is just notified me that we may have another curse coming our way because we've had quite a few players getting near their 1000th kill this kickoff, and then as soon as they get close, they stop getting kills. Stacks is 7 away, and so far he has 0. So we'll see if he's able to fill that mark up here at VCT during this match. More important is can you win this? Get one step closer to master.
จับไปครับผมเทียบเสียงยังหล่อเลยคนญี่ปุ่น
right now. T1 already noting quite a bit of utility, so backing towards garage they go. Starting things off with the clone, so that's been noted. Now they're able to find that space back in towards C site.
Man is spotted, but JetBoys is here for the backup as well. There comes a contingency. There's the paranoia as well. Stash picks up a kill from long range. Now backside, you are cornered, JetBoys. Nowhere to go. They've got all angles covered. It's an absolute swarm and a flood in from T1. And I love that they use the decoy first. That way you keep the shield alive. Then the contingency as well. So you keep having to respect the ISO.
Yeah, you really start to see some of their game plans now with this composition, right? Being able to take Garage this effectively, you know, you gotta love it. Slow, smooth as fast, and T1 is doing exactly just that right now. First of all, you take Garage, and then the way they push out of Garage with the contingency shield from Meteor allows them to swing around the back of the site, or even to find that angle against Logs where they took that.
And now it's just going to be a save coming in from Talon, and now you have both ultimates on the duelist of T1. So if they wanted, they could pressure C-side again, take that Cypher out of commission if it still goes for the default, and then you flood in, even if Meteor by some chance loses that duel, you're still able to take that site.
This is where T1 really gets to build up their bank, if you will. I mean, just having those ultimates in their bags, you know, really gives them so much value at the same time. Still, or even without those ultimates, they're able to find a little bit of space, and that's what they're doing right now. So you gotta imagine Talon trying to work their way across the map this time with their setups to find different ways to block T1 off.
ไอโซเป็นตัวเปิดหน้ายูรู้จะเป็นตัวเปิดหลังอะไรอย่างงี้ครับผมพร้อมแฟลชอะไรเงี้ยพร้อมแฟลชเหมือนโกงแฟลชมันเล่นเองก็ได้จ่ายเพื่อนก็ได้ครับแล้วก็แท็บอะไอตัวปอมมันแบบดึงแท็บได้ด้วย
They'll be ready for it. They'll be ready to crowd over. And Buzz just gonna start going through and clearing everything out with a very forward gate crash. He's got a backup as well.
รู้เลยว่าเอเคลียร์ปุ๊บเอาเลย
And that should be site secured for T1.
As much as possible. Right? Still holding on to those flashes, the blind sides at the same time.
Okay, we are all flanking.
Now it's going to be easy hearing a lot of these footsteps. The Stampede coming through, and he puts himself into position. Meteor on the other side, holding the crossfire.
Maybe
nice for me. He's the first one that falls.
Nice stun. Nice scan. Oh,
the shield, but not quite enough. Governor managed to break.
What the fuck?
Not quite able to secure the kill either. Primi is buying so much space for Talon. The real question is, can Ban find an opening to get onto the site? Sylvan holds a nice angle. Buzz swings off of it. JetBoys good for one. A 2v2, but the weapon's just not quite there. A valiant attempt from Talon, but T1 will hold on.
Vandal 2 กระบอกทำได้ขนาดนั้น
close to at least, you know, still being able to take a couple of these T1 players down. They retrieve some of these rifles, almost close to it. But that said, yes, still T1 having the positions, being able to flood and push all the way through past like defenders spawn, or just knowing where Talon would be approaching from, just gives them a little bit more in this fight.
So they did. Sash just saying, don't worry, you know, I got you. So trying to keep the morale up here for T1 as they lead 3-2.
DRX.
And now operator online for Primi. That's going to be the big one. And look at that aggressive position outside of Garage that he's taken.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of information already, but at the same time, in again with the gate crash. That's been noted by Talon. So smoke's out, and people are starting to rotate on over to A.
They can do this because of that operator. You still have trips to make sure you delay on C, hold on to that back site, and then you're watching mid with that operator. Now with no information, you imagine It's going to be that hit. You start to back up just in case. Fault line at the ready. That's one piece of delay. That's the decoy. And there comes the ISO ultimate. It's a duel between Governor. Meanwhile, Buzz already clears out the site. Meteor wins that duel as well, and that is side wide open. But Jet Boys tries to find the timing with it from the shadows. I love the attempt, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, you gotta love that. If he had found it, that would have been so big. But unfortunately, T1 was just so ready for it. You know, at the same time, Cruz was noting Buzz's gate crash, but somehow still with the flashes, Buzz was able to take down Cruz. Meteor with the ISO ult as well. Just so much of it with T1, just giving a lot of pressure to the A site, where even though Talon had the right setups, even though they had Premi with that operator, the 3 players on the A site itself couldn't quite fend off the entire force, overwhelming force of T1.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. The From the Shadows for the kill contract, but just one too many targets in sight. And Meteor, a great swivel around after Stax gets taken down. And so eventually, it will just be T1 with 4 members alive. The operator being saved over, and they should let them know that it's going to be carried over, that the operator was purchased in this round. And that it's going to be something they need to look out for, because they didn't run into it here on A main, but you didn't run into Cypher setups either. So you have to start thinking, okay, where was the operator posted this previous round, and now will it come to meet us in A main, because we keep pushing so hard.
Yeah, without a doubt, possibly, you know, maybe a bit
3 บอมกันได้5ถือโอเคแล้วครับ
right now, or just trying to
แต่แค่ว่าตอนนี้เราต้องพยายามเอามากกว่านั้นให้ได้อะเพราะเราก็รู้ว่าเราเจอ T1
that duelist role, you know, you gotta imagine a little bit hinges on him as well. So earlier on was Garage. Now he's gonna position himself closer towards the C site, thinking that we've, you know, T1 has hit A so many rounds now. Maybe this time it's gonna be C, but not quite yet. T1 starting things off slow.
They're trying to fish out for that operator, right? Because it was like, okay, it's not A and C. Presumably might have been that Cypher. Meanwhile,
Paper Race ตอนนี้เอาจริงๆคือ
pushing out, which is what you need, because otherwise he would have been stranded on the site. So it's a great call from Talon to say, if we don't see them pushing with util immediately, if we actually hear info elsewhere,
ใช่มันเป็นconfidence ครับ
entire side of the map so you can stay safe. And now it's all up to that A site. Can Ban stay alive long enough?
Yeah, he does have all of his traps online. He has the additional smoke from Jit Boys as well. But now, the other problem is Garage is left open, and Izu is starting to note that might be able to find a way.
ไอ้ไซเฟอร์มันเลอะโคตรไกลอ่ะไอ้ไซเฟอร์มันเลอะโคตรไกลอ่ะ
The rest of the T1 team just hold up outside of A-Long.
But Talon does have their backs covered. Like, they're aware, okay, we left mid open. It could be a lurk onto B. But the real question is does Premi know this? Are they communicating that Premi has to watch out for the C site? Because that might be where things break down. If Premi's not watching for it, Izu, they just barely cross around each other. They have no idea. T1's not taking any chances, though. So they are wary of the fact. Oh, they're very wary of the fact. They're going to smoke it off. That's going to be a paranoia out. They just haven't found the op yet. They are so on top of things, and Izu closes off against the Rolling Thunder. That's going to be a shutdown. Premi out. Meteor gets a kill on the flank. Premi has to get some He lands the shot onto the gets two ready. And welcome back to the duelist role. Can he shut things down? Sees the shield, doesn't want to greet it. Knows that it's a risk. Takes down the shield from long range. His teammate's too far away. He finds his targets, but doesn't have enough blades.
Shit!
Stays alive. 2v1. Dashes over. Trying to close the distance. Get it. 78. Ban. He's right just in time. He needs to win this duel. There's a flash. It's full. And Baz will clutch up against 2 of Talon.
Are you kidding me? What is this round? Insane efforts from Premi. Down to it all. It's Buzz who closes things out. Unbelievable. I mean, off towards the shorty, but Buzz was still able to collect himself, calm down his nerves enough to take down Premi, and then to send out that flash against the final player. You talked about the movements across the map, and T1 played that to perfection.
Overheated for real, man.
So careful. Izu dodging that Rolling Thunder, but at the same time,
that was not needed, man.
Clutch moments where Premi was almost able to close it out, but Buzz denies it all outright.
Man, you have to wonder if was there a way for Premi to try to stay alive, try to make that 2v1. But in the heat of things, you know, he chooses, I'm going to try to close the gap. I've got a shorty in hand, and if anything, I'll get damage done. But alas, Ban actually arrives just in time, can't quite land the shot. And they weren't able to keep track of the flashes left on Buzz. And amidst the chaos, it's going to be T1 that continues to lead 5-2. the atmosphere very different. Both sides tense, but a little bit more calmness on T1. Just gathering their breath, making sure that they can try to stay ahead. Meanwhile,
ไม่คือแดนมันไม่ต้องแดนแบ็คไซด์ไงแดนเขาไม่ได้ไซด์หลบหนีได้อยู่มา2-1ได้อะ
Talon players on stage are ready and armed.
bro
for
want
the
it
rest of
bro
the chat.
fuck NT man
Both teams fired up. Both teams are hungry. But right now, with the current score, Talon are the ones feeling the heat. So of course, trying to cook something up of their own to cool T1 off. Trying to continue controlling the map by swapping around their setups. It's going to be down to Ban on towards the seaside this time.
So you've got, look at the trap bars as well, making sure you can catch the Euro if it goes all the way to the back of sight, but it's going to be decoy first. Again, the whole idea is let's just make sure we keep the ISO alive. Let's set everything up for him. And the Euro, maybe now and then with the ultimate, he'll try to create some space, but otherwise he's really there for the flashes. There's the fault line to try to buy time for that Hunter's Fury, but it's not quite going to land. He tags onto Buzz, and you recognize it's the Euro.
ไอ้แบนใจมันไปแล้วนะดูทรงในเหี้ยเมื่อกี้คัดไม่ได้อะเฮ้ยแบนไม่เป็นไรทำได้เว้ยเพื่อน
being held by T1 right now as well, right?
ขอร้อง
Blocking the back. You've got Meteor with
สวยแบนมันต้องอย่างนี้ดิวะ
just coming back in, takes down Buzz. So now a lot of T1 players stuck towards the site.
ไอ้เหี้ยนี่เหลี่ยมจัดไอ้เหี้ยนี่โคตรเหลี่ยมไอ้เหี้ยนี่โคตรเหลี่ยมสวยกับเนี่ยสวย wait
Izu and Meteor both getting one each. 2v3 health solo, but Izu now trying to stay ahead of these. Meteor with a nice little duel finds that 1v1, going to go for the duel, and this gives time for Izu to just back away from the site. If they don't, Meteor's gonna come back. They're ready for it. They know that Ban is there. He's been tagged. He's low. The call has come through, and Ban lands the shot, but just not in time. Has to exit and yield the round over.
And once again, a round for T1, just playing the macro game, playing a lot of these individual moments and fights as well. I mean, Meteor, insanely sharp movements just around the boxes on the site itself. The way that he swung out, got that one tap, sent out the kill contract, calm with his aim. Van, you know, he was down low HP, still managing to find that final frag as well.
จริงๆมันเขาไม่เอาแล้วคุยเรื่องเงินเดือนหรืออะไรเงี้ย
efforts out from T1, being able to break down the site that
ไอ้เหี้ยมันบอกกูฟีลิ่งอีกว่ะดูทรง
not quite able to eke out the round again. You see those kills, those individual fiery power from Talon, but it's not quite enough to carry them across the line.
Yeah, and it's just such good usage of that ISO ultimate as well. It buys so much time, because then you still have to wonder, where is Izu, right? Am I waiting for a 1v1 or a 1v2? And you just can't get that DPS from one. This guy just has to survive so many rounds and so little HP, there's just no way out of there. And now the site opened up once more. You don't have great weaponry, you gotta wait for Primi. You have to wait for your Vandal. Cruz just takes a couple pop shots.
เรายังไม่ทันเอาวะ
Alright, and Jit Boy is starting to initiate that flank.
วาร์ปได้น้อง
At least allow Primi a little bit more space as well. And once again, it's another round where T1 just breaks apart the entire site because of Meteor on the double tap shield that the ISO provides. Still though, now noting that there are players inside of Garage, possibly the flank as well, Izu turns back around to check.
Yeah, that trip being broken. So that's really just draw some people out. It's really trying to set up Primi, but he just gets gunned down by Stacks. 2 on the board in this round, inching towards that 1,000 kill. And that's going to be the call for Cruz to say, I just got to see if I can get some kills elsewhere, but he's been spotted. They're coming for him. Stacks needs just one more, and he will get it. 3 on the board, 1, and now he completes his Hunter's Fury as well.
Yeah, no shot, no chance for Talon back there, but there it is with the Hunter's Fury, you know, possible 1,000th kill record as well. There's so much right that's going in for T1 right now that you got to imagine some of the future rounds. Talon, they really need to try and slow things down. The seaside holds or even just working against Meteor's ISO is quite tricky right now.
Oh, they're talking about their ults. Okay, they've got their ultimates to try and tie things together. Of course, your ult with the Hunter's Fury. A very well-known combo, and it looks like it's going to be the same plan. Gatecrash, you put on the mask, go through the dimensions, try to open up some more space. Primi, he's been spotted. Here comes Hunter's Fury. Primi gets Meteor and miss all of that. Stacks, meanwhile, gets his 1,000 kill with Hunter's Fury, and that's going to be a main opened up site, relatively empty as well. T1 starting to march through. Cruz, if he had gotten that 1v1, maybe there was a chance, but now it might just be the round given over again.
Yeah, he was trying to get ahead of it. He was trying to fill out that site to at least hold off as much as possible, find one kill in the back off or something, even out the odds, right? But Buzz is just so ready for it. Down with that Hunter's Fury play as well, and Team 1 already has the round pretty much in their bags. It's a 2-on-4, but Talon's still trying. a cage in front of their faces. They're just going to make a little bit of
เอา
noise.
แค่อีโคกับ
I mean,
โบนัส
they
เรา
would
แพ้
love to try to get the
4-13
round
ถ้า
no
คุณ
matter
คุณไม่
what
ครับ
it
จ้า
takes.
เอาอีกแล้ว
But
น้อง
look at the
มึงเอาอีกแล้ว
position
น้อง
Buzz
ใจ
hiding
น้อง
out in the smoke, making sure he's not
โอ้
spotted
สวย
up
จิต
top. JJaz gets a cheeky kill, trying to even things, but Stacks evens it right back. Now a 1v3, surely impossible. JJaz wants to fight them, but they will not give him that timing, and he will have to turn tail, back out, get whatever kills he can. No, he's just going to give it over to Stacks as well. A triple for the captain of T1.
Oh, no joy found for Talon. It's 8-2 right now, Chobra. 8 rounds straight for T1 just because of how much they're able to abuse the ISO shield, abuse the ultimates that they've kind of collected up. So many of these rounds where they're able to cycle all of these plays and work their way across the map with so much of it going
ทำอะไร
through.
วะตอนนี้ทำอะไรได้
Talon
วะ
just
แชท
not quite able to stall and hold them off.
I mean, this is looking like a little deja vu from map 1. You know, map 2, Talon answered back individually. They were fragging across the board. Right now, Primi, the only one to break double digits, and that's barely at 10 kills himself. The ping's coming out to mark that tripwire, so Talon, they're aware.
เอาได้ขอสัก4ได้ป่ะขอร้องอะ
Crew
4 อะ
making sure that there's no
ภาพกูมาเลย
rotate coming through just yet.
3ยังอาจจะมี2ต้องสู้หน่อย
Just try to force T1 into a rush. They do. They're going to break it, and T1, they turn their eyes and say, okay, all right, you want to chase us? Let's see if we can fight. No sign just yet. Izu going to be the eyes and ears for T1.
And already such a capable flex player as well for
เดี๋ยวนะอะไร
team.
แทบพังเหรอ
Izu on so many different roles right now, so patient towards the back
พ่อ
lines.
มึง
Meanwhile, the rest of the team backing towards the C site. Flashes
ยิง
out.
ทะลุเลยทะลุเลย
Stall and hold them
โอ้
off this time. The smokes, the flashes, and
โอ้
pushing
โห
T1 off.
ไอ้สัตว์โดน
Stacks,
ไซเฟอร์เล่น
meanwhile, going to clean up Primi, though. Governor, are they aware of the double? They're cautious, but they're marching through, and they just swing right by. Governor can't make up his mind. Buzz is going to clear the way as Sylvan jumps forward through the shadows, from the shadows onto the site, and that will be the plan on the A site.
Oh, not quite aware for Cruz, though. There's going to be the opening shot now. Maybe a chance at working way across. He is still quite aware of a possible gate crash, though. Always looking out for Buzz. Buzz just creeps right around the boxes, gets the first one, but JJaz makes it a quick trade. Now trying to hold inside of the smokes. Stacks and Izu off towards both opposite angles and trying to
มันโล
continue
มันโล
and
ทั้งสองคนเลย
pull that pressure
โลทั้งสอง
away.
คนเลย
T1 doesn't know, knows that they're not fighting yet, and
โล
Talon knows
โล
they have to push out.
นัดเดียว
Boys,
น้อง
once
นัดเดี
again,
ยว
running out of time. The camp
อ้า
spot. Can he jump forward? And he should be good in time. JJaz will be securing a third round for Talon in the half.
Being
โอ้พี่ทีม
able to
พี่ทีมแม่งคน
work
ดับยูเลยเมื่อกี้
alongside
พี่ที
each
ม
other inside of the smokes, calm and collected,
Oh
marking
my
and
God.
knowing T1's positioning. JJaz with that final TP play to get in within range of the spike as well. I mean, just being able to push and pull across the map
Oh,
this
die.
time, but T1 with a quick rotation, you know, this Cruz, it was really just Cruz being able to take down that first player against Sylvan.
Yeah, I've been making sure that he holds on.
เอาละคิดละเอาไงดี
Gets the flash out as well to buy a bit more time and sets things up. If they can get to 4, it's doable for Talon. It's not that bad considering that it's going to be here on Haven with the attacking side having a bit more to work with the 3 sites. Another push out.
ขอเรานี้ด้วย
T1 reads this cam, broken immediately. Now T1 trapped outside in the courtyard. Not much more information. They're wary of the push out from A, but they don't see much more. And look at Talon's movement. So they take this chance to push out of C. This way, if need be, hey main, they could retreat. You see the drone, you could clear it out. All right, they're
มัน
gonna
รู้
set it up
มันรู้
for
ว่า
it.
ใกล้
But,
มี
I
มัน
mean,
บอ
he
ดแน่
broke
เลย
the
ว่ะ
cam earlier, so surely T1 is wary of
ส
Primi.
วย
He gets
That's
one.
what we
He
want.
wants to continue fighting. He wants to be the barrier. There are the
Oh,
drones.
shit,
How does he
whoa.
stay alive amidst all of that? Still gets one, almost gets another. But Governor, meanwhile, with a great
จ่าย
back
ของ
up
ให้
from
น้อง
long
เลยโคตรดี
range,
เมื่อกี้
and Sylvan all alone with only 54 HP. 1v4, knows the Cypher is nearby, but has no clue about anybody else. And Ban will wrap things up,
All right,
evening
8-4,
things as
8-4,
much as
8-4.
possible at a 4
okay
Close to it, but still managing to keep themselves in the round.
โอ้โหไอ้เหี้ยไอ้คิวมึงโหดไปว่ะน้อง
breaking off the cameras, but at the same time, because of these 2 players, Primi alongside Governor, just being able to
ไอ้
work
เหี้ย
in
ตัวสอง
towards it.
พ่อมึงอะโหด
Primi's
เกิน
just so crispy with how he's able to move around that. But that just bought enough time
แต่
for
ต้
the
องบอก
rest
นะ
of the
ไอ้
team
ที่
to wrap back
คิว
around.
ได้เมื่อกี้คือกาวันเนอร์นะอันติมาพร้อมลายสวยจัดเลยเมื่อกี้
the first 2 maps, and now
Yeah.
he's just free
Combo
to
C,
fly
combo D,
around.
combo D.
Looks so smooth, as you said.
ทุกคนเล่นดีทุกคนเล่นดีครับ
Just floating through, making sure he
แมป
dodges
บุกครับแมป
everything,
บุกนะครับ
teammate
มา
utility, opponent utility, it doesn't matter. couple of those rounds, we saw just how much time and space he was able to buy as that Jet. But is it going to be enough? Especially now going on to that attacking side, he's going to have to do a
Not
lot
bad.
more of
Could have
that,
been
and he's
better.
gonna have to
Not
do
bad.
it proactively. This is going to be a very, very true test for Primi. If he wants to continue to return as that primary duelist, maybe he can unlock that feeling within him and say, go back to
เอา
Frost
แล้ว
and say,
ไอ้
you
ฟอ
know
ส
what?
คุกกิ้ง
I
แล้ว
felt
ไอ้
it
ฟอส
today
คุ
on
กกิ้ง
stage.
แล้ว
I want
ฟอ
to
ส
be that
คุกกิ้ง
duelist
แล้ว
again.
เอาแล้ว
Yeah, he really could be the one to carry Talon back up
จีแจ๊สสวัสดีครับ
on
มี
his
ละให้ไฮ
shoulders. However, on the other side,
ใช่ใครมาใหม่ครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดติดตามกันหน่อยครับยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนนะครับฝากนิดนึงนะ เปิดนั่งจุ่มๆนั่งดูกันอยู่นะผมแล้วยังไม่ได้กดนะครับ
especially with Meteor back on the
2,000 กว่าคนนะวันนี้
duelist as
2,000 กว่าคน
well.
นะฝากกดไลค์
He's
ฝากกด
found
ติดตามกันห
quite
น่อย
a
นะ
bit with the kill contract, the ISO ultimate. He could definitely do it again. And right now, with that T1 scoreline, you know, so close to it, you gotta imagine just how much Talon are feeling in their hearts at the same time.
See what T1's plans are. A lot of times that we've seen this, especially, you know, coming out from
มา
Fnatic for the most part on the international stages last
กดได้
year.
2 ทีเลยแปลกๆกดรีพอร์ต
There's
ไอ้
gonna
ดิ
be a lot of that
น่ารักจ
A
ริง
main presence, and then the TP out from the Yoru, clear out space in garage again. You know, lots of very, very flexible movement of early undercut to make sure that you take space on A main here from T1. Looks like a shock dart maybe used as well.
Okay, but not much found towards A main at least. Trying to get the peek outs against C Long though, noting 3 players already smoking a lot of it off.
Yeah, so backside is smoked off by the defenders. Talon not quite sure because the recon had been sent out a lot earlier. But look at this whole he's waiting for it, but there's a 3-man push coming out from B as well. It's going to be a faraway shot from Ban that just forces him back in. Chip Boy's trying to find a timing. Meteor meanwhile very quick on the push in. And Chip Boy just can't get that kill against Izu. And this should be a very easy flood back into the site. Spike now being transported over to A, but you just don't have numbers. Ban has to go huge here in mid.
Yeah, might have the positioning, but it's so many targets on the other end, right? Cruz just racing across through the A site to get the spike down, and Ban trying to stay concealed enough to at least find, you know, 1, 2, maybe 3 players to make things a little bit easier for Cruz.
And T1 was staying grouped, but now they've separated. Ban can start to find these 1v1s. Izu is low. He's just unaware, and Izu's able to spam down on the headshots. Cruz gets 1, but already chip damage. You do have a flash. You do have that fault line. Cruz, can he find the timing? He gets pinged, and that's just going to be right through the wall from Buzz.
Pinged at the last second, too. I thought he might have gotten away from it, but then Buzz just quickly coming back in for those final shots with the wall bang so quick.
เกิดอะไรขึ้นวะใครไปทำอะไรน้องวะ
Broken apart because of
กด
that
ดัน
tiny
นาย
little
เฮีย
movement from T1 or up
แพ้
around
ไม่
the
สายล่าง
C
ครับ
side, being able to read it, being able to play around it, but also a little bit unfortunate for Jit Boys inside a garage. I mean, what happened there? You gotta imagine, like, there's a little bit of nerves coming through at the same time, but just, you know, maybe a little bit of a tiny movement from Izu, and it just kind of throws off his crosshair, Jit Boys' crosshair. Really unfortunate for them to lose the pistol round this way, but it does give so much to T1 right now.
yeah. Okay, we force shit, we force.
Especially coming off that first
Okay.
half with
ถ้าสายล่างเราเจอใครยังไม่รู้ครับ
You can see it on there
ต้องรอ
on the scoreboard.
รอ
Everyone
RQ ไม่ก็หนองชิม
Talon as
อันนี้ก่อน
well.
เจอกันก่อน
On the hands of Buzz. Well, a vandal for Meteor. They really want him to be able to fire, and also
Okay, my Sova on okay.
And they push through. They don't quite spot Izu, but they stay alive, and that's the important part.
สวยพี่ดีม
Comes in, the
คุณ
shield
เทรด
not quite
สวย
recharged in time, and the
we back,
stairs just
chill.
overflood the site, and Talon will be able to plant
ไอ้
the
เหี้ย
spike.
ก็ไม่ได้เปิดโคตรสวยไอ้
The
สัตว์
unexpected force by Talon trying to mount that resurgence back into the map and quickly surrounding the site. They have the positions, they have the cage, they've picked up those weapons, and they're trying to carry them forward into future rounds. Buzz, though, still trying to find what he can with this outlaw. Pushes out and manages to take down Ban.
สวยพี่
Cruz
ดีม
Ban, though, takes down Stacks, and once again, it's all down to
สวย
Buzz,
น้อง
who cannot quite make it across Primi with that
Oh,
bulldog.
it's doable, it's
and
doable,
Talon
it's doable.
will pick up the round.
Huge round
เชียร์เบคอน
win
หา
here
แปล
from
ก
Talon. They're
Pick
on
it.
their eco, the force by really working trades. Now, some people were wondering, why don't other regions buy more Stingers? Well, Talon's here to try to bring it to popularity in Pacific. We've seen it already twice today.
นี่มีสัญญาณหมดคิดว่าต่อไหมครับผมไม่รู้ครับผมไม่รู้น้องคิดอะไรอยู่
Force it brings, especially once you're already on the site. That range not really meaning much. And then the weapon upgrades as well.
Yeah, you can kind of understand why as well, right? Trying to pick up that pace, throw T1 off their scent, and close in the distance as they push across the C site. Next round, though, coming up, and because of their full buys now, looking a lot more comfortable and confident as they head down across B in towards the site.
So they try to negate some of T1's util early on with the flash and their own recon, force them back so they'd have to
Yeah,
use a
Academy
lot
ดี
more. Meanwhile, just trying to bait out whatever they can here from B. Little bit of a float up, but
โอ้
it's
บิ๊กกู
going
เดิ
to
น
be
เปิด
all right as Talon able to just march towards the site already.
Okay.
There's Buzz, but it's a quick trade. Now 2 members still trying to hold on to back site. Talon, they're
สวย
spread
Governor
out all across. Governor still watching the flank, but you're starting to get picked apart on
Okay.
C site. You got to make up your
ขอร้อง
mind.
ขอร้อง
Jip Boy's
ขอร้อง
has
ขอร้อง
Spike.
ขอร้อง
He's stranded. He needs cover. He needs help. He's not going to be able to win the
ไอ้
fight.
เหี้ยเกิดอะไร
Governor
ขึ้น
gets
กับ
the
จิต
trade
วะ
ban.
เฮ้ยแชท
Eventually
เฮ้ยตัว
stabilized for
ส่งพ
Talon.
ลังให้จิตบอย
it came down close. So you started to feel nervous
Get down,
for Jit
come
Boy
down.
for sure. I mean, he's just trying to find a way out of the side, trying to find himself, a bit of a secure spot to go into. But every area was still marked by T1, despite just them being on pistols. They were
น้อง
able
เก่ง
to
กู
rob quite the number of guns away, but because the economy has kind of been flipped around, still the round being picked up by Talon, it's a little bit of reset for both sides.
Oh,
Autumn.
I don't know if I've ever seen Autumn that upset. I mean, you thought you were getting close to having a chance, but now, all right, they do have a chance. That operator now in the hands of Buzz with that regen armor. So they're really investing everything they got. It's a quick wraparound. You see the drone. They want to make sure it's a quick pop out, a surprise op shot here from Buzz, but the flash just in time.
ไม่รู้ปวดไม่รู้
Might
วะ
get the information. Meanwhile, look at where Primmy is. Already planted into the cubby. That smoke making it seem like they're trying to mask more information, and Primmy just trying to keep them at bay. And that's gonna leave Stacks all alone. Doesn't quite check it, Ban! You haven't cleared the site! Ban! Okay,
Yeah,
he does!
man!
In a twist of fate, he's gonna actually win
Buddy!
the fight, and for sure, keep that site under control for Talon.
Almost biffing it, but thankfully able to land that flick, and because of that, Talon has the site and the post-plant positions. It's going to take a little bit of time for T1 to really get within range, and that
Alright.
could be the biggest
เรามีอัน
factor
ติ
in
เรามี
this
สตันเรามี
retake
อัปเตอร์ช็อค
T1 now. Although 3 players are close
กด
enough,
หนึ่ง
it starts off with Meteor. Now slowed
ก
down
ด
by
ส
the
อง
fault line. That just takes further time away.
พี่ทีม
and the
พี่ทีม
shield's gonna be running out soon enough, but he's gonna get the refresh. Cruz kind of gives him a way in. Paranoia to make room once again. Counter Paranoia to make sure they shut down the ISO. He's gone, and that should be the retake shut down. And I was going to mention this T1 composition. You've got so many old core vision
ได้โอ้โหเซฟ3เลยเหรอ
It's not really about
เซฟ
the
เลยจัด
fancy
แม่งมาเซฟ
retakes,
ออฟเลยวะ
especially if you don't have the Sova, right? It's really just about, okay, we're gonna push through with the ISO like we did on the attack, try to get those picks and get in. So if you give up too much
ไม่
space,
คมยาปาดไม่คม
especially
ยา
one
ปาด
member holds an operator, things are gonna start to look a little dicey.
And that really was the key for Talon in this round. I mean, with the way that they were able,
ไอ้แบดเปิดทาง
able to kind of pull
ไอ้
and
แบดเปิด
push
ทาง
across the map, right? A little bit of early pressure on towards C with that smoke and Primmy as
โอ้
well.
โหแบด I
But
fucking
then,
love you bro
that does leave Ben,
Thank you, bro.
leaves actually Stacks all the way alone on the A side. I think Ban was actually the one who was close enough to hear that gate crash away from Buzz in towards the C side, and that's why the rotations were then pulled across over.
โอ้ย time out ที่วันเลยว่ะ
round alone, showcasing Talon's understanding of how
ยังไม่
this
เห็นออก
Yoru
นะ
wants
เรา
to
ยังไม่
play,
เห็นออกมันเว้ย
especially if there's an op in sight. Right, we push him.
แต่ว่าให้
forward,
เดา
we
ว่า
put
น่า
pressure
รู้
here.
แล้ว
Do
อะ
we hear any Yoru util being used on the other side? Do we hear them maybe trying to push out? And that way we can get information. Is the undercut being used on A, or is it going to be the Yoru? Is it an op shot? And then they start to push pressure on the other side. So it calls for a timeout from T1 as they review everything that's happened in the past couple rounds. Carpe there in the coaching booth alongside Autumn.
อะไรโจวีบอกนี่เราเล่นอย่างนี้ดิมึงก็รู้ว่ามันเป็นอย่างนี้ฮะมึงรู้ว่ามันนี่เอาแล้ว
The previous couple rounds.
กินอะไรกินมะม่วงตบไหล่จิ้มหน่อยเหรอ
2 points apart. Anybody's game so
ทำ
far.
ได้
Yeah, still really close, right? Also catching a little glimpse of that 100-page
มันเอา
report
สิ
on across stats right there. But at the same time, it's 2 rounds away from possibly, really tying things up and turning the game around, because there is still a chance for T1 to get knocked down into the lower bracket right now, especially with Talon starting things off this hot in the second half.
เอาเมื่อกี้หัวเหรอ
Lots
ชิบ
of
หาย
things
ไม่
from
ทันละ
T1 over by the A side. You've got that Euro. You still got the ISO Sova as well, the undercut and the shock dart, making sure that they have lobby control. The op peeks out. Talon, they're waiting for it. Is it an aggressive push out of garage? If it's not, the op surely on either side of this map.
We're now not hearing anything though. And Buzz continuing to hold his angle. Meanwhile, Ban already snuck in towards
แท็บหนึ่งงานตรงนี้
which is a really advantageous angle.
So normally the
Sway.
Yoru would be the one to go for those fast rotates, but T1, they switched things up this time. They're just going to make sure that that gate crash is used up. He still has an exit with that second one, and everyone else already shifting their way.
อยากเห็นจมูกเด้งอีกเหรอ
In that operator,
มา
and
ตั้งแต่
has
เขา
to
นะ
be fired off to make sure that he's not getting caught off guard, and he's now going to have to relocate onto A main. You know the op is on that A side, and Talon still masking all information. T1 is blind on this side of the map. The smoke finally giving them an inkling, and it should be trip broken fault line set, and it's going to be full charge onto the site.
เจอหมดอ่ะตอนเนี้ย
Stay
โอ้โห
alive. That's a good
แม่ง
kill
อันติหน้า
contract to
หี
break
ดึง
apart
ใคร
the
ไปวะ
entry.
Oh, and there it is. Gets that one-on-one against Cruz. Sylvan in with the flash, delaying as much as possible as well. Talon tries to push past the smokes, but Meteor continues to try and hold Sylvan onto the other side of the smoke as well. Izu comes back into support, managing to take down the Talon players. That's going to be Governor down. Ban out from the back.
Come on,
managed to
Ban.
look all the way through B, but it's a one-on-two.
Come on, Ban. You're him.
Izu with a bit of a crouch
Come on, Ban.
spray,
You know
but the
info.
spike
Oh,
is
bomb
down.
drop โคตรไกลเลยอ่ะ
1v1, and not a lot of time for Ban. He's trying to go in for the fights, needing to get the kill, but Buzz with the up shuts it down. It's T1 picking up the round.
Oh, and Ban, you know, he took every page out of the book. He went for that jump peek, he showed his gun barrel, no shots, and he tries to go for a wide peek, but Buzz is good for that
โอ้
shot, and it all
ทำ
starts
ไอ้ทำไอ้
with
เหี้ยอะไรอะ
that
บอม
kill
ดรอปขนาดนั้น
contract.
มึง
Just cuts off Cruz's support,
ทำ
and
อะไร
then
ได้
they're stranded. They can't quite clear backside. Primi knows he has to start pushing out, tries to inch closer with the
โอ้โห
but Meteor's
ยัง
ahead
โค
of
ตร
it.
ไกลเลย
He's
สัตว์
actually just holding down as a
อะไรยี่นี่คนเหม็น
fortress
มาก
in the back of the site. And even though Ban won that lurk, it
ไอ้
doesn't
สัตว์ไอ้
matter
ยี่นี่
when
คือแบบ
your entire team has been picked to
เมีย
pieces.
แม่พี่กูดีสัตว์โคตรเมมเลยอ่ะโอ้โห
Operator still continuing now. Sure, the econ not great over on the side of T1, half armors. But if the op can still find these shots, that's all they'll need. Try to wrap up this match, 2-1 scoreline.
Oh, Buzz actually starting to push out a little bit more to find an aggressive
โอ้
angle.
ใจเย็น
but
ใจเย็นเบาโอ้โห
Talon
อย่าเปิดมันหน้า
trying to
ดำสาม
bring
คน
more
ไอ้
pressure
สัต
in
ว์
towards B as well as Garage.
Yeah, so trying to bait them
บูบี้เหรอพี่ไม่บูบี้มันเอาเราดุอ่ะมันเอาโคตรเรา
Team
ดุ
members
อ่ะ
still stuck in garage
ไอ้
waiting
สู้อัน
to
ตี
see
มา
what they're
3
gonna
รอบ
do
เลย
here.
ปะ
Surely a rotate happens on a timing, and there it is. T1 starting to spread back
ไม่
apart.
ชนะทุกรอบเลยเฮียมีทีอ๋อแม่งของจริง
Doesn't look like it's gonna check for Ban. So Ban has a timing to try to creep back through.
โอ้โหเป็นล้านเลยพี่
Just for the info, you love to see it because the gate crash is still available as well to get back into sight. He notes exactly how many. Notices that it's not going to be Ban
Okay,
there.
Ban.
Now they know exactly where Ban
Okay,
is.
Governor.
Support coming in. No, Buzz actually just comes
ปาหมก
out
ไป
of
ที
the
เจอ
ultimate.
2เจอแบ็คไซ
He
ด์ 1
gets shut down. Ban now holds control in the middle of the map.
A little bit of an unfortunate timing for Buzz, and there it is.
สวย Ban
Swing out against Stacks.
เฮ้ย
That's
เรา
one
เอ้ย
number
ไปไหนอะไรก็ได้
from the
ขอไปด้วยกันพอ
forces, and Talon
เรา
will
คน
be able to
ไทย
flood
เราไป
into
ด้วยกัน
It's just Sylvan
ใน
here
สโมก
hiding
มี
inside of the
มัน
smoke,
อยู่
trying to find this
มันมุด
opportunity.
ไปแล้วพี่
He's kind of gotten
ใช่
ahead of him, but Sylvan sneaks off to the
มันยิง
other
5 ล้าน
side.
ตัวได้เลยนะเนี่ยไอ้เฮีย
Looks
เฮ้ย
multi kills now, 2 going back into it. There's the third. Sylvan still alive. Unfortunately, his teammates down. Jitboy swings out the left, and that's gonna be Sylvan gunned down. Talon fights and claws back.
What a choice from Sylvan, though, because we've seen it in some other matches in Pacific. You stay in that smoke all alone, you are dead. There's nothing you can do. So he just chooses to find a timing out as he hears all that util being spent all around him. And he's able to hide away. It's a nice attempt, but this is just
ไอ้เหี้ยไม่
Ban
โคตรหนอนอะ
holding
ไม่
true
โคตร
in
หน
the
อน
middle
อะ
of
ไอ้
the
เหี้ย
map.
โคตรหนอนอะ
Was getting shut down as he tries to jump out of his own ultimate.
โหยจิต
Bit of a
น้อง
misfortune
พี่
here for T1.
ตื่นแล้วเว้ย
This was
ตื่นแล้ว
still
เว้ย
a heavy investment round.
เอาหน่อย
He did have the right read, though, with the timing of it, sending through that dimensional drift to spot out all the Talon players. So maybe informing a little bit of Talon's game plan for the future rounds now, as he keeps himself positioned closer towards B, right? Trying to note if Ban is trying to get himself to that key work. But right now, Talon up against the Eco, they're playing really conservative.
Yeah, so Talon, they go for the triple peek and then check if anyone's pushed out far into Cubby as well. Once the defensive smoke comes out, you know, okay, T1's blind on this side of the map. Now we can work the other. Now they start to pressure onto the A side, and T1 will start to have to slowly inch backwards as they go for these rotates unless they take a risk. We'll see if maybe the 2-3 members on the left side of the map start to push out on any timing.
Yeah, it's up to T1 to
มันรู้ได้
really
ไง
adjust
ว่าเราจะไป
because
B
we're
วะ
starting to see Stacks again alone on towards the A site, but okay, Buzz back into the off angle. Meteor to try to pull the attention away. Buzz will be able to land the shot.
And he gets out as well. Meteor, meanwhile, quickly refills the middle of the site. So that's going to be B site under control. So from the shadows being used by Jit Boys, this is a very aggressive move. As if he gets taken down, that's a weapon given over. Stacks now on the site. It's a clean and shot. Can he get two? Eventually gets taken down by Governor. Spike still not planted. But it is 2v4. Numbers not in favor of Talon from the shadows just to try to buy time. It takes him off the plan. Primi gets spotted. Quite see the headline over by the window. Now they're going to be wary if a gate crash comes down. Do they get faked out by Governor? Wants to get ahead of it. He wants to get out of the flash, but he's already the half flash too good. Primi against the world, and it's just too much to bear.
Starting things off with a bit of an eco, but T1 managed to complete it, completing the thrifty 11-8 against Talon. Just finding those movements. Stacks with the kill to delay and hold off the A site. Even though it was just one, it bought enough time. Buzz with the Vandal pickup as well, just with the off angle. This time noting a lot of Band's movements across the map. Just so much of the reads coming up from T1 right now.
Yeah, and just the teamwork as well. Making sure now they're starting to get the read. They know that Ban is really been hitting that site non-stop. And it's going to be Frost and Jovi, the coaches of Talon, calling a timeout before it gets too late.
It's not over till it's over. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till it's over.
Getting to the upper finals, where you will only have one more.
It's not over till it's over, chat.
Before you're qualified for Masters Bangkok.
เอาแล้วไอ้เหี้ยฟอสโมโหแล้วสั่นดูตรงหน้า
That's what it means for T1. Talon really trying to turn things
ให้
around.
มาเพื่อนเกมให้มาเพื่อนเกม
You can see how much Frost is really trying to get involved with this because their current game plan is being read by T1 and off around like that.
No back down, no what?
As well.
Never give up.
Back up. It's just a little bit dreadful. They're gonna have to change things up a little bit. They've managed to kind of suss out a lot of Buzz's early movements, maybe a little bit of Stacks as well. But if they're then able to find some kind of pinch or rush play, they could break things apart.
Yeah, I mean, Talon, see if they can find a better timing, because I think T1 has accurately identified that Talon's always going to be just a step behind in terms of tempo, because they're still waiting for Ban to take that position. Now it's going to be an all-out brawl towards that A side, but T1, they don't want to even give a chance. They are going to chase through. Thunder Fury gets one tag. Sylvan already chasing all the way up to A lobby. And now everybody shoved towards the left side of the map.
Would you look at that as well? Buzz instantly gate crashing to reinforce the C site. Got Izu right around the corner too. So even though Talon has kind of the right call or a read to push themselves closer towards C, nothing found just yet. And T1 are here and ready to defend.
Oh, and I love that as well. Waiting for the peek out coming in from Izu and Sylvan up top. They just don't expect it. It's the double kill. Spike dropped. And once again, Deja Vu 2v4. Governor and Primi against 4 members of T1, all at full health.
It is Governor and Primi though. It's a 2-on-4, but it's the 2 hardest hitting players on the side of Talon with 40 seconds to work around. They might be able to sneak into the C side to get the spike down.
Chill.
Can they hold off against 4 incoming players on a retake?
I mean, Primi just needs to get kills, right? Sure, you have the Hunter Shuri, but in a 2v4, you're not relying on that to secure the post plant. You notice that there's a tripwire. Watching that entrance, you try to clear out C main, nobody there. So Primi looking for more kills. He tries to find one, he gets taken down by Izu. Governor left all alone this time. He has to fight. He has to take it to T1. But can he find the timing? He's already been noted that he's close by, and there's the contingency, only good for one. Once more, as T1 will knock on the doors to that upper finals.
4 ราวโอเวอร์ไทม์เว้ยโอเวอร์ไทม์เว้ยโอเวอร์ไทม์ทำได้
No chance you use that Hunter Sphere in the 1-on-4, right? So it's
just
just a tough
คำสั่ง
spot
ซับ
to
เพี้ยน
be
นะครับ
in,
ยิน
but
ดีต้อนรับ
there
สู่
it is.
โรตีแก๊งนะครับผม
That's map and series point for T1. Just being able to work across the map that way.
This was just
the
great,
bait was
waiting
nice.
for Izu as Buzz just tries to get more space, but really, Sylvan being planted so early on, and Talon, they were so busy running away that they had no idea.
And that's one way to use your opponent's timeout against them, right?
ขอแบบล็อกอินนะขอแบบล็อกอิน5 คนพร้อมกันนะ
and it really just throws a huge wrench into their game plan. where now Talon just desperately coming in with the
นึ
Guardians,
กว่า
trying
นก
their
ที่ไหนได้
best.
นกกระจอก
โอ้ยน้องแรงเกินน้อง
Live for another day.
ไอ้ยันเล่นดีก็ชมเล่นแย่มึงก็เอาสุดเลยนะสัตว์
They don't get the
ยึด
second
ว่า
pick onto him. He dodges all of them. Full health and backup has arrived. You've already pushed window as well as T1. Talon, you are trapped in A main. You will have to battle your way out of this if you want a chance to continue as that first team to
Swear, Ban,
Bangkok.
I fucking
Ban
love you, bro.
gives an opening, a little bit of breathing room for the Thai squad.
Does he expect another though? Izu is on a bit of that lurk as well. Puts himself
Nice,
into
Governor.
position.
Hey,
Governor
Pidim,
taking down
Pidim.
Meteor. That makes things a little bit better too, but here comes Izu, spiked down, and he's managing to get hit by the flash. So a little bit better as Jitboys comes in with that support and Primi taking down Izu as well.
Yeah, 4v2 now, things have flipped. Talon surely feeling a bit more comfortable. You've got that trip watching your back as well. You can't jump over this one. Gonna land it safely. Neither of them heard. Oh, I would be a little worried if you're a Talon fan right now, because I don't know if they quite expect it. Ban, he knows that it's a possibility. You see the pings on C main as well. Now everybody's watching the angles they need to try to secure this round.
สวยน้อง
Yeah,
กู
they
ส
have
มก
the numbers, so even though they weren't quite looking the
Alright,
right angles at that moment, they're still fully aware on
Chill,
where T1
chill.
could possibly be. Governor marking in towards Garage. Does spot out Stacks, but Stacks takes the fight. Up from behind though, Ban sneaking
Not
a
yet,
little
not
bit
yet,
through.
little bro, not yet,
Will
little bro.
take
Alright,
down
look,
Stacks,
look,
and there
little
it
bro,
is.
look.
Jitboys against
Alright.
Sylvan. Talon will live for another round.
3 more chances for T1 to try to close things out, to try to really lead the charge towards Masters Bangkok, as we await to see still who would be the first team from VCT Pacific to qualify to an international stage
โอ้ยเขาเรื่อง
2025.
สวยสัตว์
Great shots from Talon this time. Much calmer, not rushing in and just covering each other's backs. We'll see if that can continue for 3 more rounds.
They certainly need it. Talon.
Alright,
doing a
he
little
said
bit
it.
better this time,
Alright.
especially with how Ban was able
Believe,
to keep
believe.
that buzz towards
Oh,
the
shit,
back.
pile up,
That's
Malin
what gave
operator.
them that extra lifeline. So trying to keep that up, but look at how T1 are trying to control the map right now.
Yeah, Izu just trying to be the bait, and it works! Buzz lands the shot onto Cruz, that's the breach down! The Yoru's out! Backside still in control by T1. Back up, not quite here yet, but there's the kill contract. We'll see if Meteor can win this fight against Primi. Primi versus Meteor! Meteor wins and shuts down the Jet! T1 has filled the site, and all hope is dwindling! Jitboy's fighting for his life! Trying to fake them out, all the mind games thrown, but undercut, it's everything! And Meteor will once again prove why he has joined the T1 squad!
Meteor! Just truly the extinction level event that will lead the charge for T1. Down as the ISO, leading the charge on the
Alright,
attacking
brother.
half
Sorry,
with his
man. You are
shields.
insane.
Down with the kill
You are
contract
insane,
in the final
Meteor.
round as well. Just being able to stifle and shut a lot of Talon down.
GG ว่ะ
What a showing from Meteor and Buzz. I mean, the whole team. Obviously, we talked a lot about Izu and his flexibility and what that means for this team. Once again, he returns to the second row and showcases he's looking just
เดี๋ยว
fine.
เจอกันรอบชิง
on
เว้ย
it.
นะหี
And
เจอรอบ
Frost,
ชิง
he was throwing a little shade to Buzz, you know, talking about the trash talk after the match. But hey,
โห
I
มัน
mean,
ดี
if
กว่า
Buzz
เยอะเลย
keeps
ว่ะ
on
แมป
winning,
สามมัน
he might as well keep trash talking after the match.
แมปสามแผนมันแบบสุด
Getting
โต่ง
those
อะ
chances.
แม่งมันสมแล้วแชทมันคือสมรวมตัว
The desk was right.
เทพ of the เทพของ Pacific อะ
About the super team. Maybe this truly is
มันซุปเปอร์ทีมจริงเว้ย
individual pieces just being too strong.
สมแล้วอะสมรวมตัวซุปเปอร์ทีมว่ะ
From Korea as they've matured in their own right, and now putting them together, it's going to be Autumn and the coaching squad, and they are looking ready to try to take that last step to Masters Bangkok. We'll hear from the winners down on the stage.
อดมาไทยเลยไอ้เหี้ยนะอันนี้เขาเรียกว่านะครับดูตารางไม่เป็นยังไม่อดครับผมนะครับพวกกูอยู่ตรงนี้ครับนะครับยังมีสิทธิ์นะครับไอ้เหี้ยพวกเคสคือกูไม่มายนะเว้ยแต่มึงเคสเตอร์แบบมีสมองในนิดนึงนะเว้ยไอ้เหี้ย
안녕하세요. 엑스입니다.
โอ้โหเดี๋ยวดูสัมภาษณ์ที่มันพูดเลยวะ
네. T1 에스텍스 선수에게 박수 한번 부탁드릴게요.
ไม่เกี่ยวทำไมแมป2เราชนะขาดล่ะก็แมป2เราแผ่นดีกว่าไงส่วนแมป3คือ
Congratulations, Stacks.
มันโหดกว่าแค่นั้น
1,000
เลย
Pacific kills for you. Also, the team is advancing to the upper
โอ้เจนลี
finals
W ว่ะ
now. A lot of gunfights.
ติ๊กต็อกผมลงกันนะครับเอ้ยผมสำหรับหัวใจเอา
Tell
บุญ
us
ชุย
how today's
นะครับ
game was. 퍼스픽 1000킬 달성하셨고요. T1 이제 승자조 결승에 들어가게
만 돈
됐습니다.
딱.
요즘에 그리고 뭐 김구택이 부활했다, 짐승택으로 돌아왔다라는 얘기도 나오거든요. 오늘 경기 소감부터 들어보고 싶네요.
일단 연습이 잘 돼 있다라고 판단을
네,
했는데
จะรู้ไหมเวลาเริ่มแข่งมาสเตอร์แมนห้องกี่โมงหน้าบ่าย2บ่าย3ครับ
많아가지고 신경을
บ่าย2บ่าย3
많아서 그래도 한 번씩 퍼포먼스가 안 나올 때도 있지만 제가 그거를 희생함으로써 팀한테 도움만 된다면
เอ็นทีวันจัด
저도
เดี๋ยว
언제든
สายล่าง
잘
ต้องรอก่อนครับ
희생을 한다고요?
더
탑
많이
성,
많은
탑 성.
해주고
나 내 런.
정신 못 차리면
ไม่
뭐라
คือ
아, 네.
กู
그런 거죠.
กูเห็นทุกแชทที่พิมพ์อะแล้วมันบางอันมันก็เกินไปเว้ยเข้าใจปะคือถ้าเราไม่ห้ามมันก็จะพิมพ์เรื่อยๆไงมันก็ต้องมีเว้ยมันไม่ใช่ว่าเป็นสตรีมเมอร์แล้วแบบมึงจะพิมพ์ที่อะไรก็ได้หรืออะไรก็ได้จัดเคยบอกมาเสมอแล้วว่าไม่มายไม่เชียร์ไม่มายใช่ปะคือมันเป็นกีฬามึงไม่ชอบมึงก็ไม่ต้องเชียร์มึงจะเชียร์ทีมมึงก็เชียร์มันเป็นกีฬาเว้ยแต่พออย่างเงี้ยมึงมาในถิ่นพวกกูแล้วมึงพูดอย่างงี้แล้วกูจะยอมเหรอไอ้สัตว์และอย่างคืออย่าด่าคือแล้วแต่ก็พูดเสมอเข้าใจนะแต่ว่าโดยมึงอย่าด่าพี่ไทยเว้ยพี่ไทยมันไอ้เหี้ยคนไทยกันอะไอ้เหี้ยมึงแบบมึงด่าคนไทยกันเองอะ
I want to ask you because when it first came out, you were super excited about this new agent. You were saying, "Oh, it's perfect for IGLs. I really, really want to play this agent." But on
สัตว์ห
Fracture,
น้าหีไม่เก่
we
ง
saw
คุยไรหรอก
Izu
คอมพิว
on
แม่งขี่ก๊อฟชิบหาย
Teho,
กูกลม
and
นะ
you
ไม่มี
just
สมอง
appeared
คิด
on the
โอ้ยแต่มันคมว่ะมันคมพี่โอ้โหมีทีออแม่งปังเม็ดเดียวปังเม็ดเดียวปังเม็ดเดียว
คุยไรวะ
passing
ชอบ
that
โอ
new
เวอร์เฮ
agent
ด
onto Izu, letting him play and looking to the breach.
จริง
일단 그
ขนาดจัดยังไม่เชียร์อินเดียเลยเอ้าไอ้เหี้ย
브리치 콤비네이션이 워낙 좋기 때문에
ใช่ครับเป็นแค่สองทีม
안
ครับ
쓰는 게 이상할 정도잖아요. 근데 이 요원이 나왔을 때 스택스 선수가 너무 좋고 IGL한테도 너무 좋은 것 같고 이거는
꼴리
내가
샤나
해야 되고
임
너무너무
레이팟
하고
이게
싶다
젤리.
했는데 이주 선수가 태호를 하고 그 프랙처에서 기계팔 장착하고 오셨더라고요. 그래서 이 분배를 어떻게 한 건지 좀 씁쓸한 마음은 없었는지 솔직한 심정 들어보고 싶습니다.
뭐 간단하잖아요. 2주가 브리치를 할 수는 없잖아요.
아 그래서 양보했다.
네, 어쩔 수 없습니다.
그럼 만약에 2주가 브리치를 할 수
그럼 한 무리에 가면
있었으면은
빨리 나와.
없었어요?
네.
알겠습니다. Oh, it's a no-brainer. It's
We put a
simple.
good- a damn
Izu
good
is
fight,
not
man.
comfortable on the breach,
NT.
so I just let him have Teho. All right, now let's talk about that Haven Fnatic comp that you guys ran, Meteor, on that ISO and also Buzz on that Yoru.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
see when
Put-
you guys are
man,
running
put
the
it- man,
double
wait.
duelist comp, it's usually Buzz with Izu as well. Izu on the race.
แบบไอ้อันแรกจัดก็ไม่เข้าใจมันพูดอะไรมันแปลเร็วมากเลยแต่เดี๋ยวรออันนี้ดีกว่า มันพูดถึงแมป3
is the main idea kind of fixing Buzz on that entry role, you know, making sure that he creates the space, and that's how you guys decide which duelist gets to be played by which player. 그럼 이제 헤이븐에서 푸나틱
ใช่ใช่มันมาสเตอร์แรกไงมาสเตอร์แรก2ทีมมาสเตอร์2 3ทีมแชมเปี้ยน4ทีมครับมันแบบ
잘 다루기 때문에 이 롤 분배가 어떻게 됐는지 좀 여쭤보고
ทีละมาสเตอ
싶었거든요.
ร์อะเพิ่มไปเรื่อย
사실 이 투 타격대를 할 때도 이주 선수가 레이즈를 하고 버즈 선수가 네온을 하는 걸 보면 혹시 이 투 타격대 조합을 꾸릴 때 버즈 선수가 확실히 1선 진입을 하는 걸로 고정으로 박아두고 이제 롤 역할을 분배를 하고 요원을 분배하는지 어떤 좀 그런
ผมพูดที่อะไรวะ
기준이 있는지 궁금합니다.
일단 아이소라는 캐릭터가 엄청 공격적이어야
ปัญ
된다고
ญง
생각을
ฮาเซ
하고
โยพวก
빠꾸가
หัวคุ
없어야
ยแรง
된다고
โกวิ
생각을
จารณ์
하고
เก่งนะ
거기에
เฮ้ย
잘
มึงอย่าบัฟ
맞는
ไอ้โกเนอร์
사람을
น้อง
구해야 했는데
เฮียไอ้ที่บัฟ
네네.
เราเพิ่งแพ้มาเราติ่มไว้หน่อยดิเฮีย
하는 걸
เรา
좋아하고
เพิ่งแพ้มา
네네.
그걸 때문에 태호 형한테 아이소를 시켰던 것 같고요 감독님이.
아,
그리고 우주는 뭐든 할 수 있는 애니까 그냥 너 이거 해 하면 그냥 네 이런 애입니다.
근데 브리치는 못해서 태호를 줬다고요?
브리치는 감독님이 절대 안 시켜요.
아, 워낙
저만
잘하시니까
시킵니다.
그죠?
네.
알겠습니다. Well, actually, I think if you want to play the ISO, you have to be super aggressive. So personality-wise, when we were thinking of a player on our team that suits this agent most, we thought of Meteor immediately because, you know, even when he was playing the Sentinels, he's super aggressive, always on his own, kind of lurking at the back, looking for these kills. So that's why we decided to put Meteor on ISO. Now, lastly, I'm gonna ask for your predictions, and there are players on the stage here getting ready for the next match. DRX or GENG? 누가 이길까요? DRX GENG 말 잘하라고 나오는데.
ถาม DRX หรือ GENG ไอ้เฮียเพื่อนหมด DRX ทีม
어,
เก่า โอ้โห
죄송합니다. Sorry. I can't choose.
그러면 Talon just said, if you can pick a team, why are you standing there? But okay, equally
โคตรเฮีย
supportive.
Yeah.
เขาบอกว่า
I love both team
แมปเฮเว่นนะครับ เราเลือกคอมฟนาติกมาเพราะเรารู้สวัสดทีมเราเนี่ย มีเพลเยอร์เหมือนฟนาติกเยอะ แล้วตอนเราเลือกคนที่จะเล่นไอโซะเรานึกถึงมีทีออเพราะว่าเขาเป็นคนที่เล่นดุดันไม่เกรงใจใครครับผมนะครับ
감사드리고요,
จริ
인터뷰.
งไหมครับ
감사합니다.
ไอจัส
네.
ว่า
ไอพวกคนที่ไม่เชียร์แบร์ทารอน แต่ไปเชียร์ทีวันมันเป็นพวกชังชาติสามอีกไม่รักคนไทย
ไม่ใช่ มันก็ความชอบเรา มันไม่ผิด กูบอกแล้วมันไม่ผิดนะครับ
ทำไมบัสดูโมโหจังครับตอนจบเกม
อ๋อเหรอมันดูโมโหเหรอ อันนี้ผมไม่รู้ว่ะขออนุญาตนะครับย้อนกลับไปดู
Be part of their winning moments as well, and that is all from us.
Will once again prove why he has joined the T1
เฮ้ย
squad.
ไอ้เหี้ยมันบัฟกูอะไรอ่ะ
Meteor, just truly the extinction level of
ทีวันปีนี้ทรงดีมากเลย
ทรงดีจริงครับ เฮ้ยกูไม่เห็น
and Meteor will once again prove why he has joined the T1 squad.
Meteor, just truly the extinction level event that will
What the fuck กูเพิ่งเห็นไอ้เหี้ยสแต็กด้วย
once again prove why he has joined the T1 squad.
Meteor, just truly the extinction level event that will lead the charge for T1. Down as the ISO, leading the charge on the attacking half with his shields. Down with a kill contract in the final round as well. Just being able to stifle and shut a lot of Talon down.
What a showing from Meteor and Buzz. I mean, the whole team. Obviously, we talked a lot about Izu and his flexibility and what that means for this team. Once again, he returns to that Sentinel role and showcases he's looking just fine on it.
That's
and Frost
crazy.
throwing a little shade to Buzz, you know, talking about the trash talk after the
ที่ปล่อยทีหนึ่งชนะให้ทีหนึ่งไปมาสเตอร์บางกอกไปโดม PM 2.5 แล้วอ่อนแอลงแล้วกลับมาเอาคืน
after the match. But hey, I mean, if Buzz keeps on winning, he might as well keep trash talking after the match because he's keep on getting those chances. Of course, a huge round of applause for Talon trying to bring it back, but at the end of the day, perhaps the
อย่างนี้ผมควรเชียร์ใครดีครับ DRX หรือทารอน
น้องไอ้เหี้ยจะได้เจอกันก่อนไหมตอนเนี้ยเดี๋ยวดูสายก่อนอุ้ยเอาเหี้ยอะไรเนี่ยสัตว์คือเราตกลงมาอยู่ตรงนี้ใช่ไหมคือเป็นไปเลยต้องชนะอันนี้แล้วต้องชนะนี้ส่วนเราก็ต้องชนะอันนี้ถึงจะเจอโอ้โห
ปลอบใจนะครับพี่จัส
ขอบคุณสำหรับ100 บาทครับขอบคุณนะผมชนมือกันมันไม่ต่อยกันจริงเฮียแล้วมึงก็พูดถูกนะเว้ยโอ้เฮียไม่การันตีเกาหลี1 ทีมแล้วอะไอ้เฮียเราอยู่ในดงเกาหลีอะโอ้โห my god เราแข่งทีวันไหนวันที่2วันที่2คือวันอะไรวะแชทวันที่2คือวันอะไรวันอาทิตย์ไอ้เหี้ยต้องชนะ1 2 3 เกมตอนเนี้ยโบ5ด้วยเนี่ยโอ้ตายมันชี้โหพ่อมึงเฮี้ยในตารางโคตรหมาขนมหวานสวัสดีครับ38 เดือนครับขอบคุณครับผมเชื่อมั่นแต่โอ้โหเฮี้ย
คาโนเอ็มแวนขีดล่างจัดซับสไครต์แวะมาส่งซับ
God damn that's crazy bro เกาหลียึดวะโดนเกาหลียึดจริงวะทวีปเรา
ในแปซิฟิกเกาหลีกูนึกว่าดงอเวนเจอร์มีแต่ตัวตึงๆ
ไอ้เหี้ยจริง
This lurk from Ban, he's able to get a lurk kill and a timing onto stacks, kind of like ENG was doing on their attacking side. And then from T1, the issue of not playing this breach, like retaking this A site is so difficult against a breach with a lot of utility. You see, Meteor just has.
Wait. Did I cook actually though? Wait.
มัวแต่ติดไม่ได้ไรหรอกจัสลงสนามเลยครับผู้เล่นคนที่6
แชท
เราควรสาปแช่งไอ้พวกทีมเกาหลีทั้งหมดที่เข้าไปมาสเตอร์แบงคอกให้มันท้องเสียสูดดม PM 2.5 ให้มันป่วยกันให้หมดแล้วเราก็ค่อยเอาจริงที่มาสเตอร์แคนาดาเครื่องหมายสี่เหลี่ยมนักรบครูเสดเครื่องหมายสี่เหลี่ยมเซิร์ฟซี่ประกาศสงครามเต็มรูปแบบกับเกาหลีเครื่องหมาย
มึงเล่นนารูโตะเฮียประกาศสงครามเต็มรูปแบบเว้ยแชทที่ได้คุกนี่คือที่กูเดาไว้นะเนี่ยเอ้ยน่าหิดเดี๋ยวนะกูเดาเจนจีแพ้เฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยโอเคไม่มีใครเห็นบัสแอนด์คาร์ลโคชคืออะไรอะ
That was in a round where they had pistols. He was slamming his desk because he believes T1 can win any round, even when they have classics. He's like, why don't we win that round with classics, guys? Come on, step up.
Yeah, the Creed standard is another level.
เฮ้ยแต่ถือว่ามันอยู่นะเว้ยเมื่อกี้มันปะว่ามันนะเว้ย
Angry is when they know
แต่ลักกี้ว่ะ
can do
ไหนไปดูเกมเมอร์ทั้งหลายกันหน่อยดีกว่า
that they haven't been practicing. And while all the T1 players have been playing very
ขออนุญาตนะครับ
Buzz, you know, he's got to be our match MVP. All the talents and observers have ended up voting him as our match MVP.
มาดูกันหน่อยดีกว่าว่า
Totally showed up. Maybe buying
โค้ชทั้งหลายเป็นไงบ้าง
that was a little tough for T1.
จริงๆครับ NT ทารอนแต่ขอโทษครับทีวันผมต้องเอาโอเคได้ครับฟากแมน
He's just invaluable. He might be the best duelist in Pacific right now. He's just so consistent. You get so much value out of him. Really to see ahead of this T1 team. But Izu, I mean, that's just another role that he's proven that he can play. I voted Izu for the MVP. This dude just plays every role and performs no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this team are
เฮ้ยไม่มีว่ะ
stacked, right? It's really hard to say who's going to be the it's stacked. So shout out to Buzz, but honestly, I feel like you can put a lot of people there.
Well, this is not the end of the run for Talon. They will be going to the lower bracket either.
โค้ชคนแรกครับของวันนะผมเจอละ
Oh, Nongshim. That I think either one of those matches could be very exciting as well. And of course, T1 continues.
คนที่พิมพ์มี่จะแบกชื่อของไทยแล้ว ทีแบน
The next Korean team to join T1. So guys, don't go away.
เฮ้ยเดี๋ยวไม่เยอะนะเดี๋ยวเพิ่งจบวะอ๋อรอก่อนกำลังเขียนเรียงความอยู่อะโหอย่าเลยพี่แต่อันนี้ต้องพูดว่าหลายคนแบบสามไม่เช็คหลายมุมเลย เล่นงงๆมาหน่อยแบบสามอะแบบสามไม่สิทธิ์ชนะเยอะมากเลยไหมหลายราวเลยไอพิมมี่เก็บ4ไปเอาตัว5แตกไอแบดวิ่งเข้า B ไซส์ไม่เช็คแตกพี่ทีมวิ่งเข้าไซส์ไม่เช็คแตกไอจิตยิงไม่โดนยิงหลังไม่โดนแตก5แล้วThat's like 4 rounds already bro 4 rounds already oh fuck เน้นที่แมนถ้าเขาเก่งกว่าเขาเนียบกว่าเขาก็คนได้ไปเต็มที่แล้วกูว่ามันใจมันไปวะทำอะไรไม่ได้วะเป็นจันเจอกันตังเจ้าผม
จัสครับผมรักตังแม่มาเติมโดเนทขอเอาให้หน่อยนะครับโยสวัสดีผมยังโอมาตาฟักเกอร์
ผมชิบหายเฮียผู้หลังผู้สาวไป Have you seen this one before ไหมซีอะไรครับ
ไก่จ้างางได้
ถ้าสรุปโอริโอคืออะไรนะมันถึงเวลากูอยากรู้ว่ะกูนั่งดูข่าวกูไม่รู้เรื่องเลยเฮียโอริโอคืออะไรดูคุณหน้าไม่ดูครับดูไม่เห็นแต่ว่า Thanks what oh I don't know man แกงขยะ แล้วก็ขำไงขำที่เธอส่งมาตลกดีอ่านนั่งอ่านแล้วครับโอริโอคือแกงพวกไฟเอ็มชีวิตจริงตีคนเหรอเอาดิโอริโอคือขนมขอบคุณนะน้องมันอิมไฟเอ็มไม่พอใครในเกมก็มาตีคือสมมุติว่ามันไฟเอ็มเขาเล่นเป็นเท่าที่ผมไฟมันเล่นเป็นแก๊งใช่ปะแล้วคือแบบว่าเฮ้ยสัตว์เจอในแก๊งเจอในไฟเอ็มตีเปาะเปาะเปาะแล้วมันเอาชีวิตจริงต่อได้หรออย่างนั้นหรอ
Welcome back to VCT Pacific Kickoff 2025.
ในเกมแพ้เลยชีวิตจริงมาโอ้ what the fuck that's crazy bro
facing against them DRX or GENG. Now DRX Hyunmin
that's actually crazy
in Pacific, but replacing someone like Buzz is kind of a tall order.
Especially with how well he's been playing. And look, it's worth mentioning as well, with that T1 victory, minimum one team in Masters Bangkok will be Korean. So hopefully, you know, we could see a little bit more APAC representation.
คนทะเบียนราษฎรคืออะไรอ่ะมึงหลอกด่ามันดิเหี้ยเดี๋ยวกูตายทำไงอ่ะสัตว์เดี๋ยวก็โดนหนุ่มนะหรอก
The Koreans in Korea, man, they're great.
We got to move the league to just to nerf the Koreans. This is getting ridiculous.
บ้านที่อยู่
Let's move it
พ่อ
to
ผมก็
Sydney.
น่ากลัวเลยเหี้ย
You know,
มันบอกพี่จ๊าคือคนต่อไป
yeah, it's there for everyone.
หนุ่มนะ
I can go home 20 minutes.
ไอ้เหี้ยโคตร
after
เถื่อน
the
เหี้ย
game
ไม่เอานะ
and
สัตว์
maybe for once
ขอร้อง
the
ละ
team
กลั
will
ว
do something.
Maybe, but I doubt it. This DRX team, though, like you say, it's very exciting.
เหี้ยน่ากลัวเกินว่ะ
had those big boots to fill, but I think he's doing a
เป็
pretty
ด
good job.
อีกค่อย
This
ขยี้
DRX team
ข่าว
is
อ่ะ
trying to live up to some expectations.
กูกลัวมันจะสตรีมแล้วมันจะโดนอะไรแม่อ่ะ
Three games in a row, Jen.
Gua.
Sorry, Vic. I don't know why I keep saying Jen.
We're kind of dressed similarly today. I wouldn't mind looking like Jen. Now speaking of
เกาหลีมันหนาวเหรอวะ
on the other side, and we have players like Foxy9 who swapped his DRX jersey for.
ทำไมล่ะคือดองคือพวกที่อยู่
It's been a good look so far.
เพราะความรัก69ซุปเปอร์แชทครับ
He started a little bit slow. There's a little bit
เต็ม
of
ที่
doubt
แล้ว
about
เจอ
him,
กัน
but
วัน
then
อาทิตย์
he
ครับ
came in
เจอกันวันอาทิตย์ครับ
strong in this match. He played really great. I've got him in the flex spot.
ทำไมล่ะสำหรับพวกที่อยู่บ้านบัตรประชาชนอะไรประมาณนี้มันขอขาข้อมูลเหรออินเซนวะ
Feels like he has something personal.
แม่งกระทืบไม่เกี่ยวกับไฟเอ็มด้วย
He really starts to step up, and it's definitely personal today.
เห็นแม่ข่าวใหญ่ก็เลยแบบอ๋ออะไรวะ
That he can go aggressive in the duel.
เย็นสุดขั้วเลยเหรอ
Role rather.
แต่เห็น
I mean, it's
เห็น
something
ผมแล้ว
that
เมื่อกี้
we
ดูเย็น
touched
เนาะ
on with Meteor, but I feel like he gets a lot of flack for it. It's almost like, why is this guy making this play? Why is this guy making this mistake? I think you do need a balance in that Sentinel role, and I'm glad that Foxy9 can have.
ใครอะเพราะไปพูดถึงการจอมพลังถึงการจอมพลังมากคืออะไรนะอันนี้ไม่รู้อยู่แล้วรู้แค่ว่าตอนนักข่าวสัมภาษณ์แล้วเขาบอกว่าพี่พูดดีๆพี่แล้วมันก็เดินออกไปเลยเฮียโคตรตึงอะเฮีย
Yeah, and speaking of experience, now we have DRX facing off against GENG. This is the previous #1 Korean team facing off now the current
พี่หนุ่มหนกาแฟ
Korean team as a result of end of
What the fuck
ไอจัสมุงว่าพวกที่มันเล่น 5M แล้วไปไล่กระทืบคนและด่าคนอีสานในคลับเฮาส์มันเป็นขยะสะทุนไหม
ครับ
ไอพวกนี้ควรได้รับโทษสูงเป็นการตัดโรมและถลกหนังให้จระเข้กิน ไอพวกโอเรโอไรไอปัญญาอ่อนเดไอจัสกูรำใส่ให้10-1ก็ไม่กลับเครื่องหมาย
ไม่พ่อมึงไอ้เหี้ยตัดแต่กูโดนขึ้นมาไงอะ
I think he's gonna have
Yeah.
some fire in his belly to try and prove that he's still up there. He can still hang with the best.
I think all of the Korean teams are kind of in this state where they're all clawing for that top spot. They're all such solid rosters at the moment. Head to head, we've got the old blood.
คู่แรกใคร
versus
ช
the
นะ
new
P1 ครับ
texture.
ผม
One of the best duelists last year, obviously winning a lot of titles with GENG and even being our favorites for champions, which unfortunately didn't go the way that GENG would have wanted. Hyunmin though, his debut
มัน
was
ก็น่ากลัวอยู่ดีอะ
fantastic
ไม่เอาอะ
against
เฮีย
another Korean
ไม่ค่อย
team
ไม่
in
ชอบอะไรเงี้ย
Red
กลัว
Force, but you have to say this GENG team is going to be a bit more of a step up from Nongshim.
Yeah, I mean,
ไปดูคลิปพี่อย่างนี้ดีกว่ายังดูไม่จบเลยมา
Shocking Talon rounds. Try not to get scared.
เป็นคนแดกบุหรี่ที่มันดูด What the
Talon
fuck
down a player and thought, it's time to play
ทำให้วง
numbers.
การเกมดูแย่ไปอีกส่งผลกระทบ
อันนี้จริง อันนี้ ความเฮี้ยมากที่ว่า ผมอะไม่เล่นเกมไฟเอ็มอยู่แล้วเว้ยแต่ว่าผมแค่รู้สึกว่าทำไมต้องโทษเกมแล้วแบบตื่นมาต้องเห็นข่าวว่าไฟแบบจะแบนไฟเอ็มเพราะว่าไฟเอ็มทำให้ โลกเป็นอย่างนี้แต่มันไม่ใช่มันคือคนอยู่แล้วอะคนมันจะทำมันก็ทำอะไม่ว่ามันจะเล่นเกมหรือไม่เล่นไหนเฮียกูแบบแล้วถ้าแบบปีวันหนึ่งเดี๋ยววันโลก็โดนนะทำไงอะอสัตว์เซียนก็โดนอะไรก็โดนความชิบหายละ
Cruz gets a kill by the grace of God, and now the scariest part. It's a 3 versus 3, so now they thought, let's make sure we have a man advantage, and then
ใน
Primmy
เกม
gets
เป็น
shot
แกง
by
นอกเกมเป็นกุ้ยเดี๋ยวพี่จัสก็เอามึง
เอาดีๆสัตว์
win every clutch guy, Poppy, and now there is a man advantage, but to the enemy. Now the spike is planted. Cruz and Jit Boys want to play post plant with Sova ultimate, and then Jit Boys goes out to get a kill.
กันเราเลือก
Put down
โคตรตึง
by the UI win every clutch guy, Poppy again, and now Cruz has to pray that his ultimate stalled long enough. But to my absolute horror, it wasn't enough.
เฮียเราเป็นหนังผีเลยแยะ What the fuck กูว่าแล้วทำไมวันนี้แพ้กูดูทรงบูกา
What a shot.
Tries to jump and gets 1 kill. Crystal just keeps him at bay. He's trying to stick to
กลัวอะไรที่เอาแม่งเลย
กูไอพี่เอาไม่เอาน้องไม่เอาเฮีย
expect to push out, but Daria really clear the inside of that smoke. Good trade from Kelly. He's gonna be open front. Holds it from the closest off angle.
Not in the window. Not in the window. Not in the window.
Not in the window
Not in the window.
Not in the window Not in the window ฉันไม่เห็นนี่ว่าเอาเห็น แม่งอินเดียเจออินเดียโคตรหายไงอินเดียเจออินเดียโคตรหา What the fuck ไปยาวพี่ตัดไปครับ
Cruz always so trustworthy when Talon most needs him.
No way, we just like Cruz 1v2. We made Cruz look like Prime Leo. No way.
เออาก็โทษเกมแต่ถ้าเป็นไฟเอ็มก็โทษไปเถอะครับ
That's what I don't want.
Okay Governor
Oh, Governor is going to hurt.
ไม่คือผมอะไฟเอ็มผมชอบนะผมชอบดูของฝรั่งเลยของฝรั่งแม่งรัวดีถ้าใครไม่เคยดูนะผมแนะนำลองไปดูได้นะคนไหนสตรีมเมอร์ GE ครับกษัตริย์
Alright, the real question, boys, because it's going to be a double setup. Ban already gets 1. Now it's a double on the side, Yudotan, but Jit Boy still alive, and Akup has arrived.
Whoa.
Actually does not as well.
Yudo.
Akup has arrived.
นี่
This is not good at all.
This is not good at all
Just watching for the potential flanks and in for the floods through stairs.
Where is Cruz coming from even, bro? How do we even compete against that?
Final round. Fight.
On the horizon here, it's loaded.
What are GE gonna do on attack? They've got a stealth drone and that's it.
ไอ้ของมันหลุดจริงเฮีย
I don't know, bro. I just hope we don't overcook. One entered. Don't die to that. Nice. Back off. Now just back off. Back off.
รอเลี้ยวให้ชัดทุกคำเลยเล่นต่อไปวันนี้ไม่น่าต้องทำงานแต่ภาพกูวันนี้กู3 อารมณ์เลยเฮีย ไอ้เหี้ยแล้วกูบัฟสุดเลยวะกูบัฟอินเดียสุดเลยวะ
สวยจีนสวยกันนะเอาหลอดอีนี่หลอด Oh my god, Jit was in it.
The one who only got the ban.
Yo, chill,
Gets a second,
chill.
not too bad.
Bro,
But has to continue pushing up. It's in GE's favor. They continue to peek out.
No, we can't lose that.
ไอจัสมึงจะประกาศสงครามเต็มรูปแบบกับไอตาต้า
ไม่เฮ้ยไม่เอาแชทไอ้เหี้ยเดี๋ยวมันหลุดไปทำไงอะวันต่อไปกูโดนหนุ่มนานะเว้ยไอ้เหี้ย
เราสร้างแรงผลักดันที่สังคมรับรู้เลยไหมว่าบางคนที่เล่น 5 เกมจนเข้าเส้นเป็นพวกพาราเลสเครื่องหมายสี่เหลี่ยมนักเตะเครื่องหมายสี่เหลี่ยมสแตนดี้
ใครบูลลี่กูเนี่ยจาวเลย
สวยน้อง
สกินไทม์อย่างเยอะเลยวันเนี้ย
Doesn't really have an exit there, but
I mean, take everyone, no? Kill everyone. You can kill everyone. Please kill
ไอ้เหี้ย
everyone.
อินเดียนหล่อนไอ้เหี้ยมาอินเดียนบรัดเดอร์หล่อนวะเขาไอ้เผื่อใครไม่รู้เขาเป็นเจ้าของโกลบอลนะครับ เขาเป็นสตรีมเมอร์ด้วยแล้วเขาก็เป็นเจ้าของ Global Esport ด้วยครับแล้วเขาก็เป็นเพื่อนผมด้วยกันผมเคยเจอเขาแล้วเราก็แบบได้คุยกันอยู่ใช่อันนี้เจ้าของ Global เมื่อกี้
How does this work for attack? I don't know.
เขารู้ว่าจะไม่เนียนแท้รู้เขาเคยเจอจัดอยู่ตอนไปงานแชมเปี้ยนเคยเจอกันอยู่ครับโลสองสวยกูไม่ดีเก่งมากมาดิสัตว์ต้องใส่แว่นดำหน่อยเหรอไอ้เย้ไม่เอากูสุดเลย Go for it, bro. Go for it.
It's the quick flick shot into Poppy. All down to KLES. Comes in with a shorty, but Governor point blank range still makes it happen.
ทำไมวันนี้ไม่ได้อย่างนี้วะ
Oh my! Point blank range still makes it happen. Talon closes out the match. There were a lot of questions from a lot of fans in maps 1 and 2.
เฮ้ยไอ้สัตว์เชียร์ทารอนเหรอไอ้เหี้ยดูทรงเชียร์ทารอนนะเมื่อกี้เจ้าของทารอนคือJJazเหรอครับไม่ใช่ครับไอ้เหี้ยตอนนี้เราอยู่ท็อปกี่ทีมวะ1 2 3 4 5 6เราเป็นท็อป6ทีม
Everybody is pretty much where we would expect them. I don't think this is Genji style. They don't like changing too much. They're going to go with what.
เกาหลีเจอไงวะ
This comfort is very well suited.
All right, well, I am ready for the Korean face-off here in the semifinals. We're gonna go back to Gastopup and Chobra.
น้องแบบน้องเล่นดีมากวันนี้แบบ3โคตรตึงเลย7น้องอะ
DRX versus GENG.
แต่ว่า
If you think back to last year, this is also how it started off. They got to the playoff bracket. GENG beats DRX 2-0. Then they beat them again in the playoffs of stage 1, and then GENG becomes the first Korean team, the first, Pacific team to lift an international trophy. We'll see if that story continues or if DRX is finally able to flip things back.
Who knows? I mean, it really could go either way, right? I mean, that's why our talent predictions will like split down 50-50 exactly down the middle. I really could see it go either way because, you know, while we have seen GENG completely flip things around last year, now DRX new compositions that they're playing as well, I might add.
Yeah.
They can do that same thing just as well.
4 games in a row of Taeho freeing, not escaping the one-trick merchant allegations right now, but hey, if it works, it works. As he continues to see how he's mastered that Taeho. Now, we're not seeing it with the breach, right? We're not seeing it with anything like a deadlock or a fade. We do have that Astra, but mostly should be used for a little bit of info, a little bit of zone denial as well and clearance.
Yeah, we've seen how oppressive it can be across the map, especially.
อันนี้นะสวัสดีครับสวัสดีไหมไอโยเป็นไงบ้างผมเพิ่งมาทันรอนหนึ่งพิมพ์ไม่เข้าทีมได้เหรอครับนานแล้วครับอินุนะครับเอาบิดอีกแล้วเหรอวะ
But it breaks the vents. Now you can get through.
Oh, you with a nice shot
at the flashback, though. That's a player I wanted to keep our eyes on, but let's wait as we do have 3 members of DRX standing by on the A site.
Oh, through the smoke, and then the fragment right down outside of A main really blocks things off. But look, hey, wait a second. Freeing will be able to get that shot down mid.
And that's the Cypher gone. So
DRX บิดบายให้เว้นโอ้โหเฮียแบบซ้ำหมดเลยวันนี้
choice. Do we want to go back to B? The Cypher setup should be gone if there was anything at all. But right now, they're just going to focus. They're going to force GENG to default back towards mid. Try to get information. They're going to fake it out like they're putting pressure on mid. Free, trying to find a timing. He does get taken down, but that should be the signal. DRX has to go. Now they've lost control of that middle of the map.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to work with the agents that you do have. So Hyunmin dashing in, but look at how has things locked down. Munchkin towards the back of the site as well. GENG will be the team that picks up the pistol. So I wanted to
ไม่อยากแทงทีมไหนครับอยากแทงแค่พี่ มึงจะหนุ่มน้ำกูเหรอน้องข้าวอร่อยไหมอร่อยแต่กินข้าวเหนียวมะม่วงนะครับช่วงนี้ผมนักจิตทุกอาทิตย์เลยอ้าวเป็นไรเนี่ยสู้ๆนะเป็นกำลังใจให้นะครับ
but great to see him starting up. You
โอเค
see
ไหม
him getting fired up because last time he had his head
สู้
in his hands, but now he's saying, "All right, we're in the game. Let's."
ไปหาอะไรที่ทำให้เรามีความสุขเยอะๆกินอะไรอร่อยๆเยอะๆนะ
Trying to do the same thing again with the salvos already through. DRX trying to break past it. They've managed to get away with one against Karen.
Nice spam through that smoke from DRX, making sure they get whatever benefits they can here in the second round. GENG, not too many buys on the board. You still have that Marshall, you have that Bulldog, but that's really going to be about it. As we do see the silhouettes, DRX looks like it's going to be a 5-4 match.
หมอยแม่คืนแบตลงมาเอายังไม่คืนอีกเหรอเอาดี
Slowly building up towards to it at least. Maybe a gun picked up by Hyunmin as well. Has the sight lines all the way up from Nest. But as we mentioned it's going to be Foxy9 holding a bit of that off angle up around stairs. Has the camera to kind of watch out for things.
Very smart of Foxy9. He gives up on the cam and then makes sure he doesn't get tagged so that the tripwires are still alive. The cam's still broken though, and here come the salvos once more, really making sure that Foxy9 is far away at range. They are safe onto the site. The plant will go down, so DRX already getting some benefits. We'll get a free pick now down to 6 HP, but that's another kill.
What?
To Mako. No smokes for DRX. Still looking. One more, finds one. Munchkin still on the wraparound though. So DRX, I mean, the round seems like it's long gone, but it's a matter of can you do more damage against the two remaining weapons of GENG. Bane peeking out. It's still a trade for Texture. He's racking up. And Yoman with another kill. That's the start you want to see from your new pickups if you're GENG. Get that confidence flowing again on this Korean squad.
Yeah, so far so good. Although
Oi, oi, oi.
they're already lost because of the information.
ไอ้เหี้ยไม่น่าแพ้เลยวันนี้เสียดายว่ะแชท
They had a bit of an educated guess. So Foxy9 was then able to work across the map with that camera, not really staying on it too long, so it's still allowing them to go off. But ultimately, because he stayed alive enough and also gathered that information for Texture was then able to swing out with that Marshall. I mean, no shields on the other side, right? So that Marshall was just able to wreak havoc all across.
Yeah, great peek up against the Eco. DRX, of course, that does mean now.
พวกนี้ให้เอาจะจ้วจริงๆว่ะ
Guys with the full armor and half armors across the board for GENG.
พวกมันจริงๆแบบชิวๆเลย
The firepower with 3 Phantoms. We'll see if that works out in their favor. The cam making sure nobody pushes out this time. Karen tried to hold that sneaky angle last time. Drone gets broken immediately. Silva drone gets a bit more information for GENG.
Wow, drone for a drone, but both sides will be able to spot each other out completely. The one thing that hasn't been spotted though is Mako. Right now, just somewhat lurking across the B site. Nothing found, and this is where DRX starts to
เฮกเตอร์ดูไม่ติดตลกแล้วฮะมันเอาจริงละ
To bring up the rear, might try to put some pressure back on mid as well as we see GENG starting to push out.
นานๆทีจะเห็นแล้วตอนเนี้ยแต่ก่อนยังมีบ้างนะตอนนี้นานๆเลย
Texture getting curious. See if he finds a timing. It looks like DRX making up their mind towards a site. This could really come down to how much damage Texture can do from the back. But Munchkin,
มีควายโอมีมันตะโบโอ้โหพร้อมเจอ5 ตัว
He in fact closes in.
ต
40
ลก
seconds. There could be a rotate. He hears footsteps. He's ready for it. But how many? It's just going to be one. He wants to buy time. They want to go for the round win, not just damage. And Texture will get out alive as well.
Yeah, shot spotted too. Meanwhile, the 3 stack still on the A site. Look at this huge high-low. Unfortunately, the shot not quite land through. It's just Karen. Has to buy time with a flash and tries to TP to a safe spot, but not quite. Freeing will be able to shoot him down. Then comes Texture alongside Foxy9 as the smoke starts to dissipate. Foxy9 though, trying to play it safe.
Texture holding close, he gets one, but that's a very easy trade for Freeing. The timing impeccable for DRX. Now Foxy9 all alone. Can he strike back against his old home? Now stranded on the site. Does he have any idea about Freeing? Wrapping all the way around. There's the pull, but Foxy9's ready for it. He knows what they're up to. He's waiting for Mako, but it's the wrong side. Mako checks for it. Now they know about each other's location. Mako on a timing.
Oh my God.
And he tells Foxy9 that he's the veteran for a reason.
Yeah, just sit down, kid. This is why I'm still on DRX.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's just an impressive clutch that once again comes out from a player like Mako. One-on-one, right? And of course, with his position somewhat concealed, and also the spike working against Foxy9, he's able to go for that sweep. Down to it, it really is the movement.
เฮกเตอร์มาไฮพูดได้4 คำ
DRX, they were able to
อาหารอยู่ไหนเพราะว่าเฮกเตอร์หิว
despite GENG's high-low setup on the site.
เฮกเตอร์อยากกินส้มตำ
With that round win, DRX trying to get back into the game, but obviously a lot of damage taken. So Outlaw
ถ้าจะเกาหลี3 ทีมนะเว้ยกูอยากให้ทีวันได้มามากสุดละ
entirely healthy on the other side.
ทีวันมาเถอะ
On both sides, trying to make sure
ถ้าทำเราขายตอนไหนหรอหน้าเดือนหน้าครับ
Tag Munchkin getting so much
กุม
information
ภา
from
ไม่รู้ตอนไหนอะ
points. Foxy9 is in a dangerous
คม
position. He has to get kills to get out alive, and I mean, when he's anchored on that side, he's gonna get kills. That's what we saw last week.
Able to go for that first swing, but here comes
เฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยโอ้ย
It's gonna dash into second shot.
สรุปเกาหลีมา2 ทีม GG เลย
around the cages will be able to get down Foxy9 and try to close in the distance even further. The flash though will deny that opportunity, and Texture finds
แดม
another
ไอ้เทคเจอร์โคตรบ้า
classic. Get the shot into Mako.
ถ้ารอลุ้นอยู่ครับมีสายล่างครับผม
4K for Texture himself. Some things ring true. A lot of the Gen G fans saying if we get the 4K and then we have a slow start, we know Gen G's winning 2-1. That's kind of been the story of this squad.
แต่เห็นไอ้บัสทำเลยมันโมโหอะไรมาไม่รู้อะ
And so far, it looks like it's a good
แต่
start.
ก็มันดีนะ
But this shot,
ชอบดีเท่ดี
knowing where
ต่อยกันเลยเฮีย
Jet lands. Very patient from the sharpshooter of Gen G.
โอ้โหอะไรมาวะ
Second shot as well. Also, he actually bodied him first and then swaps to the classic. And there it is, Mr. Texture 4K.
Well, now seeing if he can get maybe another 4K. He's got that blade in the pocket.
Okay.
As well. Not going to land the first shot, but Munchkin.
Okay.
Right, good for 2. That's a fast shutdown. Only 1 stinger left on Bane for DRX. The drone gets spotted. Yo, man. Going to keep them at bay.
9-1
Got that site for you.
ถ้าต่อยทีวันใครชนะเหรอ
Find the B site. Now
What?
blades up.
โอ้ย
Texture gets shot down. Entry into the site allowed.
ทีวันปะวะ
No, not quite guns picked up either. They don't quite have the range for it. Mako just kind of
Oi.
line, providing that cover. Armageddon will get sent through though,
Oi.
trying to break things apart, but DRX aren't in range.
Oi.
Continuing to try
Ow.
to push out from the back, but not quite. It's just Bane with the Phantom picked up, taking Gen G down.
I mean, the setups for Mako right there, letting him just take the angles that he so chooses. And then the Armageddon. If they had just planted and maybe...
ไอ้บัสทำอะไรเริ่มไอ้บัสทำอะไรหรอไอ้บัสมันยืนแบบจบเกมแล้วมันแบบมันไม่รู้ว่ามันชี้แล้วมันพูดที่อะไรไม่รู้สักอย่าง
Continue to pressure Gen G, saying, you know you want to stop us from the plant because we have all this util, and they in fact walk right into the trap. What a good weapon pickup as well from Bane, getting that last kill.
น้อย
It's neck and neck.
ทีวันใครชนะ
Between the two squads. Now
ทีวันครับ
Gen G
2-1
out of creds onto their sheriffs and a guardian.
We'll see what the Guardian can do. It is on Texture after all. Close within range. Here's the stealth drone, but has to back up, and that's information enough that there is quite a bit
T1
of
ครับ T1
sight.
Double drone. It's the second one being used as well. It's a lot of information. All right, you know one's in the back of sight, but Texture uses that opportunity, baits him right back into watching one part of the site. There comes the smoke. Texture trying to line up against the ult orb. He heard it, but he's not going to quite land the shots just yet.
ในมาร์เก็ตจะมาอีกทีช่วงไหนอ่ะเดือนหน้ามันคือจัดดาวนะเขายังไม่บอกครับแต่จะว่าดาวว่าเดือนหน้า
all across to A where Munchkin is lying in wait. A bit of an off angle with the
แล้วทีมไหนได้ไปกรุงเทพบ้างอ่ะ T1 และ1
reads the rotation.
ส่วนอีกทีมเหรอต้องทันรอนแหละ
If he can get a kill and maybe reset, that might be what Gen G
เกมมันน่ามันหลายราวเลยครับ
DRX
พลาดคือพลาดว่ะ
any information. Jump peek heard. Here come the stars. There are the salvos. It clears out backside, but are they ready for the close angle? He gets pinged in the last second.
Oh my god, bro. Pull out the nade, bro.
DRX does not care. They're still pushing through, but they've been blinded. They've been held back. And now back of sight. Bane pushing through at the front. And it's just going to be Foxy9. No weapon in hand. Just a sheriff against 2 members of DRX.
Spike planted.
Opts to go through vents.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a choice at this point. Just has to let it be known.
เด็กบอกโชว์หน่อยโชว์ทีมเก่าให้เห็นหน่อยทิ้งกูเหรอทิ้งกูเหรอ
Do have the Hunter's Fury, DRX. They win this round, they'll tie it up. Of course, it'll be a buy round on both sides once again in the next one. See what the choice is. Right now, position to try to utilize that numbers advantage. Cyber Cage to hold the half, sitting right at the edge. Recon not quite tagging him.
ไม่ดิฟิวต่อวะ
Foxy9 tries to bait them in, but it's a very nice wide swing from Bane. Allows for flashback to collect on the kill.
Yeah. Because he
ไปมาสเตอร์ได้กี่ทีมครับ2 ทีมครับ
for flashback because Foxy9 dies. That's new health for Foxy9 as well. So
ใช่ Foxy9 อยู่ DRX มาก่อนแล้วก็อยู่ตอนนี้อยู่ GENG แล้ว
for DRX at the same time just being able to break into the site.
มันย่อยกันชิวๆเลยเฮียทำได้ไงวะ
3 score line. We'll see if that keeps up. It's a good pattern so far. for all the fans of both teams and all the fans
เอาแล้วเฮียหล่อไม่พอยิง
for
อีก
this Korean derby. Lots of votes on top of just the cypher.
ใครโยแมนเด็กใหม่ครับมาจากเทียร์ 2
Then you got no command for Munchkin. So there is a good opportunity for GENG to show us a strong retake if they can find the timing. But right now, it's still a 2-1-2 split.
ไม่เป็นไรหรอกพี่จัสที1โลโก้มันก็คล้ายๆทารอนนั่นแหละแทนกันได้อยู่มั่ง
แทนได้เหรอเอาดิ
To try to hold for Foxy 9 who
เฮีย
things out with the stealth drone and the camera all out. Here comes the Zelfos.
โอ้หิวเกิน
But freeing reads if they hear the footsteps as well. Hyunmin just making sure he really creates space on top of Heaven. They saw the pings. He's spraying, is blind, but he'll hold true for now. He tries to kill. Hyunmin may be overreaching just a bit.
จะไปแกนนำแกนกูไม่ได้เป็นไอ้เหี้ย
You know this cosmic divide is a
เดี๋ยวก็เจอหรอกกูตบแล้วกูตีแล้วกูมุดไงตีแล้วมุด
Right now, up top on Raptors, do they suspect that it's up top? Mako's just trying to stay alive. Everyone trying to distract him. Flashbacks already arrived on the way.
ไอ้มาโกโคตรเนียนมาโกเก็บ1มาโกเก็บ2มาโกเก็บ3มาโก
4K for Mako, bringing DRX to the lead.
Can you believe it? Mako hit
Why,
himself
yeah.
for the longest time. Went into Astral Farm to play some further stars as well, but through all of that, I mean, GENG tried to check and clear him. They fired off some blind shots through the smoke, but they didn't hit. So they kind of just thought that he wasn't there at all. And down to it, Mako does what he does best again. Swings out of the smoke at the right opportune moment to take down all 4, collecting on those skulls. GENG just not quite able to fend him off.
เงื่อนไขการขึ้นมาสเตอร์คือไงครับเป็นท็อป 2 ของรายการครับผม
The IGL that DRX needs. They even experimented with freeing in the off season, but the way he's playing right now in kickoff, boy has he matured into 2.0 as Mako continues to lead this team with the frags and the calls. Hyunmin now trying to find a long angle with that outlaw. Mako still waiting for the push out of B. A lot of map control right now from DRX, just gauging where the util's flying out from, seeing when they can strike onto a site. Munchkin ready for a pop flash.
พิกเจอร์มันอาจจะย้ายทีมเอาดิ
Oh, Bane just gonna spam right back.
ท็อป 1ไม่ได้เหรอครับคือไงเอาท็อป 1
They'll make sure that there is
ก็ที่ 1 ที่ 2
coming out from the GENG side.
Yeah, right. Just making sure not
แต่ถ้าเวลาชนะเกาหลีมันคือเขิมดีกันดีใช่
reactions really, or some of them even playing anti.
ทีวันยังไม่ได้มาไทยใช่ไหมครับยังครับยัง
That allows them to go in for that spam against Yeoman. So now resmoking A main sure just buys a little bit of time, but DRX has an opportunity to really blow through here.
Fragment has to be good, but does DRX
เจ็ดดิมไหมคู่นี้เหรอ
already ahead? They're past the fragment. There's the ping on
ดิ
the
มอยู่วะ
side. Karon, he's been spotted. Hyunmin's
เทคเจอร์เบเตอร์เหรอ
on the headshot. Bane with 3 kills on the round, and that's just A side opened up again. And this was my concern. This was why I ended up picking DRX.
Damn.
Because if you just don't let Foxy 9 anchor on the site, if you don't just walk into him like he wants you to, and you force him to have to play the map, DRX is shutting him down.
And that's what DRX gets to do. Finally getting a read on it, just being able to work around
Damn.
some of the smoke timings or even some of the flashes as Munchkin tries to retrieve information on the other end. DRX then plays patient. DRX then waits for the right time to really push and barrel through those smokes where Foxy 9 is not able to react there.
ปรับกันเดือดเดี๋ยวนี้เงียบ
overwhelming
แต่นี่เมม
targets
ไง
rushing through.
And another thing I want to note from
เครียด
that
เลย
round
เมมจน
is
เครียด
the
เลยนะเนี่ย
TO usage. I will be honest, watching how Freeing was playing in their first match, I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't quite at the level that I was hoping to see.
เขาไม่วนครับมันมีแค่เกาหลีครับที่เป็นนี่ส่วนคิกออฟส่วนมาสเตอร์ก็มีไทยแล้วก็จบแล้ว
Execute itself, they're very well aware of the fact that the timing's just a little bit delayed for Teo utility. So they always push right up into that smoke, up towards that line of scrimmage, so they can instantly flood the site when the util goes out. Once again, there it is. Yeah, come in now on top of the side. There's the instant kill.
เฮ้ยบุกดีจังวะ
Chaos when the bombs start falling down.
Karon tries to get ahead of the missiles as well, but that gets him tagged down to 13 HP. Spotted by the other drone too, and now he's just kind of stuck. Has to go for the save. I mean, the execute just started, but DRX already has the round.
ไอ้เหี้ย
You know, a lot of people said, I mean, Teo, he can just fill every role, right? He's got a drone, he's got a suppress, and then he's got zone denial as well. And DRX is sitting here thinking, well, if the drone's so good,
ดีไอโอดมันจริงๆเหรอเป็นไม่ได้เหรอวะ
You shoot one down, we'll still tag you, we'll still push you out, and they get so much space on these attacks. Now just trying
เจ้าภาพคิกออฟมันวนเรื่อยๆครับมันเปลี่ยนเรื่อย
Karon down to 13 HP. He should hear them coming. He spots one, and that's going to be Charon down. Munchkin, the lone remaining member of Gen G, with a single lonely Vandal.
It's just Bane being clean too. I mean, he had been working alongside him. Sure, it was the final moments of the round, but still, that is 6-3. Once again, showing DRX's system. Yes, we might have new players on it, but the way that they're playing, the way that they're executing, very much is influenced by Termes and his setups. Just the way that they get into range and then set up for those executes with the utility, how they use that Teo utility, and it really just denies for a lot of Gen G with how they're trying to hold to some of these setups. So timeout now being called, and I do wonder if Gen G are gonna try to cook up some kind of a plan where they start to work their way across the map a little bit more, try to find some of these opening picks and really prevent DRX from setting up.
So the obvious thing they haven't tried is pushing out a B main. As dangerous as it is, right? You use a smoke to cover heaven, maybe create that cross angle, but I just don't see Gen G as a type of team that's gonna take that risk. But maybe a little bit of earlier pressure onto mid, maybe a little bit more util on that side, because the A main fights have not been working out because of how weak the salvos are on that Tejo. But one thing else I want to note is this is a very typical timing for a Gen G timeout. Only 3 rounds left in the half. If we recuperate, if we figure out the answer here 3 rounds in a row, DRX has no chance to answer back, because then we flip the half, it's a 6-6 half, and it's back to square one. So, given Solo and HSK's record, I'm willing to hold faith, but of course the weaponry, the firepower, not quite there for Gen G to do anything crazy.
Yeah, it's all light shields, and Guardian here, a Sheriff there, still some automatic rifles, still don't really fully want to count them out, but you definitely do have a little bit of faith in the current moment. 0 points dodged outside of the main as well.
สุดท้ายทีมที่อะไรมาเจอพวกกูก็โหดชิบหายโหดทุกทีมไม่รู้ทำไมเก่งจังเลยเจอพวกกูอะ
With 0 point not getting in from
เจ้าที่วันจะแพ้ไหมอ่ะ
they want to make sure they recognize that
มัน
DRX
คือ Dream Team อะตอนนี้
but it's a big one this time, and Hyunmin just instantly gets to kill Munchkin. You're
เฮ้ยโอ้ย what
dancing around the IGL, the salvo getting a free kill on Charon, and it's just utter disaster and chaos for Gen G.
So unfortunate for Charon as he tried to come back in to rescue.
เนี่ยมันจะมาทำไมมาหา what the fuck มันบินมาจากข้างๆมันยิง
Once again for Gen G. Off to fend for themselves in the retake, trying to push through spawn now, and they're going to take just quite a bit of time to
ทำได้3 เกม
DRX just sits comfortably inside of A main.
Yeah,
มึง
look
ต
at
ก
the spider growth.
เยอะเลยเว้ยไอ้
Pinging
เหี้ย
as well. It's going to get shot down eventually. Hyunmin with low health, going to be the first one to peek out. Gets a nice kill. That's a 3K. Wants the 4th, but it's just going to buy time. DRX. Oh, they've shoved Foxy 9 all the way into a corner, and it's a 4K for Hyunmin as well. 7-3 in the attacking half, and it doesn't look like DRX is going to stop.
Yeah, Gen G hasn't found the answer. Once again, they try to hold close towards Amy. They're not looking for the opening pick necessarily, but look at this from Hyunmin.
Yeah, I mean, waits for the ping, and
what?
He knows exactly just when he's about to run out of space. Updrafts goes for the assassination. And now
ไม่โชว์เลยเหี้ย what the fuck
They've only hit B a couple times when they knew they had the advantage, and they were able to shut it down. So Gen G just not willing.
เฮ้ยDRX
play, not willing to go for a stack right now. All rifles at least on the board, but that Hunter's Fury in Yeoman's hands, it just hasn't been able to see the light of day.
Still just trying to retrieve information outside of A main, but that Blade Storm should very well confirm it. 0 point sent through. Just defend Hyunmin off for a couple of seconds. Fragment to try to delay as much as possible as well.
Yeah, so if the salvos come out, Fragment out, and then Charon has to
Oh,
get
yeah.
whoever's been hiding in the smokes. Gen G seem to have
ไม่มีอันติ
understood
เหี้ย
that
เลย
because of Munchkin trying to get into the smoke in that previous round. But Hyunmin, he's going for it again.
เอาแล้ว
There's the
สัตว์
updraft. He knows he's there.
Oh,
And he'll
shit.
take it down with the left click. There's the reset on the blades. Sight now starting to get taken over. Backside, Hyunmin finds Munchkin.
Okay.
Not able to get the kill. Backside, Gen G. But
โอ้มันเปิดให้เพื่อนสวยมากเลยอะ
They've dominated the entire area.
Completely swarmed A, and that's the spike down.
ไลน์อัพ T1 2026 มันกินมาโกะ Foxy 9 Hector Meteor GG แบบ Pacific is done
And it's just unfavorable positions to be in. Trying to retake possibly Heaven, but that's when Flashback is marking the other end of vents.
I mean, it's already too late at this point, but you gotta wonder, is really the answer to just fight them right at the entrance, right? Or just in a main, just never give up on
โอ้
that
โห
fight.
สแกนต่อ
You let them creep up. I mean, the salvos cover so much
แล้ว
space.
ก็มีดาว
and
ต่อ
they can either come in through the entrance,
โอ้โห
or they can come
โอ้
around
โห
with the updraft. You know,
ไอ้
he
นาย
has
มึง
a
ดูของ
great
มาดิ
choice because there's no one really to trade whoever's waiting at the entrance of A side.
โอ้
for
โห
Gen
ใคร
G.
ไปสู้วะ
But whatever the answer is like you said, Gen G has not figured it out, and they'll only have one more chance to answer back after this round.
It's just so crazy to me too that like DRX has different ways or different varieties to just break into this A side, right? Yeoman with that updraft play, this time with the Blade Storm supported by his teammates on the spider drone, the cell,
โอ้โหแต่ของดีสัตว์เลยอะ
truly to actually break down Karen. That's kind of the thing that threw it all off. Although Yeoman went a little bit aggressively further back into the site and he died.
แต่เหลี่ยมมันโตจริงไอ้เหี้ยเมื่อกี้
Find those trades. And that's
มึงกู้ได้กูยอมเลยเหี้ย
their strength in a lot of these site executes.
โหยายมองจริงว่ะใช่ไหมวะจริง
At the last round of the half? So
Come
on
here.
HSK, I just said I have full faith in you. This is crazy. Okay, I mean, full faith that they think if we get 4, we can win this map.
ฮะ
Right? You're looking at the composition.
มึงทำไมอะไรตอนเนี้ย8-3แล้วนะเว้ย
Drones, if we can draw those out, we
แล้ว
can
มันหลุด
go
ปะ
for
วะ
this. With our defaults on the attacking side.
ว่าสตรีมมันหลุดไปละ
Works out. This is a
มันทำเอาเหี้ยตอนนี้วะ
gamble.
Yeah, because it's their like final time map. You're using it on the last round of the first half, where you're not going to find that much value going into the second half. Then, so trying to do as much as possible now, truly trying to vie for that 4-point round. So we've seen that the answer is not to hold aggressively outside of A main, but
มันไม่รู้มันทำเหี้ยน่ะ
then that they're looking
Huh?
at, maybe pushing
Hello my
down
friend
B or is it really mid?
See, it does look like Yeoman
Pause.
also needed assistance to sort out something on the tech side.
เดี๋ยวนะ
Maybe just
Pause.
double check. So hopefully we'll be able to get right into the last round of the half as quickly as possible. Showing the 2 DRX coaches as well. It was nice to see talking about the coach walkouts. It's not just the head coaches, right? But even though the assistant coaches, they all know each other. They've all been on the same team.
โค้ช
before.
สปอนเซอร์
Other games as well in the past. So lots of camaraderie amongst these two. Very well knowing the path it takes.
เฮ้ยโอ้โห
A little bit of time for Yeoman to get situated once more.
You know what was lovely was during the off season one of the
มึงไปโดน
tournaments
อ่ะ
where these teams
ว่า
were
แต่
playing
ปอร์เช่
against
ส
each
ปอนเซอร์
other,
สปอนเซอร์ทีมเหลือมึงบ้าเปล่าเหี้ย
Kinda,
ของจริงว่ะ
regular hug or intense stare down. They actually did a full team huddle together, both teams.
Oh yeah. I mean,
ของ
there's
จริง
just
จั
so
ดไอ้
much
เหี้ย
history amongst these two and the players as well. Lots of storied players
What's the
now,
call?
quite a few rookies as well, especially on the DRX side. But it does look like we're gonna wait to see exactly what the diagnosis is here on Yeoman's side.
รวยนะน่ะไอ้เหี้ยรวยเลยอ่ะปอร์เช่สปอนเซอร์อ่ะไอ้สัตว์
Just holding by, of course, you can't discuss
ของ
any of
จริง
the
อ่ะ
game
กูรู้แหละ
during all of this. Lots of Gen G fans, they've been growing. I mean, they were so great last year, and then you have personalities.
ก็ไหนๆก็ถึงพอแล้วไปเข้าห้องน้ำไปเช็ดปวดฉี่ว่ะ
Confidence. You got Karen, the super rookie, coming in 2024.
เดี๋ยวมาเข้าห้องน้ำแบบ
Lots of pride. And quite frankly, again, like I said in the middle of the game, I don't think Gen G fans are too worried. They're pretty used to giving up that first map, going into overtime on map 3, taking the long route as they have. You think back to last year, they played the absolute most rounds of anybody in kickoff around the world because they were just going through the gauntlet the whole time.
And lo and behold, our final map of the day, if it does go to it as well, is Haven. The one where they just went overtime against RQ2. So
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about that Haven. It was a great map, and we just leave it there in the past. But we'll see if it even gets there. The way DRX is looking right now, obviously, kind of looking ahead during this tech pause. After this Abyss, we will be going to Gen G's pick of Bind, which is a little bit surprising, I think, for a lot of people. Obviously, in the near future, Bind will be rotating out as well, sometime, perhaps after Masters Bangkok. And you wonder, what does Gen G have cooked up there? Because from what we're seeing, DRX is definitely playing Teo. I mean, they're going to play Teo on every map, it seems like. They're just going to make sure they find a way to make it work, whether it's with Breach, whether it's with Silva. It doesn't matter. It's double drone. Sometimes it's the stun combos. But we'll see. And some fans cheering for Foxy9. The meme about Foxy9 absorbing everyone he comes across. He's claiming that he's already absorbed DRX. He's back here to get some revenge against DRX and the coaching staff as well. All in jest. But we'll see if he can succeed so far. He hasn't been given the opportunity on this map. They just aren't fighting him in his territory.
And that could have been
เจนจีหรือเจนนูโอ้ยโอ้โห
parts of their game plan, right? Trying to
เจนจีตะโกนกูไปไหนวะมาแล้วกว่าจะกลับมาสัตว์เป็นชาติ
and that's kind of what we're seeing, you know, down to the one-on-one against Mako as well. And speaking of which, Mako again has been giving us these moments with that 4K from earlier on before. So as we head back into the map, you know, with DRX at an 8-3 right now, just a quick refresh. GENG have yet to solve the solution. And this is when DRX kind of stacks up closer towards B.
Yeah, it is going to be the fast push out though from GENG, right? They clear out A main. They were onto A main. So just fighting in main wasn't the answer. Let's try to surround it. DRX, a hard read that it's going to be a push out from somewhere. They chose to stack on B. And now they choose to wait because, okay, we've given up a lot of space. We don't know if GENG's pushed out elsewhere. You still have over a minute. DRX starting to re-clear parts of the map.
Slowly but surely, there's the drone towards mid. Some smoke spent already for GENG though, and that's
โหดีเอ็กเล่นโคตรดีเลยว่ะ
worrisome as everyone stacked up.
นอกจากมันไม่คนไปบู๊อะนั่นเนี่ยไปแล้วเฮียเฟกแล้วก็ไปไหม
There's a 0 point, nobody close, so GENG, they can just hold the wall. No, they're just gonna walk through and just get gunned down. What is going on? You didn't have the information, and Yunmin just getting 3 kills right across the cosmic divide, and it ends in a flawless for DRX. A flawless? A terrible, terrible assumption from the GENG side. One like we've never seen before from the likes of Munchkin. The 0 point tags no one and they just assume it's a full fake. So they just don't take into account that they could be 2 steps behind.
Okay, bro.
Wow, I mean, I don't know
okay,
if I've
bro.
ever seen a blunder like this, a miscall like this from GENG.
Okay, man. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's
มันเดินยัดแบบไม่สนเฮียเลยอะเมื่อกี้ไหนๆก็ไหนๆแล้วเอาเลยละกัน
They didn't take time to clear it. They're
that
many rounds already lost to DRX. So, I mean, at the same time, despite maybe the slight blunder, it's DRX also just being so prepared, so ready, especially with that little bit of a fake cosmic.
เฮียมาเนี่ยผมเรียนอะไรคิดว่าเฟกมันคิดว่าเฟกแต่มันไม่ควรปะวะ
But that's the point.
มึงขาดอินโฟจัดเลยนะเว้ยเมื่อกี้
DRX had the initiative, so they're still willing to say, okay, well, we cleared out mid. Did you re-clear mid? If you didn't, Cosmic Divide. Let's see what the reaction is. They instantly see the 0 point and they say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's just hang back because these guys are here. Because we know.
ถ้าเราลงไปเจอใครถ้าเราไม่ RRQ ไม่ก็หนองชิมครับผม
Meanwhile, GENG, what they used to
2 ทีมครับมีสิทธิ์ 2 ทีม
at 1-4, but today. It was a 5-man stack, and like you said, they start to feel the pressure. You have 0 information on other parts of the map.
ให้อ่านเป็นบ้างว่าเขาเขียนเฮียอะไรวะนะ
It's going to be an all-out brawl, and you just missed the distance. They had no way of knowing, but they just were not cautious.
คือดูฟนาติกไหมดูครับผมคิดดูว่าผมน่าดูอันนี้แบบหนึ่งแล้วก็เดี๋ยวเจอกันอีกทีคืนนี้ครับผม
Cortisol can do to you. Wondering how GENG's going to feel going into this second half without any timeouts left in the bank. 9-3 as we head on in. GENG on the attack.
GENG gonna go for a 4-man stack, trying to put that pressure with the 0 point. Bane gets into the smoke, tries to spam out, make them use that util to try to clear the smoke, but GENG
ถ้าใครที่วันไหนวันอาทิตย์ครับ
slowly inching forward. Nice flash drive. It's going to be an instant dash in. Bane, you are trapped. He barely gets around, and it's a nice ping for flashback texture. Meanwhile, clearing out the back of sight.
คือจริงบอยจริงคือจริงเดี๋ยวอันนี้ดูแบบเดียวแล้วเดี๋ยวลงไปนี่ละลงไปทำงานเดี๋ยวเคลียร์งานที่เสร็จแล้วคืนนี้เจอกันคือร้านเราจากขอบคุณครับขอบคุณครับ
Out around the smokes, waiting for it to
คือจ
dissipate.
ริงๆมันเป็นฟิลเตอร์นะครับ
Working alongside Hyundai.
คือผมใช้ฟิลเตอร์ครับ
Freeing did get the tag onto Foxy 9.
ถ้าผมไม่ใช้ฟิลเตอร์เนี่ยหลอกกว่านี้
So Foxy 9 could have moved. He's trying to keep a little bit of distance from the wall on purpose. See if he can get a free kill against Freeing. Meanwhile,
เอาเฮียแดนมาเสิร์ฟไอ้สัตว์
he knows exactly what's going to happen. And Mako now trapped at the back of sight.
ก็คือมันตีบุกด่านนี้ได้ 11-1 เหรอ
Yeah, still good for the pistol.
เมื่อคืนจะดูอยู่แต่ไม่ไหววะหลับ
Able to kind of just break into the site, flood everything through, and find those.
ฟิลเตอร์คนอินเดียใช่ฟิลเตอร์ควยเลยเหรออ่ะซัดมึงจะมัดจะมวยควยมาแล้วเนี่ย
If that's the case, I surely hope they can at least try to make a comeback of some sorts. But this time it's just a good read across the board. Making sure that they don't bite the bait onto clearing the early smoke. They're still holding that back site.
โอ้ยไอ้เหี้ยมันบอกคำนั้นก็ภาษาคำรามแล้วเหี้ย
Sounds like, but he's at the top of the board for now, leading with that Phantom and 14 kills.
And tied up is Bane, who was the one who kind of, you know, the
มวยกับผมไหมมวยโค้กอ่ะเนี่ยไอ้เหี้ยกูรู้เลยมันจะมาทรงนี้ กูตัดไว้ก่อนไง
DRX just trying to keep themselves elevated, throwing off the crosshair.
เห็นปะแล้วบอกกูบ้ากาม
Looking for another swarm in. Nothing spotted around mid, so we're back to A.
A-Site given over completely.
หาโม
We'll see if they have still some kind of flood for maybe a little bit of damage.
ชอบเลยครับมวย
They're just gonna
นะครับ
choose
ต่อยมวยนะต่อยมวยไทย
spike,
นะครับผม
anything like that. But they are
ชอบ
starting
ดื่ม
to
โค้ก
round,
เหมือนกัน
so
นะ
they
อ
do
ร่อย
wanna provide
ซ่า
some delay, a little bit of difficulty, a speed bump perhaps to GENG. Four-man bomb
เฮ้ย
it's a nice ping. Bane
หลอดมาได้เหรอนะ
spotted. Gonna have to get out. Salvo's gonna delay the plant. And now 4 members already
ตัดหรือตัด
here
ตัด
prepared
มุ้ง
for
น้ำตัด
Heroes
มุ้ง
Classics.
Really close and personal. But still,
ถ้าแข่งวันไหนวันอาทิตย์ครับวันอาทิตย์
So for now, GENG
โอ้มึงเดินออกมาเสิร์ฟเลยเพื่อน
hold, especially closer towards spawn. Takes down 2. Now look
ชอบ
for the
ดู
next
รูป
one up
จัดต่อ
inside
เข้า
heaven. That's Yeoman taking the final kill. A flawless round for
The
GENG.
fuck
Well, just like the first half, the pistol and the anti-eco going in favor, but the trouble starts in the next round. GENG, they invested a lot in that previous round, so they can match the firepower for the most part. And so far, this A-side take, I mean, DRX has kept it a little.
ถ้าชนะก็ลุยสายล่างต่อครับ จนกว่าขึ้นสายบนน่ะ
They take control.
สายล่าง3 เกมติดอ่ะ
They're watching, you know, the heaven window here from 2 different angles as well. They've got all angles covered, so DRX surely, yeah, there is a much heavier setup coming out from Flashback Cypher.
Yeoman on the goes from before, so some upgrades now for GENG as they try to keep the snowball rolling. But yes, Flashback still trying to defend the A side as much as possible, given how GENG has been pushing in now. Those shock darts looking to break the trip.
โอ้ว้าว what the fuck
It's going to be Texture who kind of rubber bands back, allows for Flashback to get the opening kill. Salvo to buy further time and
ไอ้เหี้ยเอ้ยนั่งลุ้นโลคอเตอร์อะไอ้เหี้ยเมื่อกี้
one. But is that enough, though, as 2 players remaining from GENG try to come back into the site? Gotta watch for Heaven, but there it is. Foxy9 gets the first, gets the next
Oh
as
my
well. That's
God,
3 kills
Foxy9.
already. Bane right out from below will be able to strike down against Foxy9, and Munchkin turns tail.
Munchkin left all alone. Already a lot of damage done against DRX's buy round, but Munchkin, he knows he has an opportunity to try to secure this round. There's something that Munchkin always tells his team, especially when they're able to get something like the plant spike and they're starting to hold that post plant. He tells him, I'll clutch it. Do what you gotta do. You know, do just go out confidently, do as planned, and just enjoy the game because I'll clutch it when needed. And these are the times when he can prove how confident he is. GRX on the full wraparound. Munchkin moving towards, so he's wary of a potential flank, but you're exposed at 2 different angles right now. We'll see if he reads the timing.
It's a Guardian, too, though.
Yeah, creeping up. Oh, well, he's just gonna get spotted right away. Bane holding that wide angle. Suspense not needed, as DRX will be able to secure this round with 2 rifles left over, full armor on both.
And maybe thinking that they would take the shorter route.
จริงๆแปลกจริงมันหนักขนาดนี้เหรอวะจริงๆอะ
The longer route, which unfortunately Munchkin wasn't quite looking at. So, at the very least, still with the spike down, a little bit of money, but DRX hitting double digits now in the score.
And something we've seen continuously from Freeing's tail as we look at this little jump rope scenario is that the stealth drone's been being sent out of this window, which
พี่ดูเซนลาวไหมก็น่าดูฟนาติกแล้วมันก็น่าเซนลาวพอดีเลยป่ะวะ
try to cover most of the site. However, the cyber cage is just tall enough that
เที่ยงคืนดูอะไรนะดูฟนาติก
and ends up losing Mako for it.
เท่าไหร่ก็ดูต่อยาวๆเลย
Also have to adjust in the future.
พรุ่งนี้เรามีอะไรอีกไหม
Looking like a push
พรุ่งนี้
out.
Preparex ป่ะวะ
Trying to find him at their own game.
DRX Off VCT กับ Off Season คนละคนเลย
Trading util for util.
Especially with that smoke in their way, so trying to fend off, but oh, Texture spotted out by the top of his ponytail, and then Karen taking Freeing down mid.
Yeah, so you still have that Omen, you still have that controller, GENG, they'll be able to mass some of their
เที่ยง
position.
คืนนันเซน
But without texture, you're
จะพยายามเหมือนกันเท่าไหร่
slow step by step, and that gives time for DRX
เพราะว่า
to
พรุ่ง
start
นี้
to
ต้อง
reposition
พรุ่งนี้เป็น
to
เล็ก
win.
มั้งถ้ากูจำไม่ผิดอะใช่ป่ะวะ
That's why they're sitting comfortably right now. Flashback still watching for that pivot.
ใช่
around
ใช่
mid.
พรุ่งนี้เป็นเล็ก
He's got all his util down B long, so if GENG does head there,
G2
he's
เลไม่น่า
ready.
ดูนะ
GENG
มันไม่ไหวละ
tries to avoid a lot of those traps, and
RQ ตึงไหมก็ตึงนะแต่ว่าไม่เท่าทีวันนะในความคิดตัดอะโอ้โหได้วะลาเกียไปอยู่ไหนอ่ะลาเกียหลุดแล้วครับไม่ได้แข่งแล้วเอาหน้ามากสุดคือหน้าเซนอะ
Still though, GENG very much so in the game. Karen fending them off with a flash. The spike goes down. Unfortunately,
nice shot.
Expires. Karen through the smoke will be able to get down flashback as it expires as well. And the shock dart to try to hold them off. Bane trying to set a bit of a flank, but still continuing to watch it is Munchkin.
ไอ้กะลอนเอหรอ
Down to just Karen alongside Yeoman. Up on line for the ace, and he's looking for it. Has the tag on towards Bane as well. Karen looking for the timing to swing. The recon goes through, and
damn!
Karen with the final headshot for the ace to keep GENG in the game.
Well, as long as it's not texture,
ลาวเซนไหมครับจะพยายามนะครับดูฟันติคนแรกแล้วก็ลาวเซนไม่รู้ว่าจะไหวหรือเปล่า
But Karen, it's all right. He'll be able to secure it. The team setting up for it as well, and it starts with Karon's sharp shooting in mid. I love Hyunmin's decision. He waits just to see if there is anything he can work off of, and as soon as
โน่นอาจจะ RQ แล้ว
voice lines come through, peeks out, gets a nice kill. But at the end of the day, Karon positioning himself on rafters. Starts with one of the rookies again on GENG's side. I guess we should stop calling Karon a rookie, but you know, one of the younger members. And we'll see if that's enough for GENG to get the momentum.
กลับมาได้ไหมกับเอ็ดนั้นนะ
Trying to work off of it. 0 point into A main does note out a couple of players, so respecting DRX's positioning and utility right now. The drone suggests that it's a bit of a re-clear, so they might be able to take a little bit of that space, but also still being cautious across the other parts of the map as well.
So GENG
ถ้ามาก็คือกอสโมกยุคแรกเริ่มคันเราก็กอสโมกนิวเจนอันนี้ใช่แล้วมาโกเองกอสอยู่หน่อยนี่รายการอะไรครับรายการคิกออฟครับ
This could turn disastrous, but looking at the weaponry, it shouldn't be too bad. Mako spotted. GENG full commitment. Meanwhile, you've got Yeoman trying to wrap around B main. Now the main force they have to get through, and it's going to be Texture just able to work off of the information that Munchkin gives with the jump. We'll get one, but still the main forces have gotten through. Yeoman, he's got to find a timing to try to help peek and clear the site. You find Free.
Okay.
And Bane continues to fire up again, and Freeing gets 2 on the site. Only 1 member left alive.
ไอ้เหี้ยโยน
Munchkin,
เป็นแบ็ค
you've got the spike. You got to run. You can't.
ออกกุยแล้วไอ้สัตว์
have to give them up. 30 seconds on the board.
30 seconds, he can get the spike down, but the question is, where will the final 2 DRX
เฮ้ยมึงไม่เอาปืนเลยเหรอ
That's where he lost in that previous 1-on-2. So now thinking about it,
มึงเอาคลาสสิกไปสู้เหรอมาเปล่า
early on for A main or maybe even Heaven, and then tries to reposition. He's thinking that they might be going through spawn.
Well, yeah, because that's where the guns were dropped, and DRX purposely gives up on a weapon for Freeing to go all the way around, try to catch Munchkin off guard. Now Munchkin, what's the choice here? You should start to hear that stealth drone, so he knows, all right, it's coming through A main. We'll have a good position on window. The salvos, they are going to come by time. Eyes trained onto Heaven. Freeing gets found. That's a clean headshot. 3 kills for Munchkin. Pop flash. Hyunmin, has he dodged it? He's just going to stick the app, but Munchkin wise to
What a
it.
throw,
Gets
man,
the
DRX.
4K at
You could have
the
won
end
that.
And the clutch.
1-on-2 clutch, 1 point away from the ults, and that does
ลุ้นให้ได้แชมป์
for sure
หวังว่าครับ
GENG in the game, but you
หวัง
still
ว่านะ
gotta
ผม
keep in mind that despite that being a close moment for Munchkin, that was a round that should have been a lot
ไม่รู้ว่า
cleaner
เรา
for
ขาดอะไรอยู่
GENG,
ก็ไม่รู้ว่าที่ทำให้เราไปถึง
considering
จุดนั้นได้
their weaponry. DRX was able to wrap back around behind them inside of B Link. Just with classics, they took so many players down, leaving Munchkin alone.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about it with classics. Surely it should be difficult, but Freeing lands some nice shots at medium range, and it has to come through with the Red Bull.
แต่เพิ่มเติมคือมีนิวเจน
And finally,
โอ้ยแทมเอาดีไอก็แล้วอ่ะ
from DRX, they're just not quite.
ก็โยนเลยเมื่อกี้ชนะได้ชิว
At the first half, you've only gotten that 1 buy round that you're supposed to win on paper.
เอาวีเริ่มแข่งตอนไหนวะแชทมีใครดูเอาวีไหมปีนี้มีแข่งมาวะเอาวี
Trying to really look for those final 3 rounds. They start things off incredibly well, but now starting to buckle a little bit with how fast and how aggressive GENG can be.
See what the discussion is here. GENG coach is looking a bit
ต้อง
more
รอซีซั่นหน้าซึ่งมันตอนไหนอ่ะ
chance to regroup with their players. See a lot of nodding from Foxy 9, trying to log back in. Karon starts things off for the team. Now Munchkin The nice clutch as
10
well.
เท่าไหร่เนี่ยกุมภาอ๋อ
See if
เดือน
that's
กุม
enough.
ภา
Gen
วี
G
โอ้
have laid
โอ
down
เคครับ
their opponents as they often do towards the end of each map. Whereas DRX has Termi now really figured it
เดี๋ยว
out.
ลองถ้าไล่
20 kills and 9 deaths, by the way.
เดี๋ยวเราลองมารันด้วย
So
RV
far.
จริงๆคัมแบ็คครับชอบโดนน้ำก่อนเหรอ
Feeling a lot of that pressure up around A
โอ้โห
main
มึงดู
space,
เฮ้ย
playing up
มึงดูแทบดิ เฮ้ยทำอะไรอ่ะ
alongside flashback anchoring
กูยังเห็นเลยอ่ะ
but main forces Gen G heading
ต้องหัน
down
เล่นก่อนอ่ะถึงจะดูอินเหรอ
Yeah, so A site, it was really just about holding that back site. We saw that tripwire going all the way up to the roof of that site. Meanwhile, B site completely empty. Just Hyunmin, no opportunity.
What up, G? What up, Sick?
Trusting in
How you doing?
the talented rookie of DRX to hold things down and free nearby. He does have the Armageddon. So we'll see if that's part of the use for delaying the site hit. But Gen G, they've already crept out. Hyunmin, he's got to make the call.
ตัวละครมันเยอะเกินไปเหรอเฮีย
But he loses out to Texture. Salvo's in, but Texture already threw a nice flash as well to make sure to keep Texture alive and freeing. Waiting
ตัวละครมันเยอะไม่ใช่เหรอวะ
uses it to push them out into the danger zone, and he's trying to peek out for a kill. He's just waiting for them to come closer, waiting in the smoke, delays it. Now everybody from DRX has arrived. It's a 4-on-5. Mako sets up a star, and that's the timing for Free to go out. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
เอพีจะประมาณเดือนเมษา
They're still holding up the Raptors, and suddenly it's just Bane alone. Texture's chasing. And okay, Bane, he'll still rack on one more, but I think the round long gone.
ผมมีคนที่ล็อกหมดแล้วนะเฮียเฮ้ยใครอ่ะ
despite the utility from
ใคร
Mateo
ร้อยเดี๋ยวนะ เอามี100 ตัวเลยเหรอ
really flush him out of position and then go in with the executes off of some of the DRX players being able to fly into sight. But I think one key utility was Munchkin sending in a 0 point that actually collected onto several players, which then denied
แชมป์โลกวาโลคือใครพี่ล่าสุด EDG ครับทีมจีน
as they went in for the fight. So Gen G were just able to work off of fundamentals and angles being held. So that's what gave them the advantage, just being able to gun them
เอามีเป็น100เลยเหรอ
They tried to work off of the
พ่อมึงเอาเฮียจับมา100 ตัวเฮ้ยไอสัตว์
Unfortunate for
โชว์มาหน่อย
DRX.
DRX
Yeah, I mean, that suppression as well, delaying so much. You had the Hunter's Fury too. There could have been some more combos maybe to clear out the close angles, but it just doesn't happen in time. And Gen G is able to set up at those close angles.
117 ตัว
A lot of those like one-on-one
Okay, bro.
individual
That's
peaks
okay.
or attempts at trades.
That's
And that
that's so
really
much.
allows for Gen G to
That's
possibly
actually
turn
so
things
much.
around, given DRX's economy this time.
Just a variety pack with a couple specters. One
มี
Vandal
117 ตัวเล่นจริง 40 ตัว
a nice 0
ไอ้เหี้ยคืออีกประมาณ 80 ตัวคือไม่มีใครจับเลยเหรอวะ
DRX any information on that side of the map. So Gen G just saying, okay, you don't have information on main. You know, we've already pushed you back. We don't see any util. Where else can you push out from? They're watching for a push out from B. They're watching for a push out from mid.
แต่ไม่ใช่บางตัวแล้ว 80 ตัวเลยมันก็เยอะอยู่นะ
Handle in hand.
ตัวอ่อนโดนแบนโดนเนิร์ฟ
A little bit of that pressure, showing them more variety in their game plans as well.
ถ้ามีแข่งที่วันไหนครับวันอาทิตย์ครับ
A little bit pesky from Mako.
Now, Mako was spotted. Just trying to make it look
เลิกเลยมาหาชีวิตดีขึ้นเหรอเอาดี
and it's going to be a
คม
crossfire. Bane good for it, trying to hold on, but Mako's
Okay.
already been taken out, but it's a nice trade from the other
122
side
ปัจจุบัน
of mid as freeing and Hyunmin come to the
ปก
rescue.
ติเกมโมบ้าผมไม่เคยเล่นเนี่ยผมเลยไม่ค่อยรู้เรื่อง
Left on Gen G, 0 point to clear close. Nobody tagged, so Munchkin trying to push through with that null command. Wants to get more space, spots one. And here comes Undersure. He wants to get ahead of it, but he's tagged and taken down. Fragment does not get launched. Yeoman cannot plant.
ใช้กี่ครั้งเครื่องสายบน 3 ครั้ง
Cover up to 11.
And that's rifles converted and picked up as well for DRX. I mean, talk about a swing round for economy. Null command just expired as that Hunter's Fury tagged on towards Munchkin as well. So 11-8 with a score like this, DRX just set themselves up for success. Just being able to keep themselves controlled on around mid and vents. They set everything up. I mean,
ยิ้มละเอาเฮียกลับมาโอ้โหมันหล่อจังวะเฮ้ยมันหล่อไปวะเหมือนดาราเลยไอ้เฮีย
Well, Gen G, they tried to lay a trap and it doesn't quite work out, but this time Blade
เนมจะเป่าให้มันเล่นได้ทุกตัวก็ใช่ครับมันอันนี้เข้าใจได้ ปกติของเกม ถ้าเราเจอทีมอะไรพี่ยังไม่รู้ครับจะรู้วันพรุ่งนี้ครับผม
At Flashback's position, it's once again just give up the site.
หล่อมึงไม่คิดว่ามันหล่อมันหล่อนะเว้ย
Thanks to the 0 point, so it's an easy entry for the Jet.
อย่า
Texture holding close,
โอ้
but
โห
he gets
ไอ้
tagged.
สแกนสวยสัต
Right
ว์
as he tries to wrap around and escape, 3 members tagged again from DRX. So much information. It's the neural theft, just showing everybody everybody's position.
สแกนนิโรเทป
Cannot be planted safely.
สแกนนิโรเทป
Has arrived. Sprays on
โอ้
for
โห
two
my
headshots.
god
And
ส่งมา
Mako
ส
will
แกน
wrap things up for map point.
สแกนโดนนิโรเทปพี่ลงกี่โมงวันนี้พี่น่าลงครับอันนี้จบอันนี้พี่ลงละแมปเดียวแล้วเดี๋ยวพี่มาอีกทีตอนเที่ยงคืนครับผมจะอนาคตวันนี้เลฟ20 G2 เหรอเอาดีได้เหรอแต่ดิมันหวานก็น่าสนใจนะเว้ยเดี๋ยวไม่เดี๋ยวไปทำงานก่อนไปทำงานเรียบร้อยอ่ะวันนี้จะได้คืนมาวอลปาร์ตี้แหละสร้อยคอมันเท่จังวะ G2 20 เลฟมีคนบอกเลฟ20 G2
That was a free kill for freeing as he tagged down a player behind the boxes. Next round coming through now. What could be the last? A GENG half buy, looking to break through the A side again.
Foxy 9, yeah, he's gonna run. He's been tagging in, and we just saw what DRX can do with those tags, and that's another trap just for texture.
ไอ้เย้ยมึงโดนแบบเดิน2 รอบเลยหรอ
But he's got back up in the form of freeing. Pushing GENG back out. That calls for Hyunmin to retreat as well. Just keep info on mid.
นี่มอนดรอปเยอะจัดเหรอ
now has to work the clock.
ไม่ได้ดูเลย
They have those rifles, so still.
รอดูเลฟไม่ชนะผมเอาหมูยอยัดโอ้ไอ้เหี้ย
He's gonna spot out any potential rotations. Finds Foxy 9 and calls it out, but Foxy 9 with a wide swing on the Guardian.
Yeah, the OG DRX rookie answers right back. Takes down Hyunmin. That means DRX now lacking information, has to group up
ได้
somewhere.
ลิฟยุคC9 เหรอ
It's going to be mid. GENG tries to read into this. Says we're going to stack with numbers towards that A site. Start to push through. Bane, he's been spotted. He's been tagged. He's been paranoid. He has to escape. He has to regroup with his team.
Oh, smoke me, Lou.
Foxy 9 presses the issue. Uses the get to abuse it, taking down the spike planter. Munchkin collects and tries to get into a safer spot. Mako working alongside freeing, marking the other end, but Yeoman right underneath freeing, unfortunately not quite noted, and that's going to be the first one. Now looking for the next. Yeoman gets into a closer range. Mako still looking for some possible angles, right underneath once again, drags him down to the ground.
12-9, 3 chances left for DRX to close things out here on their map pick of Abyss. As everybody continues to rack up quite a few more kills, but man, these threats just every couple rounds. Flashback sets up that little jump rope trampoline, and Texture cannot get into the site.
ผมเล่นว่าเราอยู่ในจอฟ้าทำไงหรอเฮ้ยคอมอะไรอ่ะถ้าจอฟ้าเหรอ CPU เปล่าร้อนอ่ะซิตี้เราใส่ก็4ว่ะรอดูลิฟมารอดูตรงนี้ดีกว่ามันจะปิดไหมเฮียเดี๋ยวไอ้ก็ปิดลงไหมอุ้ยโอ้ยห้าวเกิน
Yeah, both teams thinking the same thing of trying to fill that smoke, and Charon wins out this time, getting a little bit of revenge compared to the very beginning.
ถ้าเราเจอใครครับยังไม่รู้เลยครับต้องรอดูวันพรุ่งนี้ครับผมฮาร์ดแวร์ผิดพลาดเหรออันนี้แปลกเลยคืออะไรวะ
explore that too much coming into the second half.
ต้องลงหาพิกัดกันเลยน้อง
Maybe draw out a lot of forces away from that A side of DRX.
ดูให้ใหม่แล้ว EPL เริ่มแข่งเดือนมิถุนาไม่ใช่เมษาส่วน AAC แข่งเดือนพฤศจิกและอะไรที่แข่งเดือนหน้ามันไม่ใช่รายการเดียวกันหรอกครับ
So door break just making it sound like you are looking to focus onto mid. See if that draws them back into that A site. Bane waiting to launch that recon in case there's a hit.
จริงๆได้ความรู้สึกเหรอ
Now the DRX is feeling the pressure. They're saying, okay, well they have to start showing their hand a little bit. Stealth drone to see if this is a
คอมฟ้าก็ต้องใช่ครับ I have นะผมคอมพังนะครับแนะนำ I have นะครับช่วยได้คุณทุกอย่างแล้วโปรลี
So that's going to keep them tied up on the A site, and they quickly rotate for a B hit.
Where they can overwhelm with numbers against the 2 players from DRX just trying to hold off the site as much as possible. Thankfully for them though, Flashback has all his utility on the B site, but right now it's being dealt with. Cages up, Flashback tries to work around.
วิ่งฟรี
takes down Mako. Flashback in for the trade and then repositions around stairs.
Munchkin kind of tagged there by the trip fire, and he can't get
มันแทงนานจังอะ
Flashback will get that kill. Now a 3v3 Foxy 9. You
โอ้โหแล้วตันสวยสัตว์ตันสวยมาก
Freeing using Teo's util to the max. He's got his hands ready. The Armageddon coming through, forcing them to come to fight. Charon gets one, and Yo.
Damn, DRX.
Both, but it's just too far of a high-low. And DRX.
โซกูนเหมือน DRX พี่ตีมากี่แล้ว2 ปีครับ
13-9.
And you can still see it in the final
Actually
round.
quoted by the
amount of value that freeing Teho brings. The Armageddon towards the back, the salvos, and also the stun.
มันไม่กูดีเลยนะแชทเดี๋ยวเจอกันอีกทีผมว่านะวันนี้มันหมดลมแล้ววะเจอแพ้ไปวะแต่แต้มก่อนไปคู่นี้มันเกาหลีเจอเกาหลีอีกไอ้เหี้ยเที่ยงคืนโอเคปะตุรกีเจอฟรันติกตึงๆนะวันนี้อันนี้น่าดูอยู่น่ามันอยู่แต่นี่ก็คือครับขอบคุณทุกคนที่เข้ามาชิมนี้ขอบคุณทุกซับทุกบิตทุกฟอลโล่ทุกโดเนชั่นขอบคุณที่เข้ามานั่งด่านั่งเชียร์ด้วยกันครับผมหวังว่า enjoy ก็พรุ่งนี้เที่ยงคืนนี้เจอกันนะครับใครไม่ไหวก็นอนหลับฝันดีแล้วเจอกันใหม่วันพรุ่งนี้ครับแต่แต้มได้จ้าบูมเจอฮอฟ